Outrageous. Uzumaki Kushina is actually revived. Understood. This must be a parallel world. In the diary that had not been updated for a long time, 3 sentences suddenly appeared. All over the ninja world, the girls who were concentrating on reading the copy of the diary suddenly breathed a sigh of relief. It's not that I suspect that someone can see the contents of the diary, but I think it's fine in a parallel world. But immediately after, everyone stared wide-eyed, looking at the second sentence. Uzumaki Kushina, resurrected. They have been reading Xiao Yuchen's diary for 3 days. Whether they knew Uzumaki Kushina before or not, they all know something now. The previous 9 tales Jinchuriki, Mrs. 4th Hokage, the so-called mother of the protagonist of this world. A person who died in the 9 Tails Rebellion 12 years ago is actually resurrected? Could it be because of that magic blessing? A group of people immediately think of the second item of the diary reward. The name of the crystal has been mentioned more than 10 times in the diary, and those who have read the diary can randomly select one person to receive a magic blessing. The person who received the magic blessing yesterday was Kushina. Magic blessing can bring about resurrection? As the carriage was crushed with a punch, Sunade, who had changed to riding a horse, had a stunned expression. Immediately afterwards, her body began to tremble, and her pet bear began to growl. Shizune. The horse is too slow. Let's go by ourselves. Sunade jumped directly from the horse and landed on the trunk of a big tree. Shizune had already guessed that this would happen, so he hurriedly followed. The figures of the two kept shifting on the tree trunk, advancing rapidly towards the direction of Konoha. Resurrection, resurrection, Sunade's eyes became more and more determined. Next, she will not stop, she will rush back to Konoha as fast as possible, even if she uses Baihao technique for this. She wants to see the resurrected Kushina with her own eyes and confirm the power of the diary. In this way, efforts can be made to revive Nawaki. Resurrection, it can really be resurrected. Xiao Yuchen didn't know that people who had copies could get rewards, so he was confused and shocked, and misunderstood that this world was a parallel world. But I know that this should be the power of magic blessing. Land of the Winds, Sanagakure. Temari's eyes were fixed, and he finally made up his mind. She is going to Konoha, to meet Xiao Yuchen, to gain a sense of presence. If possible, she would like to revive her mother, Gadu. All along, she has fear and hatred for Gaara, Jinchuriki's younger brother. She felt that Gaara's death was inseparable from Gaara's birth, and that her father, 4th Kazekage, became more and more indifferent. If Garura could be resurrected, everything would be different. Shua. Temari walked towards Kazekage's office with a big iron fan. At the same time, Black Earth, Sam Yi, Terumi Mei and others all speeded up tacitly. In Kusanagi village, Uzumaki's eyes showed hope. Even the dead can be resurrected, how about treating the living? Mom, you must hold on. With firm eyes, Shanglin brought the food she made to Uzumaki Makana. Knowing that Xiao Yuchen doesn't like cooking, she is studying hard. What she didn't know was that there was an eye watching her through the window. Shanglin's condition is fine now, but her hair has turned white now, and she is probably not far from death. I don't know when the main body will send the next shadow clone. I only have half a card of chakra left, and my shot is not stable. Hopefully nothing will happen in the next few days. Just keep a few more flying thunder god Kanai nearby. After thinking about it, the figure disappeared. What he didn't know was that shortly after he left, Uzumaki Mikuna took a look at where he was. There is no malice, but there is a strong sense of kindness. Who could it be? Mikanai thought about it, but couldn't find the answer. The kingdom of Vortex has been destroyed for so long, so it should not be the surviving clansman. Anyway, it's better not to be an enemy. Meanwhile, Rain Shinobi Village C. Konan wanted to fly to Konoha again, but he still controlled it with great perseverance. She approached Uzumaki Nagato and said, Nagato, I know who the masked man calling himself Uchiha Madara is. Nagato was about to ask Konan why he came back so soon. When he heard her words, his expression changed. Who? Uchiha Obito. Uchiha Obito. It's our junior brother, the disciple of the Yellow Flash. He created the Konoha 9 Tails Rebellion, and the Uchiha clan was wiped out, and Uchiha Itachi joined us in these things. He is all there. Confusion appeared on Nagato's skinny face, and he asked, what's his purpose? For Konan, he chooses to trust 100% and will not question where Konan collected information from. If even Konan cannot be trusted unconditionally, there is no point in living on in this world. Complete a spell with 10 tails. Konan didn't mention infinite Tsukuyomi. She was afraid of breaking the rules of the journal copy. 10 tails? After the Ghetto statue absorbs the chakra of the 9-tailed beasts, it becomes the 10 tails. 10 tails. Uzumaki Nagato's eyes sparkled. The Gedo statue is his use of the Rinnegan, a powerful humanoid weapon. After she connected with Gedo statue, she learned that Gedo statue devouring tail beast can become stronger, and eventually become a weapon that the entire ninja world cannot resist, but she didn't know that the weapon was 10 tails. But now, Konan can accurately pronounce the name. This made him uncontrollably curious and wanted to ask her where she knew this. But he knew, if he could say so clearly, Konan would not hide from him. Not to mention, there must be some kind of restriction. So he suppressed his curiosity and continued to ask, what is the purpose of the technique? Resurrect a person. Who? Otsutsuki Kagaya. Otsutsuki Kagaya. It is the mother of the Sage of Six Paths who is said to have created the ninja world, sealed by the Sage of Six Paths. Nagato. If Konan is right, it means that this Otsutsuki Kagaya was at least thousands of years ago, but he is still alive now. Is such a thing possible? Why did he rescue Otsutsuki Kagaya? He also didn't know about the existence of Otsutsuki Kagaya, who was tricked by Uchiha Madara into doing it. Uchiha Madara? How does this have anything to do with Uchiha Madara? Nagato felt that his brain was not enough. Konan hadn't seen a bewildered expression on his face for a long time, and the corners of his mouth curled up. That's how she acted when she saw these contents on the copy of the diary. This time traveler named Xiao Yuchen easily destroyed the calm she had spent decades honing. Uchiha Madara, it's just a pawn. Konan continued. Nagato closed his mouth and looked at Konan quietly, as if to make sure she was kidding him. After a long while, he continued to ask, Ju, what's going on? I only know that he has lived for thousands of years. Uchiha Madara is his chess piece. Uchiha Obito is Uchiha Madara's chess piece, and you and I. Konan didn't continue talking about the latter words. But Uzumaki Nagato could understand what she meant, and felt extremely ridiculous in his heart. One calculates one, is this an infinite nesting doll? And he seems to be the last link. With the eyes of a fairy, he calls himself a god, but he is just a puppet? As long as the person who said this is not Konan, he must be taught by the god Luo Tien to be a man. This information makes me feel unbelievable. Uzumaki Nagato pondered. With your friendship, I should have trusted you unconditionally. But now, I still want to ask, where did you get this information from? He didn't doubt the existence and depth of the friendship between the two, and Konan certainly wouldn't lie to him. But it is possible to deceive Konan, and then use Konan to deceive him. Among the people he knew, Orochimaru was the Grand Master. Nagato, I'm sorry, but I can't say how I obtained the information. Konan shook his head, and then said, but you want to verify whether what I said is true or not, it's easy, isn't it? Hearing this, Uzumaki Nagato lowered his head and pondered. After a long while, he raised his head again and said, you arrange, I will take action. At the same time, in the Pure Land world, Uchiha Makoto was so envious that he directly suffered from pink eye disease, that is, he opened 3 Tomo Sharingan. Kushina. You keep saying that you are a good girlfriend, but you actually hide it from me. Makoto also wants to be resurrected, to return to the present world, to see Uchiha Sasuke who grew up alone. How could Kushina be so lucky? How can she get Xiao Yuchen to mention her more in his diary? There it is. Uchiha Makoto. Kushina, please find a way to get Xiao Yuchen to mention my name in the diary more often. I don't dare to expect the 3rd reward. Shin hopes to compete for the 2nd reward. The only person she can contact is Kushina, and now that the latter is resurrected, it should be able to help her. Uzumaki Kushina. Yo, Makoto, are you alive? Uchiha Makoto. I will endure. Uchiha Makoto. I don't have much chakra, and I can only say a few words when I send texts. Uzumaki Kushina. Then stop talking. Uchiha Makoto. Uzumaki Kushina. Makoto, as my best friend, how many times have you seen Naruto grow so big? Uchiha Makoto. Kushina, she suddenly understood why Kushina had such an attitude. When she was still alive, she really knew that Naruto's life was not good. She once made Sasuke discriminate against him, and did nothing other than that. It's not that she doesn't want to do something, but that she can't. Since Senju Tobarama put the Uchiha clan in charge of the Konoha police force, decades of trivial matters have piled up, and the Uchiha clan has always been unpopular. On the day of the Nine Tails Rebellion, the shining Sharingan in Nine Tails' eyes could be seen by anyone looking up. Since then, the Uchiha clan was suppressed by Konoha's high-level officials and hated and hostile by the villagers, which laid the groundwork for the outbreak of the Night of Genocide. As the wife of the Uchiha clan chief, how could she approach Jinchuriki? Uzumaki Kushina. I read the diary, and I know that your Uchiha family is not in good condition. I can probably guess your embarrassment. After all, Kakashi, Jiraiya, and Hiei are also silent. Uzumaki Kushina. and you really have no obligation to do anything for my son. Uzumaki Kushina. But now, I'm very angry, so don't bother me for a while, okay? Uchiha Makoto. I'm sorry, Kushina, please go ahead and I won't bother you. Uzumaki Kushina is not replying because she is really busy right now. After meeting him in Naruto's spiritual world, the two of them chatted for a long time, and she was trusted by Naruto, and she was resurrected by Shadow Clone. Now, she wants to use the magic blessing to not disappear, and do something for her son. Boom. He smashed open the window and fell into Hokage's office. Kushina looked at Sarutobi Hiruzen, who was obviously much older, and grinned. Old man, third generation, long time no see. Kushina, it's been a long time. Sarutobi Hiruzen took down his pipe, exhaled a puff of smoke, and habitually hid his face, so that people could not know his expression. Shua. 4 masked figures appeared and surrounded Uzumaki Kushina. Not far from the right side of Sarutobi Hiruzen, his grandson Konohamaru huddled in a corner, obviously frightened by Kushina, who suddenly broke into the office. I haven't been here for 12 years, this Hokage office is still the same. Kushina looked at the environment in the office, and his eyes lingered on the heads of the 4 Hokages on the wall for a long time before continuing. You look much older than 12 years ago. Yes, 12 years have passed after all. Sarutobi Hiruzen also jokingly said. I can have a few 12 years in my life, I am already completely old. You are so old, you should have been unable to do what you want, and you haven't thought about finding a 5th Hokage to share it with you. Kushina changed the topic, and his tone became more sharp. The atmosphere in the office suddenly became tense, like the calm before the storm. But all of this dissipated with Sarutobi Hiruzen's laughter. Ha ha ha. I think so too. Sarutobi Hiruzen said helplessly. Orochimaru defected. Jiraiya was unruly by nature and went all over the world to find Destiny's Child. Sunade didn't want to go back to Konoha. Minato's sacrifice was so sudden that I really couldn't find the right person. Really? Kushina restrained her smile and said coldly. So, in order to secure your position, you need to turn Naruto into a tool that only obeys your orders, right? Kushina directly tore his face. The reason why I did this before I arrived was not to give Sarutobi Hiruzen 6 face, but to wait for all the audience to arrive. After coming out of 8 sign seal, she let 9 tails leak part of the chakra, then revealed her own chakra breath and went straight to Hokage's office. People in the village who are strong enough or have good perception skills will definitely come out to investigate the situation. And the facts did not exceed her expectations. In her perception, the chakras of Hitaki Kakashi, Hyuga Hiyashi, Nara, Yamanaka, Akamichi and others have all appeared near the Hokage building. Although they did not enter Hokage's office, they could see and hear what was going on inside. And Xiao Yuchen is naturally among these people, with Yuhihong and Anko beside him. Watching a movie, Gwazi Coke is sold in the front row. The corners of Yuhihong and Azuki Shien's eyes twitched, feeling a little speechless in their hearts. I didn't see that you have melon seeds and Coke in your hand, sell a hammer. The other women holding diaries all showed suspicion. I was still amazed at Kushina's resurrection. Why did I start watching the show in a blink of an eye? But in the next moment, the doubts in their hearts were answered. From Uzumaki Kushina's words, obviously knows what happened to Naruto these years. Otherwise, it would be impossible to say the words, only obey your Jinchuriki tools. In this wave, the old monkey must be torn apart. All the girls suddenly realized in their hearts, and then nodded. Those of them who have nothing to do with Naruto were filled with righteous indignation after learning what happened to him in the diary. As Naruto's mother, Kushina must be even more angry. Now that he is resurrected, it is natural to seek justice for his son. Nothing wrong. Normal parents do that, don't they? But Sarutobi Hiruzen can't be killed yet, at least not right now. Even if he has problems, even if he is already unpopular, he is still Hokage after all. Killing Hokage in the village is tantamount to declaring war with the village. It is impossible for Kushina to plan to bring Naruto to be a traitor? Hiss. Based on what I know about Kushina, I found that it is really possible for her to do this. She definitely doesn't have the slightest liking for the village, and her son is suffering here, so why should she stay here? Let her son stay here. If you kill Sarutobi Hiruzen and rebel against the village, I guess Ino Shikacho and Hyuga Hiyashi and others will let her go, and Shimura Danzo will stand by and watch. Only the Sarutobi clan of ninjas will be crazy, but the pursuit is nothing but food. Good guy, is the development direction of this parallel world so mysterious? I suddenly started to look forward to it. Write it down, I am a ninja recorder. Xiao Yuchen rested his chin in his hand, with a strong curiosity in his eyes. To be honest, if she is actually resurrected now, it is really possible to do what Xiao Yuchen said. She is a member of the country of Vortex, and because she witnessed the destruction of her own country, she lived in the war for a long time. She is very aware of the pain of losing her country and family, so she yearns for a peaceful and stable life. But what happened to Naruto made her feel that Konoha couldn't give these things. But she is temporarily revived now, and Naruto cannot be taken away. Fortunately, with Xiao Yuchen here, she can rest assured. Now, she just wants to give Naruto justice and kill Danzo. Sarutobi Hiruzen was silent for a long time, until Kushina was getting impatient and said, "Kushina, you can be resurrected. I believe Minato can also be resurrected. The fourth Hokage is here, so I, the third Hokage, will naturally abdicate. The future Konoha should be guided by you young people." He doesn't talk about what he did to Naruto, because he can't explain the filth in it. Instead of this, it is better to simply compromise. After all, he is Namikaze Minato's teacher, and Naruto is also very dependent on him. I believe that as long as you hand over the power in your hand, you will soon be able to expose this matter and enjoy the rest of your life. As for rights, he is really reluctant to part with them, but as he grows older, he can already let them go. He also really wanted to pass the throne to his son Sarutobi Asuma, so that Sarutobi's glory can continue, but that's because there are few candidates in the village who can be Hokage, obviously stronger than Asuma. Abdicate to the virtuous? Kushina hugged her belly and laughed a few times. Today's Kushina is no longer the young and willful blood pepper, who had no IQ because of Namikaze Minato, but the Niu Kolu's pepper with the city. Old man, don't play tricks on me here, I sound disgusting. Don't worry, Minato is not resurrected, it's just me. Now, I just want you to give my son Uzumaki Naruto an explanation. Otherwise, I don't mind letting Konoha experience the Nine Tails chaos again. Boom. The mighty chakra erupts from Kushina. She is not really resurrected now, but exists temporarily through Naruto's shadow clone. Although her consciousness is leading this shadow clone, chakra is also the majority, but there are also chakra of Naruto and Nine Tails, which will not be more exposed under the increase of Infinite Power Emperor than it was in its heyday. Does anyone think that the pure-blooded Uzumaki who can use Nine Tails chakra are weak? Roar. Nine Tails chakra overflowed, turning into a head on Kushina's head and roaring. The momentum of the big sister's head must be set off. Now Kushina is even more unaffected than before. Shua. Feeling this momentum, four figures appeared around Kushina again, ready to fight. But Kushina ignored them directly and looked at Sarutobi Hiruzen quietly. Outside the Hokage building, Hyuga Hiyashi and other 20 ninja patriarchs, or elite Jonin, or grandmaster perception skills gathered together, with solemn expressions. One is Mrs. Fourth Hokage, who died for the village. It is reasonable to seek justice for her son's unfair experience. One is Third Hokage himself, who holds the village authority. The two confronted each other, and it was impossible for them to help anyone. Of course, most of them favor Kushina in their hearts. Just then, something unexpected happened. Konohamaru, who had been hiding in the corner, suddenly stood up, threw a kunai at Kushina, and shouted, "Smelly woman, you are not allowed to be disrespectful to my grandpa." Boom. A chakra arm protruded from Kushina's body, easily blocked kunai, and grabbed Konohamaru. Konohamaru. Sarutobi Hiruzen's expression changed. This situation was completely beyond his expectations. After all, who would have thought that a child who had just attended a ninja school would have such courage? Why, I'm scared. Kushina smiled coldly, and flung Konohamaru to the wall next to him with a thought. Anbu appeared to catch him, but the two of them hit the wall together and were seriously injured. Kushina. Sarutobi Hiruzen said with anger, "What's wrong?" Kushina thought it was funny, and said angrily, "I just shook your grandson lightly, and let him suffer a little bit of flesh injury, can't you bear it? Then you let my son suffer 12 years of cold violence, eat well and have no one to take care of him, and subtly want to control him, am I going to kill you? Your third Hokage's grandson is a treasure, and the fourth Hokage's son is a mustard, right?" As soon as this remark came out, many people who only knew that Naruto was Jinchuriki, but did not know his identity as the son of the fourth generation were shocked. Many people know that Kushina is pregnant, but few people know her due date. In the eyes of many people, the Nine Tails Rebellion was Uchiha's conspiracy, and the fourth generation couple died together with their unborn child. After all, if you have a normal mind, how can you let your child do Jinchuriki? Kushina, there is a misunderstanding about this matter. Sarutobi Hiruzen's expression changed slightly. Misunderstanding. Kushina sneered, all these years, in the seal of Naruto, I have been able to see what happened to him. Are you telling me that everything is a misunderstanding? Obviously, you just need to announce the identity of his son of the fourth generation, wouldn't it be fine? Hearing this, Sarutobi Hiruzen sighed and explained, The villagers were immersed in grief at that time. If I told them Naruto's true identity, they might not do anything to Naruto, but they would make Minato's hero's name suffer. Loss, so I. Hypocrisy guy, think Namikaze Minato can make Kushina hold his temper. Kushina did as he wished, his expression restrained, and he remained silent for a while. Kaido. Then why is Naruto Jinchuriki's identity revealed? Danzo did this behind my back when Naruto was 3 years old. Sarutobi Hiruzen looked ashamed. In the end, it really had to be Danzo who took the blame. But this matter, he is telling the truth. In the beginning, he really didn't intend for Naruto to have those things. The first 2 generations of Jinchuriki in Konoha are Uzumaki Mito and Uzumaki Kushina, both are Mrs. Hokage, respected by the villagers. Their attitude towards Jinchuriki is not purely as a weapon. What happened to Naruto was Danzo's way to snatch Jinchuriki. He, Sarutobi Hiruzen, was just a bit of an afterthought game. He is passive. Danzo. Good, good, good. Finally hearing this name, Kushina was angry on the surface, but satisfied in her heart. She wanted to kill Danzo first to vent her anger, but she couldn't directly target Danzo. Because she has no way to explain where she knows this. What if Xiao Yuchen suspects that the diary leaked? That's right, Kushina made this big circle out of concern for Xiao Yuchen. And all of this was not thought of by herself, it was someone who. Remind. Azuki Sunset Face. One of the 8 Anbu around her, approach her and use the diary to add her as a friend. For Kushina, who is going to return to the seal after all, there is someone in the world who can communicate, so naturally she does not refuse. After Azuki Shion got in touch with her, she immediately passed on the 2 principles of don't use Xiao Yuchen as a tool, and keep Xiao Yuchen from knowing the contents of the diary are leaked as much as possible, to her. So now her words and deeds have become more organized. Somebody help. Then how did you solve it, Danzo? Kushina asked. At that time, I deprived him of all powers, Sarutobi Hiruzen pondered. At that time, Kushina sneered and said, then it's the official reinstatement now. Rao is the city of Sarutobi Hiruzen, and it almost collapsed at this time. As he was getting old, he had to rely on the power of his roots to deepen his control over Konoha, especially over the powerful families such as Uchiha. Forget it. I'm too lazy to talk nonsense with you. Kushina restrained her expression and said, I only have 2 requests. If you agree, the matter will be exposed. If you don't agree, I will bring Naruto to fight with you, and there will be another 9 Tails chaos. This time, there is no 4th Hokage to be your hero. As soon as this remark came out, many people's expressions became stiff. Say it, said Sarutobi Hiruzen. First, immediately, now, restore Naruto's identity and reputation, and hand over all the relics and inheritances of me and Minato at that time, and a certain amount of money. Ninjutsu compensation is also required. Kushina said that her first request was for Naruto. Yes. Sarutobi Hiruzen agreed without thinking, and even breathed a sigh of relief. Kushina's request, on the contrary, shows that Naruto will be with Konoha, which is a good thing. I'm already making arrangements to restore Naruto's identity. Sarutobi Hiruzen said afterward. I made him a ninja, and decided that Kakashi will be his leader. Teacher, I will go out to do tasks next. When I do something for the village, I will restore his reputation and minimize the impact on Minato. He almost said, I'm thinking about everything for Namikaze Minato. Hey. Kushina sneered in her heart. Now, Namikaze Minato just makes him angry, even a little sick. The old monkey thought that he had seized her life, which was ridiculous. The second request is for Danzo to apologize to Naruto in front of the whole village, criticize him, and permanently remove him from the position of elder. He is not worthy of this status. Kushina shows extreme anger towards Danzo. This. Sarutobi Hiruzen suddenly showed a tangled expression. But his heart was full of joy. The eye drops that Xiao Yuchen gave this afternoon made him feel that Danzo had too much power. Whether it is for himself or to pave the way for Asuma, it is really impossible to weaken Danzo. But the reason must be convincing, because Sarutobi Hiruzen wants face. Kushina's request was simply sleepy and came to send a pillow. A blow to Danzo's reputation makes him ineligible to compete for Hokage. Removing the position of elder is a deprivation of rights. But the identity of the root leader can continue to be retained, and it is still the knife in the hands of Sarutobi Hiruzen. Most importantly, the Kushina matter can be resolved. Danzo, you still have to rely on the old man for everything after all. Laughing triumphantly in his heart, Sarutobi Hiruzen pretended to be deep and said, okay, as you say. So, Sarutobi Hiruzen sent someone to broadcast the whole village, so that everyone gathered in front of the Hokage building. At the same time, he sent someone to inform Shimura Danzo. Sarutobi, you forced me. Danzo touched the bandaged eye on the right side, making an absolute confession. Apology? Surrender. Are you Sarutobi Hiruzen to do it and step down? Soon, the whole village of Konoha gathered in front of the Hokage building. Kushina took Naruto's hand and stood on the roof with Sarutobi Hiruzen, looking down. Snapped. Shimura Danzo came forward on crutches, looking gloomy. Sarutobi. Danzo walked forward and wanted to say something. But at this moment, 8 chakra chains shot out from behind Kushina without warning, wrapping around Danzo's limbs, neck, and running through his abdomen. Immediately afterwards, Kushina raised his hand and turned it into a chakra-raised claw, grabbing Danzo's neck. One shot is life-threatening. No one could stop it in time, including Danzo himself. Everyone was dumbfounded, including Xiao Yuchen. Foggrass. This unfolds. Uchiha Shisui's Mangekyo Sharingan is gone. The Hokage building was crowded with people. After 3rd Hokage Sarutobi Hiruzen released the broadcast, the vast majority of villagers in the village, ninjas who did not go out to perform tasks, and many ninja members, and even spies from other ninja villages, etc., all gathered here. Looking at the 3rd Hokage on the Hokage building, and the red-haired woman beside the 3rd Hokage holding the incarnation of the demon fox, most people talked about it, not knowing what will happen next. Xiao Yuchen looked at this scene with an expression that he didn't enjoy eating melons. She thought that Kushina was going to tear Sarutobi Hiruzen with her hands, but she didn't expect that people only wanted to restore Naruto's reputation, get inheritance compensation, and punish Danzo. What's the point of this? As long as Sarutobi Hiruzen is still there, Danzo cannot die. If Naruto can take things back today, they will be able to grab them back tomorrow. Kushina is obviously brainwashed by the will of fire, or is it just for the sake of Namikaze, Minato? Confused. Not only did he think so in his heart, but he also recorded it in his diary. This anticlimactic feeling made him feel very uncomfortable. But when Danzo appeared on the stage and Kushina suddenly became a killer, he was dumbfounded. He, like everyone else, fell into an unbelievable stupor. Who would have imagined that in front of the whole village, the ninja clan and countless other people, and the high-level people in the village, someone would kill 3rd Hokage's true love, Shimura Danzo? Not to mention that Xiao Yuchen didn't expect it, neither did Sarutobi Hiruzen, nor did Shimura Danzo, the person involved. Looking down at the chakra chains running through his body, feeling that the chakra in his whole body was being suppressed and disappearing, Shimura Danzo was also a little dazed for a moment. Before coming, he thought about one thing clearly. If the identity of Uzumaki Naruto's son of the hero is revealed, and what he did as Shimura Danzo is revealed, he will surely become the target of public criticism. These people will crazily condemn and despise him, in order to seek the stability of their conscience, as compensation for Naruto. After today, Naruto will be successfully accepted as the son of a hero, and he, Shimura Danzo, will be the only loser and be nailed to the pillar of shame forever. He has been hiding in the dark and cannot see the light. He will completely lose his qualifications to be a Hokage. He can only do dirty and tiring work for Sarutobi Hiruzen and cannot resist. It was worse than killing him, so he decided to give it a go. He will use the distinguished heavenly gods to order Sarutobi Hiruzen to bear all the darkness, and he himself will bathe in light from today. But as Chakra's chains penetrated his body, only Chakra's big hands attacked his vitals. This idea instantly disappeared. Even if he wanted to use distinguished heavenly gods to order Kushina instead, it was too late to save himself. So I can only. Izanagi. Puff. Raising the claws and falling, Danzo's head was thrown out, his eyes open and he seemed to be dead. This bloody scene made many people who had never seen it before feel a churn in their stomachs. Xiao Yuchen felt that he might be a little pervert, because not only did he not feel sick, but he even felt excited. Click click click. If there was a sound when the diary took pictures, it will definitely be ringing now. Xiao Yuchen recorded what happened on the rooftop of the Hokage building. Excellent, Kushina is really awesome. This ticket is worth it, I want to call for Kushina. The darkness of Konoha, Shimura Danzo was almost killed. The combination of text and photos allowed the women holding diaries to clearly understand what happened at the scene. The head flew out, dripping with blood. Danzo's unbelievable eyes made them want to cheer. For Konan, Kushina was avenging Yahiko. For Sunade, the Senju clan and Nawaki's vengeance was partly avenged. For Makoto, the feud of the Uchiha clan has been vented. But soon, they frowned in doubt. Almost got killed, what does that mean? Could it be that Danzo was still alive after his head was cut off? I beheaded Danzo, how could he still be alive? Kushina, who was excited about killing Danzo with her own hands, felt a thump in her heart. She has 9 tails chakra in her body, so she can be sure that she is not under the illusion. So how is Danzo going to live? If the timing wasn't right, she really wanted to ask Xiao Yuchen directly in person. Fortunately, Xiao Yuchen has always been understanding and answered their doubts directly. After Kushina used adamantine sealing chains to control Danzo, I found that Danzo had 3 seals of U, Hi and Mi, indicating that he had used Izanagi. The seal on his right hand has not been released yet. The only Sharingan he can use is Zebo Shisui's. What a waste of money. Izanagi is the ultimate pupil art of the Uchiha family. After it is activated, it can turn the things that are not good for you into reality for a period of time. Only choose things that are good for you to become reality. Is a terrifying pupil technique that can make oneself invincible. Activation time varies according to each person's ability. As long as there is a Sharingan, this technique can be activated, and the cost is that the Sharingan is blind. Uchiha Madara used this pupil technique and his own Mangekyo Sharingan characteristics, coupled with his understanding of Senju Tobirama, to trick the 2 Senju brothers into surviving, and took away his real purpose of instigating the Battle of the Valley of the End, Senju Hashirama flesh. Seeing this, all the girls showed surprised expressions, including Uchiha Makoto. If Xiao Yuchen didn't say it, they would never have imagined that Uchiha still has such taboo power. At the cost of Sharingan's blindness, even death can be reversed for a period of time. Uchiha Madara actually used this technique to cooperate with Mangekyo Sharingan to fake death, and also deceived Senju Hashirama and Senju Tobirama. From this point of view, after the Battle of the Valley of the End, this ninja Shura was not dead yet. But after that, there was no news of Ninja World appearing again. He must be planning something in the dark. It seems that Uchiha Madara lived at least until the Second Ninja World War. On a big ship that was about to dock, a wise light appeared in Terumi Mei's eyes. 4th Mizuka Jigura once said that he was controlled by the Mangekyo Sharingan early in World War E. But according to all the intelligence analysis she has collected now, Uchiha Obito awakened Mangekyo Sharingan in the late period of World War E. This shows that the blood mist policy in the early stage, and Uchiha is manipulating Yagura. It was Uchiha Obito who controlled life to carry out the massacre of blood following ninjas in the later stage. She didn't know who Uchiha was who controlled Yagura in the first place, but now it seems that it should be Uchiha Madara. And she remembered that Xiao Yuchen mentioned that Black Zetsu used Uchiha Madara, and Uchiha Madara used Uchiha Obito. Compared to other ninja villages, the only thing Kirigakure can compare with Konoha is that there are probably more blood successor ninjas. If it's not about quality, it's more about type and quantity, and it's even better than Konoha. Is this why Mist Shinobi was targeted by Uchiha Madara? So now, is he still alive? Feeling that there is an invisible big hand covering Kirigakure and even the ninja world behind her, Terumi Mei's heart became tense. Originally, she was curious to meet Xiao Yuchen, adding a bit of hatred to marry and find the right man. But now, she starts to worry about Mist Shinobi. When we get to Konoha, we must have a good relationship with this time traveler. Terumi Mei licked her lips. In Rain Shinobi Village, Konan, who was conspiring with Uzumaki Nagato, changed his expression slightly. Xiao Yuchen's spoiler in the diary made her uncertain about the identity of the masked man. Because of using Izanagi, Uchiha Madara may also only have one eye now. That's why we have to test it all the more, Konan thought. After seeing the diary, other people also had their own ideas. And among these people, the one who responded the fastest was Kushina. Since Xiao Yuchen said that Danzo used Izanagi and is not dead yet, she believed it. Then fight until the time you activate Izanagi ends. Kushina formed seals with both hands and separated 8 shadow clone. Shua. The shadow clones scattered in 2s and 4s, and still formed seals before everyone could react. 4 red yang formation. With the 8 shadow clones as the origin, a red transparent flame energy wall is opened in the 4 directions of east, west, north and south, and after connecting, it turns into 2 sets of cuboid barriers inside and outside, sealing the 8 shadow clones of Kushina between the barrier and the barrier middle. Seeing this, many knowledgeable people on the scene gasped, and Xiao Yuchen was also taken aback. Outrageous. I knew that Kushina could perform 4 red yang formation, but I didn't expect that she could perform 2 at the same time. If she is still 9 tails Jinchuriki, maybe it is still possible, but how is it possible now? 4 red yang formation is just an A-level ninjutsu, it is not difficult to learn. The prerequisite for performing this ninjutsu is to gather 4 top ninjas who are as big as chakra and cage level. Once successfully cast, it can form a red transparent cuboid enchantment with flames, which can isolate the target from the outside world or the outside world. There is a red flame on the barrier, and any touch will burn the flames, thus preventing them from entering and exiting, and the barrier is so hard that it can resist the tail beast bullets of 10 tails. Of course, if you can attack the person who performs ninjutsu, you can easily solve the problem from the root. But Kushina has now opened 2-4 red yang formation, which has basically eliminated this situation, unless someone can perform time and space ninjutsu. In other words, all of Kushina's 8 shadow clones now have shadow level chakra capacity. You're right to be surprised. A smug flash of Kushina's mouth corners. No matter how smart Ren Xiao Yuchen is, she would never have imagined that she could get a magic blessing through a copy of the diary. What is 9 tails? She is infinite energy now, and so is every shadow clone. Cage level chakra amount? Sprinkle water only. Even the former 9 tails Jinchuriki, she never fought such a rich battle. But the next moment, Kushina's smile froze. Chakra volume aside, why did Kushina cast 4 red yang formation after killing Danzo, or 2? Could it be that she knows Danzo is not dead and intends to catch the turtle in the urn? Could it be that she still knows about Izanagi? This is a forbidden technique in the Uchiha family. How could Dr. Jushin know? She is not right, there is a big problem. These remarks are in one place. The hearts of the girls who were reading the diary suddenly tightened. This guy's observation and analysis skills are too sharp. Uzumaki Kushina, Shion, come up with a solution. Yue Shion, can you save me some trouble? Azuki Shion, Sr., do you know anyone from the Uchiha clan? The higher the status, the better, and of course you have to have a good relationship with you, the kind who can tell secrets. Uzumaki Kushina, Mrs. Uchiha Patriarch, the mother of Uchiha Madara Sasuke, is my best friend. Do you think this meets the requirements? Azuki Shion, are you sure this isn't Versailles? The Patriarch's wife, the mother of one of the future saviors, isn't her status high enough? Maoyue Shion, Sr., you can show kindness. Azuki Shion online teaching, the speed is very fast. Kushina quickly understood what she meant, and felt relieved. At this moment, Sarutobi Hiruzen finally came to his senses and yelled at Kushina, Uzumaki Kushina, what are you doing? What am I doing, you can't see. Kushina's deity, who was in the 4 red yang formation, turned around and said, I'm avenging my son. Elder, can you kill if you say so? Sarutobi Hiruzen said angrily. If you dare to kill the elder today, wouldn't you dare to kill Hokage tomorrow? Of course the elder doesn't want to kill him, but what if he assassinated 4th Hokage and caused the outbreak of the 9 Tails Rebellion? Kushina asked back. As soon as she said this, there was an uproar at the scene. The civilians whispered to each other, and the expressions of those ordinary ninjas were not right. Hyuga Hiyashi, Nara Deer and other ninjas of the ninja are also the same, and their expressions have become very ugly. If Kushina didn't talk nonsense, then these people would all be a joke. Kushina, you need evidence to say this. Sarutobi Hiruzen's expression was uncertain. If you want to say that the person who believes in Kushina's words the most is actually him. He was so aware of Shimura Danzo's desire for Hokage that he even sent Hitaki Kakashi to assassinate him. It is entirely possible for Danzo to find the right time to attack the 4th Hokage couple, and by the way, put the shitpot on the Uchiha clan. But he does not want this truth to be exposed, because it is easy to pull out the carrot and bring out the mud. Evidence? Of course I have evidence. Kushina's words made Sarutobi Hiruzen's heart sink. There may be many people present who don't know me. Let me introduce myself. My name is Uzumaki Kushina. I was the wife of 4th Hokage Namikaze Minato, and also the former 9 Tails Jinchuriki. As soon as the news came out, it caused another discussion. Obviously, many people were unaware and surprised. Kushina silently opened Kagura's eyes, but still couldn't find Danzo. But this made her feel more at ease, to see who is more anxious about taking time. The trick given by Maoyue Shion is to use the pot to deal with the pot, and slander against smear. 12 years ago, I was about to give birth, and the 9 Tails seal came loose. Kushina continued. At that time, I was transferred to a safe location with a seal and a lot of guards for production, and only a small number of high-level officials knew about that location. But when my child was born, someone successfully broke in, snatched my child and sent 4th Hokage away, then kidnapped me, and opened the seal to release 9 Tails. That person wears a one-eyed mask. I don't know what he looks like, but I clearly remember that his only exposed right eye is the Mangekyo Sharingan, who is almost becoming a legend among the Uchiha clan. Boom. Everyone immediately thought of Danzo's occasional appearance in front of people, with his right eye and half of his body tied. Could it be that Mangekyo Sharingan is hidden? But how could Shimura Danzo have Mangekyo Sharingan? Could it be that he covets the blood successor boundary of his fellow villager? Some people who have loved ones who died in the 9 Tails riots, things are starting to go wrong. Hyuga Hiyashi and other ninjas who have blood succession limit or family secrets also change their expressions again and again. And Kushina continued at this time. Let me tell you another secret. I am from the Uzumaki family, and I have a perception ability that is stronger than ordinary perception skills, Kagura Mind Eye. When Danzo appeared, I sensed a familiar force in his right eye. It is the power of the Mangekyo Sharingan. If I'm not mistaken, this eye belongs to the strong man of the Uchiha clan, Uchiha Kagami. Before Kushina's death, Shisui hadn't become famous yet, so the Uchiha clan was used as an excuse to be famous and strong. Boom. This time, everyone completely exploded. Only the higher-ups know when Lord Kushina will give birth. The right eye is Mangekyo Sharingan. I've always heard that Danzo is not a good guy. It cannot be. Yuhihong and Anko got a letter from Izuki Shion, and they also started talking. Xiao Yuchen echoed on the surface, but the inner movement was very rich. Good guy. I really didn't expect this to unfold. The Vortex Kushina is really a group. It's all here equals Obito pretends Uchiha Madara is lying everywhere. He probably never thought that one day someone would mistake Danzo for him, die laughing. The point is that there is no problem in logic, absolutely. Kushina, this is just your side story. Mitokado Homura next to Sarutobi Hiruzen said, at least, you should confirm it first. That's right, now Danzo is dead by you, there is no proof of death. Udatain Kaharu also said. The former comrades were killed in front of their faces, and they might leave a bad smell for 10,000 years, so they couldn't help but feel a little bit sad. There is no proof of death? That's not necessarily the case. Kushina looked at Danzo's head and said, Danzo, how long are you going to endure? Continuing to consume it will only be bad for you. As soon as this statement came out, everyone was puzzled. The head was chopped off. How could he still be alive? Sure enough, Kushina knows Izanagi. Xiao Yuchen frowned slightly. Will Kushina know about the forbidden technique that not many people in the Uchiha family know about? Danzo, you should know that I have a very good relationship with Uchiha Makoto. Kushina continued. She once told me that the Uchiha family has the forbidden technique, and at the cost of Sharingan's blindness, they can control what happened to them for a period of time. Things, even rewriting death. Just now I felt your right eye Mangekyo Sharingan chakra disappear suddenly, and your own chakra also disappeared before I cut off your head. You can't fool me. It turned out to be Uchiha Makoto. She is indeed qualified to know about Izanagi, but she didn't expect to tell Uzumaki Kushina, a good girlfriend in the ninja world. Uchiha Makoto. When did she know about Izanami? She didn't know. Not to mention telling Kushina that this is simply impossible. Kushina, what the hell are you doing? Makoto was troubled. Near the Hokage building, Izuki Shion and other women were relieved. As long as Xiao Yuchen no longer doubts, this person is really too smart, they should be more careful in doing things in the future. But none of them noticed that a meaningful smile flashed across the corner of Xiao Yuchen's mouth. Kushina, I didn't expect you to know Izanagi. Under the watchful eyes of everyone, Danzo's head and body suddenly disappeared, and then appeared intact at the place where Uzumaki Kushina was. But only Danzo knows that in order to rewrite death, his right eye has been permanently closed. Danzo, why do you have a Sharingan? Sarutobi Hiruzen asked. As Hokage, he has to draw a line from the current Danzo. Danzo glanced at him indifferently, did not speak, but looked at Kushina with a serious expression. Seeing this scene, Xiao Yuchen decisively wrote something in his diary. Kushina's random reasoning, it's a wrong shot. Danzo's right eye is actually Uchiha Kagami's descendant Uchiha Shisui's Mangekyo Sharingan, Distinguished Heavenly Gods. Distinguished Heavenly Gods is the most powerful illusion in the ninja world. It can directly invade the opponent's brain and modify the opponent's will without being discovered by the opponent. I wanted to get it first, but I didn't expect it to be used as a resurrection coin by Danzo. Distinguished Heavenly Gods has a limitation, that is, it needs to be cooled down for more than 10 years after being used once, and can only be recovered in a short time unless there is the power of Senju Hashirama. Danzo cooperated with Orochimaru to transform his arm into Hashirama cells. Although he cannot have the effect of Senju Hashirama himself, after using Distinguished Heavenly Gods, it only takes a few hours to recover. But the power of Hashirama cells is too strong, and the transplanter may turn into a tree if he is not careful. In order to balance this power, Danzo transplanted a Sharingan on his arm. However, many Sharingans have a huge load on mental energy, and Danzo can't bear the consumption of chakra, so he can only seal it at ordinary times. Now, Danzo must be debating whether to open this seal or not. Open. It is true that he covets the power of the Uchiha clan's descendants, but using Izanagi has a chance to escape from the Four Red Yang formation, and even defected to Konoha. If you don't open it, he will have to be killed by Kushina now. However, even if it is turned on, since his arm is only a product of Orochimaru's experiment, each Sharingan can only last for 1 minute, which means that he has 10 minutes of invincibility. But after that, he still has to die. Another pile of information came, and the girls were shocked to the point of numbness. Whether it's the effect of distinguished heavenly gods, or Danzo's transplantation of Hashirama cells and Sharingan, it is enough to make the whole ninja world boil. Danzo. Orochimaru. Although it was not the first time I saw it, Senju Tsunade was still angry inside. The next time she meets Orochimaru, she'll absolutely smash this guy. And Danzo. Wish I could go back in time to burn him down. The whole arm is Sharingan, and the cells of Master First Hokage? Kushina's eyes lit up, and she immediately controlled the chakra chain to launch an attack. Danzo keeps dodging, rhythmically defending, and various wind-style ninjutsu layers emerge endlessly. During this period, he kept trying to unlock the seal on his right arm. But Kushina's offensive was so fierce that he couldn't achieve his goal at all. As time went by, there was less and less chakra in his body, and his movements became more and more sluggish, and he was in danger several times. Hiruzen. Shimura Danzo tried to ask Sarutobi Hiruzen and some acquaintances for help. But don't say that the old monkey and others don't want to save him at all. Even if they want to, they can't break the 4 red yang formation at all. In this case, let the old man make the final contribution to Konoha. Shimura Danzo, who was forced to die, yelled, tore off his clothes and performed Lishixiang sealing techniques. The blood from his whole body sprayed out, and the seal of 4 images engraved on his body in advance expanded in a spherical shape, devouring the surrounding things, and finally sealed them completely. Kushina is originally a shadow clone, and it doesn't matter if one of them is swallowed. It's fine to die. Looking at the top of the Hokage building in a mess, Sarutobi Hiruzen was inexplicably relieved. Danzo died completely, leaving nothing behind, and impure world reincarnation couldn't summon it. Some of the mistakes he made in the past can be pushed on the other party as much as he wants, anyway, there is no proof. Xiao Yuchen was also looking at the top of the Hokage building, with a meaningful smile appearing on the corner of his mouth again. Sure enough, something is wrong with these women. What they did make logical sense. But whenever I feel a problem and write it down in my diary, someone will immediately give me a plausible answer and lead my eyes in another direction. Once or twice can be called a coincidence. It happens several times, which is a bit deliberate. All of these women have serious problems. When the seeds of doubt are planted, they are very difficult to eradicate. As a time traveler, Xiao Yuchen has always maintained special vigilance after time travel. From the moment he had doubts, he was probing, observing, summarizing, and even guiding rhythmically. Now, he already has a preliminary guess. Some people can know what he wrote in the diary. The way to obtain it should not be directly flipping through the diary, most likely it is the voice of the heart, or broadcasting. From this point of view, the rule in the diary that others cannot see the diary is not a lie to him. The information they obtained should not be comprehensive, and the purpose of approaching him is to obtain more comprehensive content. Maybe the closer you are to him, or the better your relationship with him, the more information you can know. Or, what would he hear when he mentioned their names in his diary? That's why they made me feel that they approached me abnormally, instead of observing me, analyzing me, and studying me. Because you get close to me, you can get a lot of information about this world. Judging from their behavior towards me, maybe they want to have a good relationship with me. It's barely a benefit. Won't everyone come back to me in the end? Xiao Yuchen was whimsical in his heart. Of course, these are just his superficial conclusions and do not represent the facts. Maybe it was an accident. After all, Kushina's resurrection has nothing to do with the diary. Maybe the situation is more complicated than he thinks? If you want to get a definite answer, you need to continue to explore. Let's keep it as it is first, so as not to overwhelm others, will show his feet. After I collect more information, I will consider how to respond. Xiao Yuchen made a decision in his heart. At this time, at the top of the Hokage building. Kushina didn't know that some of her actions were calculated by Xiao Yuchen. She just felt refreshed to have personally eliminated Danzo, who was responsible for Naruto's tragic childhood. Withdrawing the 4 red yang formation, she came to Sarutobi Hiruzen like a normal person, and said, "Old man, let's get down to business." Sarutobi Hiruzen. How is it like killing a cat or a dog when you kill an elder, or Danzo who holds the roots? Kushina. You killed your fellow villager in public, and you are still an elder, shouldn't you give everyone an explanation first? Udatain Kaharu said coldly. Kaharu is right. Mitokado Homura echoed. If you rely on your own strength and do whatever you want, the village system is in place. The village is stable and in harmony. Will there be conflicts in the future, and we will solve them by ourselves? Hearing this, Kushina sneered and said, even Danzo himself never argued for it, but you two started to complain for him. After finishing speaking, she directly ignored these two old things and turned to watch Sarutobi Hiruzen get down to business. Her time is limited, don't waste it here. At this moment, she found that the contents of the diary appeared again. I was in front of the Hokage building. I just watched Kushina kill Danzo. Suddenly I saw Utatane Kaharu and Mitokado Homura, two strange old things, standing up and questioning me. I remember no matter when Sunade was the 5th Hokage, or when Kakashi was the 6th Hokage, or even when Naruto became the 7th Hokage, these two guys are still alive, relying on the old to sell the old every day, referring to Joe Wen. This is really in response to the sentence, good people don't live long, but disasters last for thousands of years. Boom. In the land of fire, Sunade slammed a thick tree trunk and fell to the ground, creating a big hole. This kind of error in chakra's precise control happened to her, a master of medicine in the ninja world, which shows how much her mood has changed now. Master Sunade. Shizune came to Sunade's side with an expression of apprehension and surprise. Xiao Yuchen mentioned that Sunade will become 5th Hokage, and that must be true. Not surprisingly, it should be what happened after Sarutobi Hiruzen was killed by Orochimaru. Although disappointed with 3rd Hokage, Hokage is still the belief in the hearts of most Konoha people. Sunade can become the 5th Hokage, in Shizune's view, it is perfect, and he can say goodbye to the wandering life. Shizune, let's go. Sunade turned around suddenly, not wanting to go back to Konoha. Master Sunade? Only naive idiots become Hokage, and I don't want to. Sunade exudes a gloomy aura all over his body. Shizune understood that she was thinking of Senju Nawaki, who wanted to be Hokage again. This is not very good advice. Suddenly, she had an idea. Master Sunade, Mr. Yuchen said that he would die for the 5th Hokage. Isn't that you? Sunade frowned, and his strange aura faded. To make the traversers who know everything want to dedicate themselves so much, it seems that she did a good job when she was in office. Seeing that Sunade did not refute, Shizune strikes while the iron is hot. Master Sunade, you succeeded to the 5th generation after the death of 3rd Hokage. Now that Master 3rd Hokage is not dead, you will not become Hokage when you go back to Konoha. Besides, you don't want to ruin Danzo's ashes? You don't want to find a way to revive Nawaki? Also, the Senju family's real estate rent should be collected, it's related to your gambling money. Stop. Sunade interrupted Shizune, turned around again and said, go back immediately. I'm afraid it's too late to go back, I don't even have Danzo's ashes. Shizune covered his mouth and chuckled, making a comparison in his heart. Done. Konoha construction without you, fighting for power and profit, restricting Hokage, that is the #1 ninja world. Kushina just solved Danzo in front of them, they dare to stand up. Didn't you see that Sarutobi Hiruzen is pretending to be blind? Sometimes I really can't figure it out. Sunade can still be said to be concerned about the influence of Danzo's roots. Considering the whole village as a whole, Naruto can smash the moon with a knife, and it is too wasteful to tolerate them like this. I guess it was brainwashed and broken by Sarutobi Hiruzen, what a pity. Hiss. Seeing this, all the girls gasped and looked up at the full moon in the sky. Let's not talk about how big the moon is, but it is certain that it is far away from the land they stepped on. There is no shortage of flying ninjas in the ninja world. For example, 3rd Tsuchikage Onogi is said to have tried to test how high the sky was, but failed after a certain distance. At that time, Onoki was still far away from the moon. If Naruto could split the moon from such a distance, what kind of monster would it be? Obviously, they were misunderstood because Xiao Yuchen didn't say the whole thing. Nagato, can you attack the moon? In Rain Shinobi Village, Konan suddenly asked Uzumaki Nagato. Nagato. I am a self-proclaimed god, but I am not a real god. Konan, are you playing an angel too much? Cannot. Then can you go to the moon? Cannot. Then you sure can't split the moon. Cannot. Konan really had a big problem. Naruto's final strength is actually this strong. After Terumi Mei and Samui were shocked, they thought more about it. They always remember that Naruto and Sasuke are the saviors. If it is possible to save the world by hacking the moon, how dangerous is it to destroy the world? This backlash made their hearts even more tense. Crack. Kushina clenched her fists. Her focus is on the fact that the two old guys are selling Naruto to their old age. Resisting the urge to punch these two old guys away on the spot, she moved closer to them and said coldly, shut up, or I don't mind sending you to the Pure Land to reunite with Danzo. This sentence Kushina deliberately lowered her voice, and only the two parties and Sarutobi Hiruzen heard it. To be honest, if she is really resurrected, she will definitely send these two old things to the west. After all, she even wants to kill Sarutobi Hiruzen. Although I am very disappointed with Namikaze Minato now, but when he was doing 4th Hokage, these two old things also liked to come out and have nothing to do to show off their presence, which always made her very sick. It's a pity that she will return to the seal soon, considering Naruto, she can only bear it. Hiruzen. Utatane Kaharu and Mitokado Homura gestured to Sarutobi Hiruzen to speak to themselves. Sarutobi Hiruzen wanted to strangle these two guys to death. If you really have something to do, you can't do it. Tulao sells Lao Sha Bibi first. Kushina dared to kill Danzo in front of him, wouldn't he dare to kill both of them? Even his Hokage, if he is not still in this position, he might be liquidated. And with the strength that Kushina showed just now, he thought he was no opponent at all, and he could only die with the opponent if he used the ghoul seal. If the entire Konoha takes action, it is possible to suppress it by sacrificing at least half of the people, but Konoha will be removed from the ninja world in a short time. Speaking of which, look at Yamanaka Hai, which one of them is ready to do something? Over the years, Danzo has frequently reached out to his family members, and has long been hated. In their hearts, they may still be rejoicing for Kushina now. You are temporarily dismissed from the position of the elders, and you will go back to review at home. Glancing at Kushina, Sarutobi Hiruzen made a quick decision. The most urgent task now is to make friends with this Yi Shinkui. Whether it is for the benefit of the Sarutobi family or to enjoy a peaceful old age, it is very necessary. Hiruzen. Utatane Kaharu wanted to say something else. But meeting Sarutobi Hiruzen's cold eyes, the two resolutely shut their mouths. When Sarutobi Hiruzen succeeded 3rd Hokage at a young age, despite the support of Uzumaki Mito, there were still struggles in the village. Arranging these classmates into the Presbyterian Church is a means of checks and balances, and it is also the Uchiha and Akamichi clan of homeopathic State City. Among them, the power and status of the two of them are entirely derived from Sarutobi Hiruzen, unlike Danzo who has a root that can make the other party afraid to weigh. They didn't have the confidence to refuse. Understood. The two stepped back aggrieved. Only then did Sarutobi Hiruzen restrain his expression, and said gently to Kushina, "Then let's announce Naruto's identity first." Kushina nodded in agreement. So next, Sarutobi Hiruzen started his performance. The first thing is to do a self-criticism, admit your mistakes as a Hokage, and pave the way for things. Then, he revealed the identity of the son of Naruto 4th generation and threw all the blame on Danzo. Xiao Yuchen wanted to laugh when he heard some of the obviously added content. If Danzo could hear it, he might be so angry that he would crawl out of the Pure Land. After shirking responsibility, he said without any trace that he was thinking of the village, and finally apologized again. After such a performance, most of the villagers and civilian ninjas have forgiven Sarutobi Hiruzen, and some even comfort him in turn. However, those ninjas who came from big families and knew a lot of things just watched with cold eyes. That's the way it is. Although Naruto is a Jinchuriki, he is not the incarnation of a demon fox, but the son of a hero. I hope everyone treats him well. Sarutobi Hiruzen's eloquent summary. The crowd below immediately began to shout. Some apologized to Naruto, some repented and scolded themselves, but more people insulted Shimura Danzo, thinking that Danzo deceived them. And Kushina killed Danzo. In their opinion, it was cheaper for the Konoha cancer. In the end, it all ostensibly ends with Danzo carrying it all. Sarutobi Hiruzen said that the night is getting dark, so everyone should pay attention to leave safely. But the invisible storm began to spread to the outside world with Konoha as the center. The resurrection of Kushina, the reveal of the identity of the son of the 4th generation, and the end of Konoha's darkness, these things will cause waves in the ninja world. Of course, all of this has nothing to do with Xiao Yuchen for now. He was going to go home, but he was still feeling that Naruto's guardian would be invalidated. My mother is back, so of course I have nothing to do. But Mrs. Kushina, you don't mind if Naruto has a good tutor? At this time, Azuki Shion suddenly found Xiao Yuchen and said that Mr. Hokage is welcome. So fast? Xiao Yuchen came to Hokage's office with Azuki Shion with suspicion. Then he heard Kushina say to Sarutobi Hiruzen, "Next, I'm going to leave the village to investigate some things. Before that, there is one last request. I need Xiao Yuchen to take care of Naruto." Azuki Shion. My sister, are you a pig teammate? You are so targeted, isn't it more exposed? Azuki Shion, senior, how can you ask for Mr. Yuchen by name? Isn't that telling him that you have a problem? Azuki Shion felt that if she couldn't stay young forever in the future, then menopause would definitely come earlier. These women worried her too much. Uzumaki Kushina, Don't worry, watch me operate. Kushina said he would infer other cases from one instance. Isn't it just to dispel Xiao Yuchen's possible suspicion? Simple. I can see everything happening outside in the seal. This Yuchen is very good to Naruto. I can feel that there is no bad intention. Before coming here, Naruto kept telling me that he liked him very much. I have something to leave temporarily, so I can let him continue to be Naruto's guardian. Kushina looked at Sarutobi Hiruzen with her arms crossed, and gave her reasons with a straight face. Yes, yes. Hearing Yuchen's name, Naruto, who had been giggling beside him, finally came back to his senses at this moment, and kept nodding in agreement. I also want brother Yuchen to be my guardian. He promised to take me to live in a big house, take me to eat a lot of delicious food that I have never eaten, teach me how to dress up, and make me look like a girl. Speaking of this, Naruto couldn't help thinking about it. When the time comes, little Sakura will definitely. Boom. Before Naruto could speak, Kushina hit him on the head with a fist. What I said earlier is still very serious. Even if you want to be liked by women, it's not bad, but why are you talking about little Sakura? At a young age, don't always think about how to please a woman. Ninjutsu, taijutsu, cultural achievements, and how to behave in the world, let me learn them first. Kushina looks like he hates iron but not steel. She didn't forget what Xiao Yuchen said in the diary about Naruto and Haruno Sakura. That's pure dog licking. Although the process of licking back in the end made her mother feel uncomfortable. It's fine if Naruto attracts people by his own excellence, and it's fine if he has a heart-to-heart relationship, but it's fine if he keeps making efforts to move people. What if you become an honest person who is bullied? Okay, got it. Naruto held his head aggrieved. But it can be seen from his satisfied eyes that he enjoys the feeling of being educated by his mother. This is the picture he has imagined countless times in his dreams, he only feels happy. Kushina originally wanted to say something more, but after seeing Naruto's eyes, everything turned soft. At the same time, she was even more displeased with Sarutobi Hiruzen, who was pretending to be smiling. As for Xiao Yuchen, she just likes what she sees. After all, without this traverser, she would not know what happened to her son, and she was still acting stupid. Even Naruto's future is 7th Hokage, who is the savior of the ninja world, with the power to chop the moon. But in the eyes of her mother, it is not comforting, but very ironic. Why should Naruto, who suffered so much, still become such a hero for the ninja world? They don't deserve it. Hi Yuchen, I'm Uzumaki Kushina. Kushina came to Xiao Yuchen and stretched out her slender, white and tender hands like tofu. To be honest, standing next to Naruto, she doesn't look like a mother at all, but more like a sister. Hello, Kushina. Xiao Yuchen couldn't think of what to call her for a while. After all, he was a person who died 12 years ago, and his identity and position are not easy to define. You can call me sister, okay Nai. Kushina grinned and said heartily, I was only 24 years old when I died, and what happened to Naruto these years was shared with me by that bastard Nine Tails. In terms of real age, I am not much older than you are now. Kushina wants to get closer to Xiao Yuchen. Whether it is for the temporary resurrection ability like today, or for real resurrection, or for Naruto, this is very necessary. Sister Kushina. Xiao Yuchen smiled gently. The drama between sister and younger brother is amazing in these small days. Actually, I don't mind if you ask me to call you sister. Xiao Yuchen smiled and said, after all, you look so young. Kushina suddenly burst out laughing. A normal woman would be happy to be called that by a handsome guy younger than herself, right? Soon she still had the idea of making friends with each other in her heart. But, my name is brother Yuchen is brother, and brother Yuchen is called mother and sister, isn't this a mess? Naruto asked without vision. It doesn't matter if we have our own opinions. Xiao Yuchen smiled. Kushina immediately agreed. Naruto didn't bother anymore. As long as he knows that these two people like him very much. At this time, this guy Sarutobi Hiruzen suddenly came out to spoil the fun. Kushina, what are you doing at the homeland of Uzumaki? Don't get me wrong. I didn't want to know your purpose, it's just that you reunited with Naruto. Is there any difficulty in leaving? Maybe I can help you. At first glance, it sounds like Grandpa cares about his grandson. When Naruto next to him heard it, he looked very moved, and then looked at Kushina expectantly. In fact, as long as Kushina is really resurrected and continues to show his strength today, the true degree of Sarutobi Hiruzen's concern can be as high as. But when he asks this now, he is not simply concerned, but also tempted. For Kushina's resurrection, he was curious and skeptical. Damn old monkey, Mr. Yuchen is right, you can't let Naruto be brainwashed by him again, and you have to find a way to wash it back. Kushina scolded Sarutobi Hiruzen in her heart. Both because of Naruto's cheap touch, and because he recognized Sarutobi Hiruzen's temptation. But she still can't do anything, because she will return to the seal after today. The so-called country of going to the vortex is just an excuse. As this, Kushina pretended to be hesitant. Seeing this, Sarutobi Hiruzen said with a concerned look, "You also know that this old man is very knowledgeable and knows many secrets of the ninja world. Maybe you can give it to the staff. And Jiraiya has been keeping in touch with me. If you lack manpower to help, I can notify him to come back." While showing kindness, he also slightly revealed a whole card. Jiraiya, who knows celestial arts, is definitely the strongest among Sannin now, surpassing him, an aging ninja. For this kind of speech, Sarutobi Hiruzen has already used it with such innocence that it has even become instinctive. The old monkey is knocking on the sidelines again, constantly probing. Did this guy learn only the most trivial politics in Senju Tobarama? What else can Kushina reincarnation do? Namikaze Minato dies with ghoul confinement. The soul is in the belly of Shinigami instead of pure land, and it cannot be recalled even with impure world reincarnation, and specific props are needed to revive it. Of course she was looking for this thing. Kushina. Did I think so? How come I don't know it myself? Unexpectedly, the Uzumaki clan, still have the props to liberate the soul in Shinigami's stomach. Why don't you talk about it in detail? Appetite. However, I don't want to revive Namikaze Minato. It's not that Kushina is cruel, because he has a big opinion on Namikaze Minato and doesn't want to revive him. If there is a chance to revive Namikaze Minato, for Naruto's consideration, she will do it. But for a long time to come, she won't think about it. It's just because Namikaze Minato has a big picture view. According to Xiao Yuchen's words in the diary, it is the successor of Honda's Will of Fire. A third Hokage has already fooled Naruto into such a situation. If you add a fourth Hokage's father, you will never even think about it in this life. I am afraid that you will become the Virgin Mary White Lotus. So before successfully reshaping Naruto's three views, so that he can distinguish kindness, and understand revenge with revenge, instead of revenge with virtue. Never revive Namikaze Minato, absolutely. Actually, Kushina can tell the truth to Sarutobi Hiruzen, which can not only deter the old monkey, but also make the old monkey treat Naruto better. After all, if the fourth generation can be revived, even if Sunade comes back, he will not be able to take away his Hokage position. He died to protect Konoha, and most of the beneficiaries are still alive, so let him be invincible, not to mention that now that the villagers know Naruto's identity, they will feel guilty and compensated. And Namikaze Minato also has auras such as civilian origin, great military exploits, Hokage, justifiable name, etc., a batch of cattle. Wait. I have an idea about Kushina, and Namikaze Minato is a rival in love. Why do you say good things to him? Even if it is to write a diary, this is not advisable. In the future, I must firmly be a fourth Hokage black. Puff. Seeing this honest speech that could no longer be honest, many women holding diaries laughed out loud. For female ninjas who live in intrigue and killing all day long, this strange sense of security makes them addicted. That is to say, Kushina and Azuki Shion were by Xiao Yuchen's side, so they worked hard for fear that he would see something tricky. But soon, the expressions of the girls became weird. They don't know what Wei Wu's legacy is, but it doesn't sound like a good thing. But they knew that the person Xiao Yuchen confessed to this time was not a lowly reserve, not a mature big sister, but a married wife. This guy said he was fraternal, but to such an extent. Ino, what's your expression? In the Yamanaka mansion, Mrs. Yamanaka, who had just returned home from the front of the Hokage building, was thinking about the progress of her daughter's teacher-student relationship, with 8 trigrams, when she saw a strange expression on her face. Well, Mom. Ino straightened his words and asked, you think if a man likes someone else's wife, right? Just liking. Of course there is nothing wrong with it. Mrs. Yamanaka said without even thinking about it. When you are in heat, it ends with courtesy. Liking is a kind of mood, which cannot be controlled by oneself. But behavior is under your control. Oh. Ino nodded thoughtfully. Then what if you want to chase someone? That also scores the situation. It depends on the situation? That's right. You have to see if the wife's life is happy. The happiness of life is a bad family, not a good person. You will kill the other one you see. But if you are not happy in your life, then you want to save others. It depends on the method you pursue. Of course, if someone is a child, you have to distinguish the situation, which is a complicated subject. Oh. Yamanaka Ino nodded, and finally thought about it and asked. Then the family has a child, but the husband is dead? Then there is no need to ask. Mrs. Yamanaka immediately showed admiration. This shows that she is true love. Ino, a wife is sometimes not an identity, but an attribute. Ino, attributes? water, fire, earth, wind and thunder. Meanwhile, in Hokage's office, Kushina felt that her CPU was blown out, and she was in a strange mood, and she couldn't explain it herself. But soon she came back to her senses and hid this emotion deeply. Just because of a sentence Xiao Yuchen wrote in his diary. But then again, how did Kushina come back to life? There are so many resurrection methods in the ninja world. Why do you feel that none of them are right? A. It turns out that resurrection is not only possible with diaries, but also in the ninja world itself. There are many ways to resurrect people in the ninja world. All the women holding diaries, as long as there is no one around them, can't help but become short of breath. Death is the end of life that a person can see. It's nothing if you don't think about it, but if you think about it, you will be afraid. If there is an accident, the death will only be faster. From ancient times to the present, countless people seek longevity because they are afraid of death. And now, will the method of resurrection from the dead be revealed in front of their eyes? As far as I know, there are 9 resurrection methods. 9 kinds, there are actually 9 kinds, and Xiao Yuchen deliberately mentioned as far as he knows. Does it mean that there are other methods that he doesn't even know about? Definitely is. There can be 9 types, and naturally there can be more. All the women are engrossed, always paying attention to the next content. Kushina is still, hesitating. Azuki Shien's face is blocked by a mask. Sunade and Shizune stood in the tree, waiting quietly, their chests heaving. Konan also stopped to continue discussing with Uzumaki Nagato. All the women stopped their movements. Among them, there are 3 resurrection methods in the non-real sense. What does unreal mean? The first type, impure world reincarnation. Impure world reincarnation. Sunade murmured softly, nodded and said, impure world reincarnation is the forbidden technique developed by second grandpa to cooperate with the tandem paper bombs technique. It was originally used as a puppet technique to reduce war casualties. Using impure world reincarnation requires the use of part of the deceased's body as a medium, and the living person is a sacrifice to perform the summoning technique, summoning the soul of the deceased from the pure land to the real world and attaching it to the sacrifice to reshape the body. The resurrected person will be controlled by the summoner. The body is immortal, the chakra is infinite, and it can only be broken by disarming ninjutsu or using sealing techniques. For the forbidden technique invented by Senju Tobarama, Sunade is naturally very familiar with it, and tried to learn it, but he still can't get into it. It seems that a certain kind of talent is required. Impure world reincarnation is indeed not a resurrection in the true sense, because the physical body does not belong to oneself, and the behavior of a living person who has no consciousness and needs to eat, drink, and scatter is more like an intelligent thread-stretching puppet technique. If you just want to meet an old friend, this ninjutsu is good, but it is far from a real resurrection. The second type, Izanagi. Hey, why don't you explain impure world reincarnation first? For example, who created it, how to master it, what is the effect and so on. Perhaps we have to wait until all the resurrection methods are revealed before explaining in detail? The girls were slightly surprised, feeling that this was very strange to Xiao Yuchen. But for Izanagi, they felt that it was unexpected, but it was reasonable. Xiao Yuchen has already explained in detail what happened to Izanagi. Danzo survived after being beheaded by Kushina, isn't it resurrection? It's just that there must be a Sharingan to use this trick, and it must be activated before death. It can be said that the falsification of the foreseeable death cannot bring the real dead back to life. It is indeed a resurrection in the unreal sense. The third type, 6 paths level yin-yang escape technique. The 6 paths level yin-yang escape technique is also the method Xiao Yuchen mentioned, and it seems that only the Otsutsuki family can do it. Uchiha Obito, who will become sage of 6 paths in the future, and Naruto Sasuke should be fine too. Yin-yang escape technique. Inside the moon, Insatsuki Kagaya looked very calm. Resurrection is not a big deal for her. Not only because she mastered many methods of resurrecting people, but also because she would not die as long as she was not killed. However, it would be correct to say that the 6 paths yin-yang escape technique is not a means of resurrection in the true sense. The resurrection referred to here is not the resurrection of the dead, but the resurrection of the might guy. Injecting 6 paths level yang power can repair the body, and wood path level yin power can act on the soul. It can also be regarded as resurrection. There are 6 methods of resurrection in the true sense, 4 of which can resurrect others, and 2 of which can only resurrect oneself. Let's talk about the technique that can resurrect others. The first type is reincarnation. Reincarnation? The land of the winds Sanagakure. Tamari, who had just received the order to leave the village from her father, frowned slightly. She seems to have heard this name somewhere. It should be a ninjutsu belonging to Sanagakure. I guess it's forbidden technique. I'm not qualified to read it yet. And it must not be a random resurrection, otherwise Lord Yi Kang and Mother would have been resurrected long ago. Tamari thought secretly. Type 2. Dragon Fate Reincarnation, Dragon Reincarnation? In the Grass Ninja Village, the eyes of the Whirlpool Xianglin who blindfolded himself under the quilt lit up. She had heard this name from several ninjas in Kusanagi village. It is the limit of the blood successor of the Grass Ninja Grass Flower sect. It does not increase the owner of the blood successor itself, but the caster can share that life with others through intimate contact, so that others can continue to live, but they will die. The reason why I told her was that I was envious of their Uzumaki clan having a special constitution to find psychological balance. But this blood inheritance boundary has long since disappeared in the history of Kusanagi. The third type. Rinne Tensai, the highest resurrection type ninjutsu so far. After resurrection, it is as flesh and blood and conscious as before. It can be used in conjunction with impure world reincarnation. It has the ability to summon Hades from the underworld to the underworld, and resurrect people on a large scale. It is the caster himself. Hiss. At this moment, the eyes of all the women who wanted to be resurrected were blazing. Being dubbed the highest ninjutsu by Xiao Yuchen is still a way to resurrect people in a real sense, who doesn't want it? The point is that people can be resurrected on a large scale. This means that instead of fighting, everyone can cooperate sincerely and join forces to realize this technique. Find a way to find other people who have a copy of the journal and become friends and collaborate if possible. Sunade, Tamari, Hinata and others thought in their hearts. The only one who doesn't think so is Konan. He sure knows the power of the Rinnegan. Rinne Tensai Jutsu is exactly the kind of ninjutsu that Rinnegan can perform, and Nagato didn't hide it from him. If it wasn't for his own life at the cost of performing the spell, Nagato would have revived Yahiko long ago. He didn't mention Rinnegan, otherwise, Konan didn't dare to think about it. Nagato claims to be a god, but he is not a real god, otherwise he would have gone out and pushed the world. If many people know the Rinnegan and Rinne Tensai techniques, it is very likely that they will cooperate against Nagato. At that time, the Xiao organization will not be able to support the team. Not to be taken lightly, Konan focused more and more. She was afraid that Xiao Yuchen would expose Rinnegan in the next second. The fourth type. Immortal Talisman, which is an item, has the power to absorb natural energy, and can resurrect the dead who have not yet decayed. Another noun I've never heard of. But from the analysis of the name, could it be a symbol invented by Sage of Six Paths? Compared with the Rinne Tensai technique, the advantage is that the caster does not need to die, but the disadvantage is that a special card can only be used by one person. Yuya, Hamura. In the space of the first ball, waves appeared in Kaguya's eyes slightly. She has seen this immortal talisman before. He used his white eyes to control Hamura and Yuya to kill each other, and the latter finally killed the former and turned on Rinnegan. But immediately afterwards, Yuya revived Yu-kun with the immortal talisman. It's the method of those stinky toads on Mount Myoboku. Besides, the ninjutsu that can only resurrect oneself, the first type, Curse Seal Resurrection. Cursed Resurrection? For most women, this is a term they have never heard of. But for Mitarashi Anko and Sunade, it's like thunder. Because the seal is the power that Orochimaru is researching for immortality. From the looks of it, he actually succeeded. Unfortunately, this technique can only be used by me. In fact, this technique was performed by Orochimaru in conjunction with living corpse reincarnation. Second type. Wedge. What is this? Otsutsuki Kagaya had a cold look in his eyes. One style. If you had followed the rules back then and asked the concubine to find a suitable body before offering sacrifices, why would the concubine take the risk and plot against you? Now, the concubine is the winner. The names of the 9 resurrection methods, revealed. The hearts of the women became more and more turbulent, looking forward to the next article. Based on what they knew about Xiao Yuchen, he would use the diary as a memo and write out the information in detail. But after waiting for several minutes, the content continued to be updated. They finally realized that this time the inventory was over. This is gone? Sunade roared in the forest, startling a flying battalion. What is the specific application of each resurrection method? Where can I get each resurrection method? You have said the most important things. Isn't this tantalizing? You stinky man has learned how to keep things secret, and you have reservations about yourself. Phew. Konan was both happy and frustrated. Happy that Nagato escaped. Frustrated because she is interested in some of the spells and celestial charms, and wants to find and revive Yahiko. Yahiko and Nagato worked hard for their dreams, and she watched their backs from behind. Of course, there is also the need to find a suitable person and live an ordinary, warm and peaceful life together. Why is this idea similar to some guy who calls himself a salted fish? No matter what, after the matter here is settled, we must go to Konoha as soon as possible. Only by getting close to him and establishing a good relationship with him can we know more secrets. And there is more than one person who thinks similar to Konan. The girls once again accelerated the movement of removing Konoha. The girls in Konoha began to think about how to deepen their relationship with Xiao Yuchen. For example, a little rich woman in Cheongsam who just returned home from a mission. Teacher Yuchen also taught me theory classes. As a graduate, it shouldn't be a problem to occasionally go back to visit the school teacher and send a few hundred trait kanai as a gift, right? In Hokage's office, Kushina struggled to hold back and grabbed Chen's neck to question him. She is more eager to know the method than anyone else, because the person she wants to resurrect is herself. In addition, she is already very anxious, eager to get follow-up answers. This feeling of not being able to get up or down really made her very uncomfortable. This stinking man actually learned the technique of stopping at key points. Damn, hate, so hateful. Uzumaki Kushina, Shi Yan, is there any way for you to let Yuchen-kun continue? I suffer so much, can't we take the initiative? Yu Wei Xian, since when has she been a free answerer? Teammates are too pitiful, so hard to lead. Azuki Xian, Senior, before that, you should answer the question of third generation first, otherwise Mr. Yuchen will think you have a problem. It has not been a long time since Sarutobi Hiruzen asked the question. After all, Xiao Yuchen actually only wrote a little content in the diary, which can be read in one click. But Kushina never answered, which is a big problem. Uzumaki Kushina. Alright. Kushina decided to endure. But she was so angry that she secretly glanced at Xiao Yuchen. I don't know if it was a coincidence or an accident. Xiao Yuchen looked at her with a real smile on his face. The eyes of the two met. Xiao Yuchen pushed his glasses on the bridge of his nose and asked softly, Mrs. Kushina, what's the problem? Azuki Xian. I'm tired, destroy it. You don't understand this. Kushina looked at Xiao Yuchen seriously, and said solemnly, it means that you can't listen to what I'm going to talk to the old man of third generation next, and let you go out with a sense of humor. As he said that, Kushina waved his hands impatiently. But she breathed a sigh of relief. Uzumaki Kushina. Shi Yan. How are you doing? Am I doing well? Maoyue Xian. Give full play to the advantages of women, very powerful. Uzumaki Kushina. Advantages of women? Maoyue Xian, beat it up. Uzumaki Kushina. Not bad, right? The two completed the communication silently. Xiao Yuchen showed embarrassment on his face, and said with a little embarrassment, so that's what it means. It's because I missed the point. I'm sorry. Hey, you're still young, learn slowly. There seemed to be a fox's tail cocked behind Kushina. Who can make this stinky transmigrator admit her mistake in the whole ninja world? You have to be proud, don't you? Xiao Yuchen nodded seriously. Indeed, I'm not very experienced, and I still need Sister Kushina to teach me more. It's a small matter, I'll teach you when I have time. Kushina agreed without hesitation. Learn from me, you will definitely improve a lot. I believe that the women of the Uzumaki clan are not simple. Xiao Yuchen nodded firmly. A surname like Uzumaki indicates that the women of this family will not be simple. Just the physical strength that is different from ordinary people, and the amazing resilience are amazing. If there is a special ability to restore physical strength with a bite or adamantine sealing chains. Don't be too strong. Certainly a very unique experience to impart. Good brother, you have vision. Kushina grinned. Azuki Xian. I don't know if it's her illusion, but I always feel that there is something in the dusty words. It sounds like nothing at first glance, but when you think about it carefully, you feel that there is something wrong. But seeing Kushina's complacent appearance, she felt that she should be thinking too much. Master Third Hokage, Sister Kushina, I will take my leave for the time being. Xiao Yuchen lowered his head slightly, and left the office under the gaze of several people. When the door was closed, Kushina slapped Sarutobi Hiruzen's table and said flatly, Old man, I'm not afraid to tell you that I'm looking for something related to the resurrection of Minato in Shinigami's stomach. I won't tell you any more information, and I don't need your help. As for Jiraiya, you better keep that pervert away from me. Hearing this, Sarutobi Hiruzen was not surprised. In his opinion, Kushina would let go of Naruto who had just reunited and leave, only because of Namikaze Minato. While Kushina can be resurrected, Namikaze Minato should also be able to, but there are some restrictions. Now, he is just confirming his guess. Everything is up to you. Sarutobi Hiruzen smiled. Afterwards, he took out a passbook from nowhere, handed it to Kushina and said, The inheritance of you and Minato back then. The house was destroyed in the Nine Tails Rebellion, and I have asked someone to help rebuild it afterwards. Wait for someone to take you there. The money is all in this account created in the name of Naruto, which can be withdrawn from any bank in the Land of Fire. I originally planned to hand it over to him when he becomes an adult. As for ninjutsu, since you were resurrected, you definitely want to teach it yourself, old man. I won't do anything unnecessary. Of course, as compensation, Naruto can choose 3 forbidden techniques from the Book of Seals to learn. What do you think? As for the legacy of the 4th generation, Sarutobi Hiruzen really didn't think about swallowing it. Not to mention Jiraiya, Hitaki Kakashi, Namikaze Minato and some friends watching. He has the Sarutobi family as sponsors behind him, and he is Hokage. How much does it cost? For Naruto, he just wanted to be White Moonlight, and he really didn't think about being harsh, but he didn't handle the details well. He has always prepared the passbook, just like preparing to take it out at critical times. HMPH, let's do it this way. Kushina didn't bother to talk to Sarutobi Hiruzen. As Xiao Yuchen said, he may not be pure black, but some stains cannot be washed away. This account will be settled slowly after she is truly resurrected. Call the guide. I'll take Naruto to check the door first. I may be leaving soon, going back to the country of the vortex. Kushina urged impatiently. In this regard, Sarutobi Hiruzen is not only not angry, but also very happy. Kushina's current performance is in line with the image in his heart. Spicy, frizzy, impatient, carefree and unyielding character. Kakashi. Sarutobi Hiruzen called out from his pipe. Whoosh. A white-haired figure appeared in the office. Boom. The moment he appeared, the man was punched in the abdomen by Kushina. Severe pain came, but he didn't dare to make a sound, but endured it silently. Kakashi, how did I treat you before? Kushina asked angrily. Kakashi remained silent, with guilt in his eyes. To tell you the truth, after he became Namikaze Minato's disciple, Kushina treated him and Obito very well. She was her confidant sister and mother at the same time. For Naruto's case, he's pretty much nothing. Seeing Kakashi's appearance, Kushina didn't want to say anything more to him. In fact, that 4th Hokage named Namikaze Minato, who is Naruto's father, has that kind of attitude. Isn't it normal to have such an apprentice? Everything is afraid of comparison. Compared with these people, Xiao Yuchen, who has nothing to do with Naruto but treats him very well and is still angry for him, is so much better. Naruto, let's go. He didn't say hello to Sarutobi Hiruzen either, so he called Naruto and left. When she came to the door and saw Xiao Yuchen standing at the door, she immediately showed a smile. Mr. Yuchen, come with me, you and Naruto will change places to live in the future. The implication is that Sarutobi Hiruzen has someone rebuild the mansion for 4th Hokage, and she intends to let Xiao Yuchen live with Naruto. Hitaki Kakashi couldn't help looking at Xiao Yuchen, with special scrutiny in his eyes. Sister Kushina, who is this? Xiao Yuchen pointed to Hitaki Kakashi and asked knowingly. Kakashi is famous, but not many people have met and known him. Hitaki Kakashi, an unworthy disciple. Kushina's tone was full of anger and disappointment. Kakashi immediately lowered his head and stopped looking at Xiao Yuchen. He felt shameless and unworthy. It turned out to be Kakashi from Sharingan, a famous copy ninja in the ninja world. Xiao Yuchen suddenly said. It's a great reputation. Kushina suddenly turned into a hermaphrodite. There is Kakashi, and there is Uchiha Obito associated with Sharingan. Lead the way quickly, Kushina urged. Yes. Hitaki Kakashi complied immediately. Seeing this scene, Xiao Yuchen couldn't help shaking his head in his heart. Kushina looks annoyed with Kakashi. I think it's normal for her to be angry. After all, Kakashi, as a disciple of Namikaze Minato, has been taken care of by Kushina in all aspects, but after she died, Kakashi couldn't even take care of Naruto, making the latter stupidly eat expired food. It's not strange if you don't get angry. Xiao Yuchen was recording in his diary while walking. Kushina nodded inwardly. Yes, she should be angry. However, from Kushina's point of view, it's true to be angry, but from Kakashi's point of view, it's understandable. Excusable? What is there to be excused for? Kushina felt that this matter should not be washed. Kakashi is the son of Mu Baya. He graduated from the ninja school at the age of 5, became a chunin at the age of 6, and became a jonin at the age of 12. He is a well-deserved young genius. Puff. Yamanaka Mansion, Ino spouted a mouthful of water, his eyes full of disbelief. What's wrong with you? Asked Mrs. Yamanaka, who happened to be passing by. Mom, do you know Hitaki Kakashi? Ino asked. I must know. Mrs. Yamanaka nodded. That is the Prince Charming of many women. You also know just now that Uzumaki Naruto is the son of the 4th Hokage, Kakashi is the disciple of the 4th Hokage, and Mu Baya Yayuji. Mu Baya, you can find his deeds in the library. But what makes Kakashi great is not his background, but his own talent. Speaking, Mrs. Yamanaka told Kakashi's resume. Exactly what Xiao Yuchen said. This can shock too many people. A young genius is naturally very proud, even conceited, until Mu Yi Baya commits suicide. Next, Xiao Yuchen wrote about Kakashi's life of constant blackening. His father, Mu Yi Baya, committed suicide and became black for the first time. Awakened by Obito, it didn't take long for Obito to die in the ninja war, and not long after he personally killed Nohara Lin, he became more and more black. When Namikaze Minato and Kushina died in the Nine Tails Rebellion, it was blackening within blackening. If not, he would not listen to Shimura Danzo's incitement to assassinate Sarutobi Hiruzen. It's just that the old monkey's speech skills and brainwashing skills are good, and Kakashi turned against him. But after this, whether it is out of selfishness or trust issues, the old monkey will not allow Kakashi to get close to Jinchuriki, even if Jinchuriki is the son of the fourth generation. And in the face of Sarutobi Hiruzen's request, can Kakashi resist? Did rebellion bring anything to Naruto besides death? Blame the old monkey. Kushina. Looking at the contents of Xiao Yuchen's Japanese book, well, Kakashi is indeed pitiful. Kakashi. At this time, I just walked to the front of the Hokage building. Kushina turned around slowly, and pondered. The old man third generation told me that you will be Naruto's team leader from now on. Teach Naruto well and keep him safe, you know? Hatake Kakashi's body trembled, his Adam's apple moved, and then he said in a hoarse voice. Don't worry big sister, I will definitely teach Naruto well and protect him with my life when performing tasks. Kushina was in a trance with this big sister head. This child still remembers his forced request. Well, forgive him. At this time, she found that Xiao Yuchen updated the diary again. Speaking of Kakashi leading Naruto, Sasuke, Haruno Sakura. Obviously because Kakashi has a Sharingan who can suppress 9 tails and give Sasuke advice. Of course, his relationship with Namikaze Minato and Uchiha Obito is also one point. But this guy is a bit biased in the back. He brings Sasuke special training and teaches the self-made Chidori, but let an unreliable snobby special Jonin teach Naruto. Uzumaki Kushina. Pardon the fart, pardon me. Boom. Kakashi was punched by Kushina in the stomach, his body flew upside down, and his eyes were bewildered. He was completely defenseless, and he didn't even have time to use the body replacement technique. Why did Kushina set him up? However, I think this has something to do with Naruto being a wind attribute chakra. As for Rasengan, Naruto is rather stupid, he may not have thought about how to teach, it has to be Jiraiya. Later, he actually asked Asuma to teach Naruto chakra nature transformation and shadow clone practice. When Kushina wanted to continue shooting, he saw Xiao Yuchen update the diary again. She froze for a moment. Can you write your diary without panting, and write in a daily tone? Kushina looked at Xiao Yuchen suddenly. Sister Kushina, what's the matter? Xiao Yuchen looked very afraid of being angered. Nothing. Kushina showed a kind smile and put the passbook in Xiao Chen's hand. People are afraid of comparison. Kakashi is nowhere near you. This will be yours to keep in the future. Xiao Yuchen opened the passbook and took a look. But seeing that long string of zeros, his heart skipped a beat. Several Asuma, Kushina want me to eat soft rice. Female. Small? If you want to eat my Kushina's soft rice, you are still far away, come on nigh. Resisting the urge to argue with Xiao Yuchen, Kushina said, you are Naruto's guardian, and you will keep the money. I'm afraid he will spend it indiscriminately. When I come back from the country of Vortex, you will pay me back. Okay, Miss Kushina. Xiao Yuchen put away the passbook. Just kidding, can't it go out if it's in his pocket? Kakashi, don't play dead, keep leading me. Kushina yelled at Kakashi. Although he knew it, he seemed to have misunderstood this white-haired boy again. But so what? You can't go wrong with big sister headers. Yes, Kushina big sister head. Kakashi ran over desperately and continued to lead the way, with pain in his heart. This is a typical example of having a new brother and not having an old brother. He is beaten, but Xiao Chen can manage the money. Several Asumas, what do you mean by this, a new code name? The girls holding the diary subconsciously frowned and thought. They couldn't connect several Asumas with eating soft rice for a while. The youngest son of the old monkey, with several words, doesn't it look very eye-catching, doesn't it? Could it be some kind of special unit of measurement? All the girls are no longer the former, amming under Wu, and they soon remembered Xiao Yuchen's behavior of using Kakashi as the chakra unit, so they had associations with this Asuma. Speaking of soft food, it must be Kushina throwing money or resources at the Xiao Yuchen. So Asuma, will it be a monetary unit? Asuma. On the road leading to a prosperous residential area in Konoha, Yuhi suddenly stopped and looked not far behind, and asked, "Do you know what kind of money is linked to it?" Beside Kurenai Yuhi, Mitarashi Anko also pricked up his ears with great interest. After what happened in front of the Hokage building ended, Sarutobi Asuma approached Yuhi and said that he would send her home. Really don't want to be alone with this second prince, and don't want to be misunderstood by others. Yuhi found Anko through the diary, and said in a good line that they will live together tonight. But Sarutobi Asuma was actually still following behind, as if he wanted to be a bodyguard to escort him back. Isn't this typical of not touching others, but touching yourself? If there is danger inside Konoha, how bad is the law and order? Third Hokage Old Monkey should wipe his neck as soon as possible. And now, Kurenai Yuhi finally finds some value in having Asuma by her side. What? In order to maintain the image, Asuma, who was trying to restrain Yanin, showed a puzzled expression. I said, "Do you know where you are tied to money?" Kurenai Yuhi said seriously. "It is the kind that is more obvious and can even be widely circulated in the ninja world." Sarutobi Asuma. He doesn't know. Wait, it's not that I don't really know. Do black market bounties count? Asuma asked. Some time ago, when he quit the Guardian Ninja and returned to Konoha, his good friend Lu rarely joked with him in order to cover up the hurt of parting, saying that he was 5 million taels more expensive than him. At that time, Asuma was still wondering how the expensive part was defined, so Monk Delu took out 2 black market reward lists. It clearly stated the basic identities of the 2, some achievements, and portraits. In the end, the amount of the reward was marked, which was a full 2,500,000 taels. And his Asuma is a little more expensive than Delu, 30 million taels. The black market offers a bounty, 30 million taels? Yuhi and Anko looked at each other tacitly, and both felt that this should be the answer. So the measurement unit of Asuma refers to the head value of 30 million taels? No, not sure. It is not stupid for Konoha to offer a bounty amount in the black market. Hitaki Kakashi and even Sarutobi Hiruzen have it, and the price is even higher. With Xiao Yuchen's character, he can specifically remember Asuma's head value. It is estimated that something happened in Hokage anime that specifically involves this matter. It is very possible that Sarutobi Asuma died in a bounty of a special nature. And according to Xiao Yuchen, Asuma also has to teach Naruto the wind attribute chakra nature transformation, and must die in the future. This bounty may increase by 1 liter, but that's what it means anyway. Several Asumas, that must be hundreds of millions of silver. No wonder Mr. Yuchen thinks that Kushina wants him to eat soft food. Giving hundreds of millions of silver at will makes everyone faint, right? Yuhi and Anko, who got the answer, were in a good mood. The girlfriends turned around and walked into the 2-story building next to them hand in hand. Asuma, it's getting late, so I won't invite you in for a drink of water. Yuhi Hongtu took Anko into the house without looking back, leaving Asuma alone in place. So why did he suddenly ask him the bounty offered in the black market? Could it be that Hong thinks that the higher the reward in the black market, the more attractive he is? Asuma lit a cigarette in her mouth, thinking secretly. The more he thought about it, the more likely it was. He remembered that Kakashi's bounty was very high, and it was estimated that there could be 2 of him. Maybe Hong is using the reward amount as a way to define the strength or value of a ninja? Indeed, as long as you offer a bounty, you can not only prove your strength, but also spread your prestige in the ninja world. Except for the special missions of daiming, the bounties offered by ninjas are often linked to their strength. In this way, it is not difficult for Yuan to catch up with Hong. Red, I understand your hint. Don't worry, I won't let you down, and I will increase my bounty on the black market as soon as possible. I just wasn't serious before. After speaking, Sarutobi Asuma turned and left, full of energy and menacing. In Yuhitaka's living room, Hong, who was pouring juice for Anko, was startled by Asuma's yell. What is this guy talking about? Hong handed the juice to Anko, took out a handkerchief and wiped it. Who knows? Anko said casually, Sarutobi's family is all monkey brains, so don't bother. Don't worry, I will definitely keep him at a respectful distance. Shi Hong nodded seriously. At the same time, Terumi Mei and others also knew the amount of Asuma's reward through their own means, and couldn't help laughing. Before there is the chakra unit of measurement Kakashi, after that there is the money unit of measurement Sarutobi Asuma. What kind of talents are Konoha? Baihu, you don't want me to take action on this Asuma, do you? Kakuzu of Rain Shinobi Village, who had just handed over a sum of income to Konan, subconsciously frowned. The bounty offered by Asuma is not low, there is also 30 million taels, which is enough to let him make a move. But this Asuma is the son of 3rd Hokage, and the old monkey is still alive, so the risk of taking action is very high. Maybe someone will launch the entire Konoha Qing dynasty to suppress him. In a word, the cost performance is not good, and Kakuzu doesn't want to do this business. No, just concerned about the recent market conditions in the black market. Konan lied expressionlessly. Kakuzu nodded in a muffled voice, and then hesitantly said, "The money that our organization put in your place, can you show me?" "Kakuzu, Pain has a task for you." Before Kakuzu could finish speaking, Konan spoke first. "What task?" Kakuzu held back the words in his stomach. The leader is really unlikable, and the sense of oppression is comparable to that of the ninja god who warned him back then. "Look for yourself, it's easy to destroy." Konan conjured a piece of paper out of thin air and controlled it to fly in front of Kakuzu. Understood. The money. After Kakuzu finished the task, he was ready to care about money again. But when she looked up, she saw that Konan had already left. Forget it. Men make money and women manage money, so the money will increase. Ask again next time. With a word of comfort to himself, Kakuzu turned and disappeared into the shadows. There is a big thing to do next. After he left, Konan's figure reappeared with a relieved expression. She had already spent all that money to buy special chakra paper, and then used her own secret technique to turn it into a special detonating talisman, turning it into a whole card. But you can't tell Kakuzu about this. Well, I have to figure out a way to get some money and trick Kakuzu. WCNMD, XXX, in the Hokage building, Azuki Shion, who was hiding in the dark, almost rushed out and asked Kushina what kind of playing he was doing again. She found that her emotions have never been more out of control than today. This Kushina is probably not a pig teammate, but Xiao Yuchen's undercover agent. Even if you want to deepen the relationship, or more will be written in the diary. Can't it be done step by step? Lord Hokage. Azuki Shion appeared at the desk. Hazy Moon, what's the matter? Standing in front of the window, Sarutobi Hiruzen, who was looking at the backs of Uzumaki Kushina and the four of them, turned his head and showed a natural smile. Obscure Moon is the code name of Azuki Shion. The subordinate wants to observe Yuchen secretly, Azuki Shion said bluntly. Oh? Sarutobi Hiruzen put down his pipe and asked curiously, what do you think? As the guardian of Jinchuriki, it is very likely that he will live with Mrs. Fourth Generation. The subordinates feel that it is necessary to conduct more detailed observation and evaluation. Azuki Shion said seriously, Jinchuriki is to Konoha, or every village's Jinchuriki is to Konoha. As far as the village is concerned, there is no room for loss. Hearing this, Sarutobi Hiruzen didn't answer immediately, but thought silently. After a while, he nodded and sighed. It seems that I have to give up. You were right to think about this, but I didn't think of it. Indeed, Jinchuriki must not make mistakes, otherwise it would be irresponsible to the village. Okay, I'll leave this to you. Sarutobi Hiruzen looked at Yugo Azuki with a burst of admiration. Nature does not appreciate her discoveries, but appreciates her loyalty to herself. See how successful he is with Sarutobi Hiruzen's will of fire. Master Hokage. This subordinate feels that he should not observe Yuchen as Anbu. Azuki Shion continued, in case Mrs. Fourth Generation finds out. Sarutobi Hiruzen frowned slightly. This is indeed a problem, perhaps irritating Uzumaki Kushino. He was actually quite at ease with Yuchen, and asked Azuki Shion to observe Yuchen, which was an indirect supervision of Jinchuriki. But Kushina's strength and Kagura's mind are a problem. You temporarily exit Anbu, restore your Jonin identity, and contact Yuchen normally. If you can try to become a couple with Yuchen, because God will help. When these two will of fire come together, don't you become more devoted to him? Maybe before going to bed, we have to worship his photo together. Of course, if you don't like it, you don't have to think about it. The old man doesn't. Uyue Shion didn't listen carefully to the following words, because she was a little confused. The reason why she stands up now is of course not because she really wants to monitor Xiao Yuchen for Sarutobi Hiruzen. She just understood Sarutobi Hiruzen's character, and knew that the old monkey would definitely arrange for someone to do this. That's why she took the initiative to stand up and take up this job. If necessary, she can help Xiao Yuchen cover, and she can also gain a sense of presence. Of course, I also want to look at Kushina, and don't let her be left alone. In the end, she was able to leave Anbu by herself, and Sarutobi Hiruzen didn't think much about it. Kill 4 birds with 1 stone. But who knows that Sarutobi Hiruzen actually asked her to chase Xiao Yuchen backwards. I sold myself. Although Yuchen has average ninja talent, he has outstanding looks and profound knowledge. If you are with him, you can take charge of the outside world, and he will come inside. He is a civilian orphan, and he can even join your Azuki family. I am very optimistic about him, and I intend to make him the Minister of Culture of Ninja School. When the time comes, your combination of civil and martial arts will be a good story in Konoha. When you get married, this old man can personally officiate for you. What do you think? Sarutobi Hiruzen kept saying good things for Xiao Yuchen, as if he was thinking about Azuki Shion. But Maoyue Shion felt very weird when she heard it, especially when she thought that Xiao Yuchen would swear, "old monkey," in her diary from time to time. She couldn't help but want to laugh. If the old monkey knew that his true face was exposed, and even Kushina's resurrection was all because of Xiao Yuchen, how would he thank him? The expression will definitely be wonderful. The subordinates must complete the task well. Azuki Shion didn't say whether it was good or not. It is impossible for her to follow Sarutobi Hiruzen's orders about finding a mate. But for Xiao Yuchen, she was different, so she didn't strictly refuse. But from what Sarutobi Hiruzen heard, she agreed, and she couldn't help feeling more complacent. Danzo, that's what I call success. After all, you can't compare with Russia. With a kind smile on his face, Sarutobi Hiruzen said, "Hand over the mask. From now on, Anbu will no longer have Obscure Moon, and you will resume the identity of Jonin Azuki Shion." Yes. Azuki Shion took off her mask and put it on the table, revealing her delicate face. With purple waist-length hair and a samurai sword on the back, it has an indescribable charm. Sarutobi Hiruzen has always been lustful. Seeing Azuki Shion at this time, he lost his mind for a moment, but he calmed down without a trace, and sighed in his heart, "It's cheap Yuchen." This is the benefit of following this Hokage for him, there is meat to eat. Others take a good look. Azuki Jonin, continue to contribute to Konoha in the future. Sarutobi Hiruzen said seriously. Yes, Lord Hokage. Azuki Shion placed one hand in front of her left chest. After leaving Anbu, the relationship with Hokage is no longer a direct affiliation, but a relationship between superior and subordinate colleagues, and they are both members of Konoha village. Scatter. Sarutobi Hiruzen signaled Azuki Yugo to leave, which he did immediately. When the office door was closed, Sarutobi Hiruzen narrowed his eyes. In 4 days, Naruto will graduate from ninja school, where Kakashi will teach him protection and surveillance. In life, Yuchen is responsible for guarding Naruto, and can also collect information about Kushina by the way. Azuki Shion is close to Yuchen, which can add a layer of insurance for guardianship and information collection. This level should be within the acceptable range of Uzumaki Kushina. There shouldn't be any flaws in the Jinchuriki matter. Next, it's time to think about receiving roots. Sarutobi Hiruzen's gaze became deeper and deeper. Danzo is also great at manipulating and brainwashing people. Kushina killed Danzo, and some root members will definitely seek her revenge. He didn't intend to save this group of people, so he just used Kushina's hands to clean them up, and by the way, test Kushina's reality again. The rest can take over. If 4th Hokage is really resurrected, he must hand over Anbu. The roots, just to be the eyes, ears and blades of his backstage mastery. After getting old, the leaves of the tree will fall and turn into nourishment for the big tree. This is also the will of fire. Danzo, you will never be better than me in your life. Meanwhile, southwest of the Hokage building, Kakashi walked with Xiao Yuchen, Kushina and Naruto for less than 3 minutes, and they came to a 3-story villa, covering an area of more than 200 square meters, with a garden with an overall area of no less than 100 square meters. This villa does not look luxurious, it can only be considered chic, but its real value lies in the location of Konoha village. If you look down from a high altitude, you can find that the residential area of Konoha village is a 2/5 fan shape, and they are all in the south area of a huge rock mountain. The center of the fan shape is the Hokage building, and the Hokage rock is directly above it. In front of the Hokage building is a huge open space, which connects 5 huge streets, dividing the village into 6 large areas, and the streets have arc-shaped roads at intervals, dividing the large area into small areas. Among them, the street in the south extends to the official road outside the gate of Konoha village. If someone enters Konoha through the gate, you can see Hokage rock in the Hokage building below at first sight. The closer the area to the Hokage building basically belongs to those ninjas, or the powerful Jonin, the higher the value of the house will be. This villa is properly located in a prime location, and even money cannot buy it. The place where Nine Tails appeared is not far from here. It wreaks havoc on Konoha, causing more damage to this area. The big sister, Yu and the teacher's house were also unfortunately recruited, but the Lord 3rd generation later ordered people to rebuild and seal it in the original location, and sent people to clean and maintain it regularly, planning to hand it over to Naruto when he becomes an adult. Kakashi found the key from under a flower pot next to him to open the door of the house, and then gave it to Kushina. It's so big, will this be my home from now on? Naruto excitedly ran into the house to visit. Xiao Yuchen observed it with great interest, then walked to the window to look at the surrounding environment, and asked Kakashi, what kind of witches live around? Kakashi glanced at it, not intending to answer at first. But after seeing Kushina's eyes full of warning, he immediately said, to the west and northwest are the former residences of the Senju clan. Only a small part was destroyed in the night of the Nine Tails riot. Now there are very few people living there. Part of it has been rented out by Mr. Sunade, and a hot spring hall and hotel have been opened. To the southwest is the family residence of the Hyuga clan, and to the south and southeast were once the Uchiha clan, but after the Nine Tails rebellion, they were assigned to some commoner jonin. To the east is Jengnan Street, where there are developed commercial areas. The families of Ino Shikacho, Sarutobi, Shimura, etc., are all located in the southeast area of the Hokage building. Hearing this, Xiao Yuchen was stunned. No wonder Namikaze Minato's original house was destroyed. The Uchiha Obito summoning Nine Tails, whether out of knowledge or framed, must have been intentionally placed near the Uchiha land. At the beginning, Nine Tails only relied on its huge size to destroy. After Sarutobi Hiruzen led people to rush it to the outside of the village with a golden cudgel, it condensed-tailed beast bomb and was about to bombard Hokage Rock, but was stopped by Namikaze Minato. This is also for you, you can live here from now on. Kushina didn't care who the neighbors were, and handed the key to Xiao Yuchen. Watching this scene, Kakashi's eyebrows twitched again. For some reason, he always thought of bad pictures. He felt that his teacher, Namikaze Minato, seemed to have a certain color on his head. No, Kushina Big Sister Head is not this kind of person. It should be that I've watched too much Intimacy in Heaven recently, and I'm going to think about it. Kakashi advised himself not to think too much. But at this time, Kushina's impatient voice came from the side. Kakashi, the house has been found, you can go. Kakashi. Sure enough, I didn't think much of it. Taking a deep look at Xiao Yuchen, Kakashi left the house after saying goodbye to Kushina. At this time, Xiao Yuchen held the key, and the feeling of being fed soft food emerged again. Sister, I don't want to work hard anymore. You didn't know the fragrance of a rich woman when you were young, and mistakenly regarded lowly as a treasure. Thinking about it carefully, eating soft food in the ninja world is actually a very promising thing. What did Kushina do to make this guy have such outrageous thoughts? Although most ninjas are monogamous, this is due to their professional nature. But in this world, the essence is still respected by men, and there is still a privileged aristocratic class. If a man is married, he will be looked down upon. There are many rich women in the ninja world, such as Sanagakure Tamari. Although Sanagakure is famously poor, but his father can't help but dig sand for gold. She is still Hazy Yuji herself. This kind of soft rice must taste delicious. Bah. A blush appeared on Temari's face. She didn't expect that she would appear in the diary in this way. If you want to talk about a rich woman, there must be a place for my sister Nan. After all, she was a woman who had 600 billion detonating charms in her peak period. Even if I spend all my money, there is still Kakuzu? Hiss. All the girls gasped in unison. 600 billion detonating symbols, is this serious? Save so many detonating symbols, are you planning to blow up the 5 hidden villages? Moreover, Xiao Yuchen actually said that after the money worth 600 billion detonating charms is used up, he can still get money. The one called Kakuzu, is it a money printing machine? A blush appeared on Konan's cold face. In her opinion, what Xiao Yuchen said was not a joke, but teasing her. Uncle Kakuzu has indeed paid a lot for the Akatsuki organization. I have to mention every day that I wear a cheongsam that I like to see most. The key point is that my family runs Konoha's #1 ninja store, and it is also a chain of fire country. The only daughter of a weapons tycoon, no explanation. The only daughter of a weapons tycoon. Konan's eyes lit up. She likes this kind of rich friends. When the time comes, Zhonghu will help you with a little money to cheat Master Kakuzu's head office, right? Well, there are more reasons to go to Konoha. This Yuchen teacher actually said that about me. Looking at the cheongsam that he was half holding up in the mirror, Tianxian showed a bright smile. That only gave a few hundred special kanai, but it's a bit hard to get out. You can't embarrass a rich woman, can you? Sunade. Forget it, although she is Konoha's #1 renter, she should be very rich, but this prodigal girl may only treat me to her own bear. Sunade. Shizune, is this brat despising me? Sunade trembled angrily. Shizune. Faithful words are harsh, what people say is actually the truth. There are too many rich women, and it is not easy to choose the time of day. So I decided to take them all, female. As expected of you. Bah, scumbag, Kushina spat in her heart. But on the surface, she showed a smile and waved to Xiao Yuchen. Mr. Yuchen, I have something to tell you, please come here. Miss Kushina, what? Xiao Yuchen walked up to Kushina. A heart-wrenching affair. Xiao Yuchen. The resurrection of Kushina is an oddity. Could it have something to do with Black Zetsu? The world is really wrong. Xiao Yuchen had vigilance in his eyes, but he saw Kushina showing a shy and hesitant expression. The bloody pepper showed this expression, and the hitting force was not so great. Rao was Xiao Yuchen, who also lost his mind for a moment. Just at this moment, Kushina suddenly threw a fist. Swish. At the critical moment, Xiao Yuchen used White Fang's peak-level body flicker technique to evade the attack and dodge outside the door. Boom. Xiao Yuchen was about to ask why, but Kushina slammed the door shut with a loud noise. Say something out of your heart and end up trying to beat him up and trick him out of the house? It's boring enough. Miss Kushina, what do you mean? Xiao Yuchen flicked the key and walked into the house. I'm just telling you that you can't hide your thoughts from me. Don't waste your time on me, it won't work. Kushina crossed her arms and spoke out. This is her character, she is straightforward and generous. My thoughts? Xiao Yuchen asked with a puzzled expression, what can I think about you? HMPH, don't argue with me. Kushina put a finger in front of her mouth and said seriously, I have Kagura, and I can know other people's emotions towards me by sensing chakra. You guy, you have good intentions for Naruto, but you have bad intentions for me, but you are not malicious, do you think I can't figure out your thoughts? Well, she actually couldn't figure it out, everything was seen from the diary. As a woman, she is very happy that she has that charm that Xiao Yuchen likes. Regardless of whether he likes virtual characters or has special plots, he likes them anyway. But it was precisely because of this that she wanted to say everything up front. Of course she wants to have a good relationship with Xiao Yuchen, and she can also be written in the diary and get more rewards. But if achieving this goal requires violating her own mood and losing herself, she can't do it. To put it bluntly, she is actually hypocritical. She was disappointed with Namikaze Minato, but she didn't think Xiao Yuchen could catch her. So she couldn't use it to face it calmly when she knew that Xiao Yuchen was interested in her, and she just needed to get benefits from Xiao Yuchen. The feeling of taking advantage of others made her feel uncomfortable just thinking about it. Xiao Yuchen believed it, and said, fog grass, in his heart. Kagura is even more cheating than he thought, and Kushina is smarter than he knows. Through the comparison, he actually noticed his thoughts. Moreover, Kushina also chose to point out that this is a taboo in getting along with men and women. As long as he shows any point of insistence, it is dog-licking behavior. This is really embarrassing him, he can't do this. But it would be embarrassing to just give up like this. But as Poseidon, who has been in the entertainment industry, he knows how to solve this situation. There is only one best way, and it is also the way that most tests the hunter's patience and ability. Forcing her to chase after him. Interesting. Xiao Yuchen smiled inwardly. Bloody pepper, it's really hot enough. I like. If you say that you just want to carry forward the legacy of Wei Wu in Otherworld, you still have a bad intention of collecting stamps. Now, he is very interested in the woman herself. Kagura mind eyes, it's really a powerful ability. Xiao Yuchen briefly showed a shocked expression, then nodded and said, since Mrs. Kushina said so, in the future, I will definitely control the distance, please rest assured. The salutation becomes formal and polite, and also defines the relationship. That's good, if you don't want to be Naruto's guardian, you can bring it up now, and I'll take care of it with the old man from third generation. Kushina's heart suddenly lightened. Losing the opportunity to easily get diary rewards from Xiao Yuchen's side, she was naturally distressed. But let her use Xiao Yuchen, she really can't do it, otherwise what is the difference between her and the old monkey who calculated Naruto? Mrs. Kushina, you seem to have made a mistake. Xiao Yuchen said with a gentle expression, I am Naruto's guardian, not because of you. Keeping a good distance from you doesn't mean keeping a distance from Naruto. Of course, when Mrs. Kushina returns from the country of Vortex, my status as guardian will not be important. Sorry, I was talking too much. Kushina immediately admitted his mistake. She also felt that it was unnecessary. Isn't this a typical guilty conscience? Brother Yuchen, Mom, what are you talking about? Just when the atmosphere was about to become awkward, Naruto appeared to save the situation in time. I'm about to leave. Xiao Yuchen smiled and said, Mrs. Kushina is about to send me off. Mrs. Kushina? Naruto's focus was obviously wrong. Brother Yuchen, didn't you call me sister mom? That's a joke. Xiao Yuchen reached out and touched Naruto's head, and said with a smile, the address must be formal. Otherwise the villagers will know that I will become your guardian and call you sister Kushina. Maybe there will be rumors. Naruto, it should be very clear how hurtful words are, right? Yeah. Naruto nodded immediately, accepting the matter. Listening to the conversation between the two, Kushina felt a strange feeling of depression. Then I will take my leave first. Xiao Yuchen put the door key into Naruto's hand and said with a smile, I'll come back tomorrow. Hey, Kongao, don't you live here? I saw several vacant rooms. Didn't I just teach you? When Mrs. Kushina leaves the village, I will come and stay with you. Don't worry. Okay, it's a deal. Naruto naively asked Xiao Yuchen to hook him up. Okay. Xiao Yuchen didn't refuse either. After pulling the hook, he formally bid farewell to Kushina, then turned and left. After he disappeared into the darkness, Kushina closed the door, ready to brainwash Naruto. We must hurry up and replace the set of ideas that Sarutobi Hiruzen instilled in Naruto. But before she started, she discovered that the copy of Xiao Yuchen's diary prompts to update. She instinctively felt that the content should be related to her, so she couldn't wait to open it. Eat soft rice plan, it died before it even started. The ability of Kagura's mind is somewhat beyond my expectation. Kushina can actually use this to detect my thoughts on him, and directly showdown with me and make me give up. Sure enough, to be a man is to rely on yourself. No, you don't have to, Yukumo's soft rice is also edible and delicious. Inside Satomi Hill's villa, Kurama Yukumo scolded Uzumaki Kushina in his heart for being ungrateful with red eyes. It is her honor to be liked by Yuchen's husband. If it were her, she would have already washed herself clean, and then lay down on the bed and waited. This is a God-given husband. That's really something Kushina can do. Pure Landworld, Mikoto's eyes flashed the color of reminiscence. For Kushina, it's okay to say that she's straightforward and unscheming, and it's okay to say that she's kind enough to be a little silly. Because of the experience of the country's destruction and family destruction, she has suffered a lot, and she has clear grievances in her work. For those who are not good to herself, she is an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. Even if the head is broken and bloody, she will not shrink back. But for those who are kind to her, she will repay the kindness of a drop of water. And now, Xiao Yuchen is definitely a benefactor to Kushina. Therefore, she absolutely can't do anything to take advantage of Xiao Yuchen. As for directly accepting Xiao Yuchen's free offer, that's even more impossible. I think, Kushina refused to be so straightforward, it must be because of Namikaze Minato. After all, she is not a person who sees differences and wants to change. You guessed it wrong. Kushina secretly smiled inwardly. Xiao Yuchen's evaluation of her, she is very useful. But if she did that, she simply couldn't pass the test in her heart. As for Namikaze Minato, this man disappointed her. Unfortunately, Namikaze Minato is not worthy. Yes. Kushina nodded inwardly. He can even bear the humiliation of his own children, so what's the big picture? Isn't that ridiculous? Who would have thought that everything between Kushina and Namikaze Minato is just a calculation? What? Seeing this sentence, Kushina stood up from the chair, her face turning blue, white, and red. As long as the person who said this is not Xiao Yuchen, she absolutely does not believe it, thinking that someone is framing it. She is not happy with Namikaze Minato's attitude towards Naruto, but she will not deny that a friend in adversity has seen the truth. Her appreciation of Namikaze Minato's strengths and her dislike of Namikaze Minato's shortcomings do not overlap. But now, is Xiao Yuchen going to tell him that all this is fake? Could it be that Namikaze Minato, like Sarutobi Hiruzen, also plots against himself? For a moment, Kushina felt like falling into an ice cellar, and her body was getting colder and colder. Mom. What's wrong with you? Naruto noticed that something was wrong with Kushina, and asked with concern. Mom. Mom didn't escape. Kushina suddenly couldn't look at Naruto squarely. If everything is calculation, what is Naruto? The product of calculation, the incarnation of complete tragedy? Mom is going to the bathroom, you wait for me here. Showing a far-fetched smile to Naruto, Kushina hurried into the next bathroom, as if fleeing. Shadow clone. Do you want to go to the bathroom too? Naruto scratched his head, feeling something was wrong. Because of being nicknamed Tomato and Bloody Pepper successively, Uzumaki Kushina hated her beautiful red hair when she was a child. When Namikaze Minato's speech sounded silly to her when she announced her dream at ninja school, she always looked down on it. Until later, Cloud Shinobi Village sent Sanman Jonin to take Kushina away. She left her red hair on the road and successfully let Namikaze Minato find and rescue her, and staged a heroic rescue. From then on, she changed her view of Namikaze Minato, and also liked her red hair. Xiao Yuchen made a brief progress summary first. If it was before, Kushina might still recall it. But now, she only feels fear of the conspiracy. At first glance, the whole thing seems to be fine, but I have doubts. The time when this happened was exactly 1 year after the end of the Second Ninja World War, and Konoha finally won the war. At that time, the first generation of Nine Tails Jinchuriki Uzumaki Mito was still there, the Uchiha clan was still there, the village had a powerful enchantment, although Sunade suffered from hemophobia, Sannin were all in Konoha, and Konoha by Hitaki was in his peak state. Shigeru is there, too, plus Sarutobi Hiruzen and Shimura Danzo et al. Then I can't help asking, what kind of courage is it that makes Cloud Shinobi dare to send humane Konoha to snatch away the spare Nine Tails Jinchuriki? I can't help but wonder how the 3 Jonin entered Konoha quietly. Kidnapped people? And no one found? I can't help but ask, Kushina doesn't have any Anbu protection around her, and she lives in the Senju clan's residence. Assuming that everything is a coincidence, then I can't help but wonder why these Cloud Shinobi did not carry her and escape as soon as possible after they successfully captured Kushina, but took a rope. Tie her hand and lead her away. Aren't you afraid of chasing soldiers? Afraid that she won't be rescued? And the 3 Jonin who came to Konoha to snatch people, couldn't find Kushina's little trick of leaving hair all the way? The most ridiculous thing is that there are so many strong people in Konoha, but it happened that Namikaze Minato, who just graduated from ninja school, found Kushina, and he has rich experience. Several veteran Jonin with battlefield experience couldn't beat him. By the way, is Minato such a reckless person? Think again that Namikaze Minato is a disciple of Jiraiya and a grandson of Sarutobi Hiruzen. Is all this really a coincidence? Haha, I believe it. Female. Uzumaki Kushina. Namikaze Minato likes Kushina, I really believe it. With red hair, passionate and unrestrained, who can love such a unique girl? But how many calculations and interests are mixed in this love, only he knows. The whole incident is obviously a careful design by Sarutobi Hiruzen against Jinchuriki, and only he can let Cloud Shinobi kidnap Ju without the strong people in the village finding out. Shinai. Let the hero Namikaze Minato save the beauty again. As for Namikaze Minato, do you know? Isn't the name of his genius known to all the ninja world? Boom. Kushina only felt that he was hit by a bolt from the blue. Her body trembled uncontrollably, tears welled up in her eyes, and her heart was full of sadness. Calculations, everything is calculations again. Calculate her heart, calculate her to become Jinchuriki, calculate her to serve Konoha and still under the control of Hokage. It turns out that Naruto is nothing but her continuation. Sarutobi Hiruzen, old monkey, you must die. As for Namikaze Minato. Bangai. Kushina split a shadow clone, let her deal with Naruto. And she herself returned to the sealed space and found Namikaze Minato again. Kushina. Namikaze Minato's eyes lit up, and he immediately wanted to say something. But Kushina didn't give him a chance to speak, and asked directly, Namikaze Minato, let me ask you a question. When I was kidnapped by Cloud Shinobi, you rescued me that time. Did you know it was Sarutobi Hiruzen's scheme? Namikaze Minato. Naruto's abdomen, within the 8-sign seal space. At the end of the sewer, Nine Tails was lying behind a large door. At this time, one eye was secretly opened a slit, and the ears were straightened up, obviously secretly paying attention to the conversation between Uzumaki Kushina and Namikaze Minato. Namikaze Minato is clearly the state of the soul entrusted to chakra, but at this moment a trace of cold sweat appeared on his forehead. It can be seen that the tension in his heart has gone straight to the soul. Kushina, you Namikaze Minato wanted to ask Kushina why he suddenly thought of this. But seeing the seriousness in her eyes, and the gradual coldness and alienation, she subconsciously closed her mouth. After a long silence, he smiled and said in a hoarse voice, Kushina, on the first day you transferred to another school, the first time I saw you, I fell in love with you and couldn't help myself. Kushina's eyes moved, but the indifference in them did not recede. You asked me, when you were captured by Cloud Shinobi's people, did I know it was a scheme, a conspiracy? Why? I can tell you clearly, I don't know. Namikaze Minato patted his chest and said seriously, your Kagura mind can detect whether the other party is lying or not through chakra. I will let go of chakra now and let you investigate. I'm absolutely not lying. Hearing this, most of the coldness in Kushina's eyes faded away. In fact, there is no need at all. Namikaze Minato said that she had already opened the eyes of Kagura the first time she came here. Kagura Mind Eye has many abilities, but it doesn't mean that it can be used successfully if it is opened. It also depends on the strength of the opponent, whether it has special means and so on. Some strong people can avoid the detection of Kagura's mind. For example, Xiao Yuchen, Kushina can't probe into his heart, but can only perceive the strength of his chakra. And now, Namikaze Minato's chakra is nothing in front of Kushina, so naturally he can't lie in front of her. So you later saw that there was something wrong with it, didn't you? Kushina asked. Yes. Namikaze Minato nodded, and then smiled wryly. After returning to the village, I realized that this should be a trick set by Lord Third Hokage. At that time, I was just accepted as an apprentice by teacher Jiraiya, and I was regarded as the grandson of Lord Third Generation. Uzumaki Mito-sama was already running out of fuel, and you were about to become a Jinchuriki. He took the lead in this matter and made you change your opinion of me and even like me. The purpose is just to ensure that Jinchuriki is always in Konoha Amy. Wrong. Is sure in his Sarutobi Hiruzen's hands, Kushina corrected indifferently. Namikaze Minato froze, then nodded. That's right, it's not so much in the hands of Konoha, in the hands of Konoha's senior management, but in the hands of Third Hokage. After all, Jiraiya and his Namikaze Minato have always hated Danzo and others more than liked them, but respected Sarutobi Hiruzen. That is, I come with you. It's been a conspiracy against Jinchuriki all along, right? Confirms Kushina. Kushina, I have no problem. Namikaze Minato sensed something, and his tone was a little more eager. But you are the beneficiary. Kushina said seriously. From your point of view, you got the woman you love, and after I became Jinchuriki, I also became your helper, making the old monkey value you more and more, and even chose you to be the fourth Hokage. Orochimaru once told me that the old monkey had to resign because he paid too much in the Third War, but he was reluctant to give up his full strength. He chose you as Hokage because Orochimaru was not easy to control, and you were very suitable to be on stage as a puppet. I didn't believe it at the time, and thought it was just the sour words of a loser. Looking back now, imagine how Naruto was treated. I think he's right. Namikaze Minato opened his mouth, but no words came out. He also knows he is a puppet, and is even happy to be the fourth Hokage in that capacity. Because he is very young, Sarutobi Hiruzen will definitely walk ahead of him, and even slowly fail. When the time comes, he will naturally be in power, so there is no need to fight Sarutobi Hiruzen. But now it seems that this affair has become weak and bullying in the eyes of some people. Forget it, there is no need to argue about these issues. Kushina waved his hands in a disinterested manner, and said calmly, Minato, you know my character, so you should understand what I'm going to say next, right? Namikaze Minato's face became extremely defeated, and he forced a smile. Can you forgive me? I concealed you, it is all for you. This is true. Namikaze Minato was indeed an afterthought about this. So if he told Kushina at that time, the latter has a clear love and hate, and he would only have opinions on Sarutobi Hiruzen. Although the matter of the hero saving the beauty is not simple, the two protagonists are not acting. Minato, you know, I can't bear it in my eyes. Things based on deceit are fragile after all. I don't blame you, and you didn't do anything wrong. If you can lie to me for the rest of your life, I will admit it too. But the problem is that I know about it. I hate calculating, I hate being used, I hate cheating. Let's get together and get away. After finishing speaking, Kushina turned around decisively, without a trace of nostalgia. Originally, she was only dissatisfied with Namikaze Minato because of Naruto, and felt that the two had some disagreements. But she will not deny everything in the past, and naturally she will not do betrayal. But now, when it is discovered that everything in the past was based on falsehood, she felt that there was nothing worth dwelling on. She has her own bottom line and principles. You are dead, and I will not consider finding a way to resurrect you. In the future, I will find a way to release you from Shinigami's stomach and send you to hell. I wish you happiness in your next life. After speaking, regardless of Namikaze Minato's call, Kushina's voice disappeared. Seeing this, Nine Tails immediately mocked, "Fourth generation, look at your failed life. My son has been abused since he was a child, and Third Hokage treats you like a puppet. My wife obviously died with you, but now she seems to be resurrected, but she doesn't take you with her, but separates from you." Tisk tisk tisk. Swish. Namikaze Minato turned his head, his eyes filled with killing intent. But Nine Tails is not afraid, and increases the output. It just likes how Namikaze Minato is angry but can't kill him. But at this moment, a strange force spread in this space. Namikaze Minato was swallowed by this force and disappeared along with chakra in the 8-sign seal. Even if Naruto breaks out into 8 tails in the future, Namikaze Minato will never appear again. At the same time, this force suppressed Nine Tails. Keep pushing. Beat you. It was Kushina's voice. Nine Tails shut her mouth decisively. The big sister gimmick really overwhelms it, it's not masochistic. Meanwhile, Xiao Yuchen has just returned to his apartment. He didn't know that his analysis in the diary had caused Kushina and Namikaze Minato to part ways and bid farewell to the past. He poured 2 cups of tea, put one of them on the table, and said, "Kakashi, escort me all the way. Why don't you come out here?" "Who are you?" In the shadows, Kakashi, who didn't hold heaven in his arms, walked out. His eyes looked very serious. "According to the information I have collected, it is already the limit for Yuchen to become a Chunin in this lifetime. But you are not, you have very powerful perception skills. And I can feel a sense of mortal danger in you now." When this word got out, it was estimated that a bunch of people would be stunned. It can give Kakashi a sense of fatal danger, which means that he has the ability to kill him. And Xiao Yuchen is only 18 years old. Who I am. Xiao Yuchen originally wanted to scare Kakashi with the news of Obito and send him away. Anyway, with Kakashi's character, he will not expose the information to a third person. Of course, exposure doesn't matter. After realizing that the contents of the diary would be leaked to some people in some form, he decided not to have sex, but to do whatever he wanted. But when he heard Kakashi's question, he suddenly became playful and had a better idea. Whoosh! Xiao Yuchen threw a handful of kunai at Kakashi. The shooting speed is extremely fast, and the angle is also very tricky. Shua! At the critical moment, Kakashi shook his head with the vigilance he had honed through more than 40s level missions, and successfully avoided kunai's attack, but he also lost a poke of his hair. He was about to fight back, but Xiao Yuchen in front of him suddenly disappeared. He didn't even know how the other party moved or which direction it moved. Immediately afterwards, a whirling hum sounded behind him. Rasengan. Swish. A small typhoon passed by Kakashi's ear. He swallowed his saliva and said in disbelief, "Flying Thunder God technique, Rasengan. How do you know these two ninjutsu?" "Why would I?" "Of course it's because I would." Xiao Yuchen smiled gently and said, "Kakashi, can't you guess my identity yet?" "Could it be, are you a teacher?" Kakashi's face was full of disbelief. Rasengan. Namikaze Minato created their own Muji A-level ninjutsu. This ninjutsu is difficult and precious to learn, but there are many people in the ninja society. For example, Jiraiya and Sarutobi Hiruzen can do it, and so can Kakashi. But Flying Thunder God technique, since Senju Tobirama broke out, only Namikaze Minato has fully mastered it, and even Sannin and Sarutobi Hiruzen can't get started. And when these two jutsu appear on the same person, it's hard for Kakashi not to think of Namikaze Minato. "Very well, as expected of you, Hitaki Presbyopia Kakashi." Xiao Yuchen thought it was funny in his heart, but on the surface he said seriously, "That's right, it's me." "If you were a teacher, why would you look like this?" Kakashi objected. "It's all due to that damned Shinigami," Xiao Yuchen said angrily. Shinigami. You should have heard of ghoul sealing, which originated from the super powerful sealing technique of the Uzumaki family. Kushina taught me that after casting it, you can summon Shinigami to harvest souls and swallow them into your belly. The price is the soul of the caster. Xiao Yuchen explained said, "I was originally in Shinigami's stomach, but something went wrong when I was resurrected, and the dove occupied the magpie's nest." Speaking of this, Xiao Yuchen also imitated Namikaze Minato's tone and said, "Because of this reason, Kushina doesn't want to see me now. Spiritually, I am still her husband, but physically. So she drove me here." Hearing this, Kakashi suddenly realized. No wonder Kushina put so much trust in Xiao Yuchen, a man he has only met once. Originally, he thought it was because of Naruto and Kagura's mind-eye detection, but it was somewhat far-fetched. Now it seems that it is because Xiao Yuchen's real identity is Namikaze Minato, totally trustworthy. That's right, if it wasn't for Namikaze Minato, how could Xiao Yuchen be so good to Naruto? Everything can be explained. But as a ninja, caution is the first priority, Kakashi asked tentatively. "Do you have any way to prove it?" "You can ask Kushina." Xiao Yuchen looked helpless with composure. Kakashi woke up a little more, but still looked straight at Xiao Yuchen. "Kakashi, teacher, how do you want me to prove it?" Xiao Chen said calmly, "Shall I tell you some secrets that only we know each other?" "Please tell me." Kakashi said seriously. Xiao Yuchen saw that he was so persistent, so he leaned into his ear and said 3. Boom. Kakashi shrank violently. Afterwards, he bowed resolutely, "Teacher." "Beauty mole." These are the 3 words Xiao Yuchen said in Kakashi's ear. As a time traveler, he certainly knows why Kakashi wears a mask all the year round. The beauty mole on the lower left side of the mouth seriously damaged his image of a tall and cold brother. In fact, Xiao Yuchen doesn't know whether Namikaze Minato knows that Kakashi has a beauty spot on his face, it's just a guess. He guessed that there is a high probability that he knows, because there should be no people in this world who are not curious about Kakashi's mask face, such as Kushina, who may directly threaten Kakashi to take off the mask and show her. The best thing about Namikaze Minato is its speed. It's easy to take off Kakashi's mask to see what's going on. It now appears that he guessed right. As for guessing wrong, it's okay, it's just playing with Kakashi, the difference is when the game ends. It now appears that there is still play. Kakashi, you have had a hard time these years. Xiao Yuchen said in a gentle tone, with a kind of warmth in his seriousness. As a qualified actor, imitation is nothing but handy. What's more, Xiao Yuchen knew Kakashi's life and felt that it was really difficult for him. Teacher Minato. Kakashi felt inexplicably hot in his eyes, and had the urge to cry. He can be sure that the Xiao Yuchen in front of him is his teacher Namikaze Minato. A person's appearance can change, but his temperament and way of speaking will not, and the ability to master cannot be faked. What's more, the fact that he has a beauty spot, including himself, only Kushina, Namikaze Minato and Hitaki Sakumo know about it. Only teacher Minato can treat him so tolerantly and speak in such a tone of genuine concern. The teacher knows that you have worked hard all these years. Third generation, he will definitely not let you see Naruto, and arrange many dangerous tasks for you to perform. You have difficulties, the teacher can understand. Xiao Yuchen reached out and patted Kakashi on the shoulder. Don't blame Kushina for your attitude, this is the most normal behavior of a mother. I don't blame it, and I'm not qualified. Kakashi immediately said, it's normal for the wife to be angry again. Kakashi, you have grown up. Xiao Yuchen smiled gratifiedly. Kakashi felt warm inside and couldn't help asking, teacher, can't you change back? Is this body not good? Xiao Yuchen asked back. This was tailor-made according to his body in his previous life, and then put it into the Konoha to subtly influence and blend in. Whether it is appearance or second brother, they are all top-level configurations. Without these configurations, it is impossible to become a qualified fish pond owner. It's not bad, it just feels weird, Kakashi told the truth. You think, teacher, I don't want to have my previous body. Xiao Yuchen smiled wryly. My body and Kushina's body have already decayed, and Kushina was directly rebuilt and resurrected, but because of Shinigami's entanglement, I can only use the corpse to return to life. Otherwise, I can fix everything as soon as I show up, and I won't bother Kushina to take care of Danzo himself. Speaking of this, Xiao Yuchen also showed a grin in cooperation, obviously because he thought of what happened to Naruto in these years. Afterwards, he continued, because of this matter, Kushina and I also had estrangement. I said I could use the transformation technique to transform back and let her get used to it. Instead, she kicked me out of the house and let me live alone. I don't know how much time it will take to integrate into the life of their mother and child in the future. Forehead Kakashi's eyes twitched slightly. He felt that he really watched too much intimacy in heaven, even if Minato, teacher is so normal, he would think wrong. What transformation technique, what adaptation, what integration, he always thinks in strange places. In other words, Mr. Minato used someone else's body and his wife. Hey, who the hell is this? Kakashi shuddered all over, not daring to think about it anymore. Love Heaven killed him, Lord Jiraiya killed him. So when you go back tonight, you must rummage through it. Kakashi, remember to create conditions for the teacher in the future and appease your teacher's wife. Xiao Yuchen said earnestly. Come on, lover, give an assist. Kakashi actually didn't want to mind it, but could only nod. At this time, Xiao Yuchen suddenly looked serious and said, then Kakashi, I have a task for you next. Mission? Kakashi subconsciously stood up straight. Jiwei, Aburame, Dingzo, Akamichi, Tangdong, Akamichi, Jaw, Tooth, Inazuka, Luju, Haiyi, Xuanjian. Xiao Yuchen said a series of names, and then said, these they are all my companions who fought side by side with me during the Third World War, forged a deep friendship, and were the ones who most supported me in becoming fourth Hokage. I have been investigating for a while and found that the chiefs of the Ino-Shika Cho clans were all ordered by the third generation to be sent abroad. Hyuga Hizashi of the Hyuga clan was forced to death by the village itself, and the roots also extended their hands to the major ninja clans. Obviously, this is all a means of the third generation's power, status and interests after my death. Now I need you to contact them secretly so that everyone can reach a consensus. What consensus? Kakashi's heart skipped a beat. He felt that Mr. Minato was going to do something amazing. Change shadow. Xiao Yuchen spat out 2 words. Shadow change. Kakashi's heart skipped a beat. Kakashi. Xiao Yuchen looked deeply at Kakashi, and said earnestly, if you don't even trust me, then there is no need for me to stay in this village, so I will tell you the truth. I have seen what happened to Naruto these years, and I am very distressed and even angry. That's why I didn't stop Kushina from killing Danzo. But Sarutobi Hiruzen can't, because he's still Miiing. I can't shoot Hokage, not Sarutobi Hiruzen, you know what I mean? This feeling of being trusted made Kakashi enthusiastic again, nodded and said, I understand. Shadow is the embodiment of status and power, and is the belief of ninjas and villagers in the whole village. People can have problems, but Hokage can't. They can do whatever they want with Sarutobi Hiruzen, but definitely not when he is Hokage. I want Naruto, justice for those who suffered under the Sarutobi regime. For example, your father, Senior White Fang. Here, Konoha, who preaches the will of fire and the importance of companions, is condemned to death for giving up his mission to save people. I can't accept it. Kakashi, please. Yes. Kakashi's eyes lit up. The two then summed up the details. At the end, Xiao Yuchen suddenly said, Kakashi, has Mr. Jiraiya made any new creations these years? If you can come to the ninja world, you must eat Ichiraku ramen, you must chase after beautiful women, and you must read it in the heaven of intimacy. Kakashi understood in seconds, and carefully took out a sealing scroll and put it in Xiao Yuchen's hand, saying, Master Jiraiya's efforts over the years are all here. Teacher, after you finish reading, can you use Mount Myoboku's summoning technique to ask Jiraiya when the new work will be released? Hello Kakashi. No wonder you gave it so simply, it turned out to be on purpose. I can't use the summoning technique for the time being, because the name of my current body is not on the summoning scroll. Chakra is extracted from the combination of spiritual energy and physical energy. My spiritual energy remains the same, but my physical energy. But don't worry, I have a way to contact Teacher Jiraiya, and I will ask after a while. Xiao Yuchen put away the scroll, because it was a big bag. Then he said, Kakashi, I remember when you became a Jonin, I gave you a flying thunder god kunai as a gift, is it still there? Yes, sir, do you want to see it? Xiao Yuchen nodded. Kakashi took out a scroll again, returned to a certain position, injected chakra, and summoned a special kunai. Sure enough, this is still handy. Taking the special quality kunai into his hand and weighing it, Xiao Yuchen added his own spell on the handle, a small Zhao character. He then handed it back to Kakashi and said, I made a change. In the future, not only will I be able to sense the flying thunder god mark within a certain range, but if you inject chakra into the handle, I will also be able to sense it, and I will be able to rescue it immediately. Within Konoha range, if you want to find me, you can use this flying thunder god kunai. Yes. Kakashi's eyes lit up. Being able to make improvements on the original flying thunder god mark, his trust in Xiao Yuchen's identity has risen from 90% to 90%. That's it for the time being. You can go back today. Xiao Yuchen waved his hand and said, also, it might be exposed. From now on, you and I can just call each other by our names outside. Speaking of which, you are older than me now, aren't you? Kakashi nodded in understanding and jumped out of the window. After he left the range of the perception technique, Xiao Yuchen returned to the bed, covered himself with the quilt, and twitched. Peefed, ha, 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 laughing to death, I am really laughing to death. All the girls showed speechless smiles. This guy, what is going on again? Let me tell you a joke first, the #1 presbyopia in the ninja world, Hitaki Kakashi of Sharingan. What is this again? The girls showed curiosity. But obviously, Zhao Chen would not give them an explanation. Just now I got playful and lied to Kakashi that I am Namikaze Minato, but he actually believed it. But it's normal, after all, I showed Flying Thunder God technique and Rasengan successively, and said that the reason why he wears a mask is the secret of a beautiful beauty on the lower left side of his mouth, and it's Zinai's attitude towards me that made me talk about it. How could he do you not believe it? Female. You snatched the bamboo shoots, you snatched all the bamboo shoots on the mountain. However, the reason Kakashi Senpai wears a mask all the time is because of a beauty mole? Uyue Shion, who had just returned home and was about to take a bath, couldn't help laughing, and the coldness of spring dissipated. Peefed haha, beauty mole. Anko lay on the bed with Yu Hahong in his arms and rubbed against each other, laughing. I will find a chance to play tricks on him in the future. Shi Rihong wanted to teach, but she laughed unkindly herself. Kakashi became famous when he was young. He is talented and looks good, but he loves to wear a mask. There was a time when many people in Konoha village liked to imitate him. But it also made many people wonder what the half of his face looks like under the mask. Sausage mouth? Buck teeth? I didn't expect it to be a beauty mole. When I think of the combination of the cold Kakashi and the beauty mole. It's funny enough. Beauty mole, in the illusory space, Nohara Lin also let out an unkind laugh after being stunned for a short time. She has not forgotten that when Obito organized a group of classmates, she said that they would work together to find out the secrets under Kakashi's mask, and she also participated in it. I didn't expect the answer to be like this. It will be funny if you tell others about it in the future, right? This guy is really female. Among them, Only Kushina can't laugh or cry. She already knew about Kakashi's beauty spot, so she didn't think it was a novelty. At the beginning, Kakashi signed many unequal treaties in order to beg her not to speak out. Only this time, as Xiao Yuchen wrote in his diary, it won't be long before it spreads across the ninja world. Where she is really speechless, is Xiao Yuchen impersonating Namikaze Minato. In fact, there was nothing wrong with her, after all, it was completely broken just now. But I always feel that he has bad intentions. Just then, there was a knock on the door, bang, bang, bang. Kushina opened Kagura's mind and found that it was Hitaki Kakashi. A certain guess arose in her heart, and she immediately walked to the door and opened it. Kakashi, what can you do? Kushina asked. Kakashi asked respectfully. Big sister head, Xiao Yuchen, is the teacher? Kushina. Sure enough, this is the problem. How should she answer? And. I see. Seeing Kushina's silent, entangled appearance, Kakashi instantly understood the truth. In his memory, Kushina is the kind of quick-tempered person who can't hide things in his heart. He directly asked Xiao Yuchen if he was Namikaze Minato, and wanted to catch Kushina by surprise. If the answer is no, then Kushina will definitely overreact immediately. But now, she is struggling. Apparently, she also doesn't know how to perform Namikaze Minato, which defines body change. Or, she didn't want to reveal this strange thing about her husband's body change to others. Big sister head, I will take my leave first. Starting tomorrow, I will take care of Naruto. Kakashi, who consciously understood everything, immediately bid farewell. The trust in Xiao Yuchen in my heart has also been raised to 100%. Kushina has to struggle with physical problems because they are husband and wife. But as a disciple, he pays more attention to the soul and the memory of the past, and the body is not so important. Understood? Seeing Kakashi disappear into the darkness in a blink of an eye, Kushina was a little dumbfounded. In the end, she didn't say anything. Did this little brother figure it out? Want to understand what? This guy, it must be a misunderstanding. Kushina was a little troubled for a while. If it was before today, she would definitely tell the truth as soon as possible. But now, she has just drawn a clear line with Namikaze Minato, and has a strange feeling for Xiao Yuchen, and she doesn't know what to do for a while. That's right, Kushina has different ideas about Xiao Yuchen. Even if someone asks her, she will admit it generously. This isn't impure, but similar to Stockholm Syndrome. After learning from Namikaze Minato that the kidnapping incident was indeed a conspiracy, she actually felt a suffocating and deadly sense of loneliness in her heart, and felt that the world was false. The broken family died on, and they were displaced. It seemed that they were lucky enough to be rescued by the ally Konoha. In fact, they just lacked a spare tire for Jinchuriki. Otherwise, why did they only find her after so many years? And in order to fully grasp her Jinchuriki, she set up a hero to save the beauty, so that she would be willing to be with a person she hated at first, thinking that she was very happy. Well, at least the happiness afterwards was true, but she was killed not long after, and the child lived an infinitely miserable life in Konoha, obviously the son of a hero and the son of Hokage. Knowing this, Namikaze Minato was obviously very angry, but forcibly restrained because it was Hokage. Now, she just feels that every breath of air that Konoha takes is disgusting. Even, she can understand Obito's heart somewhat. Just when she felt that she was going to fall into the bottomless abyss, Xiao Yuchen updated her diary. The eye-catching smile at the beginning made her feel that a ray of light fell from above and enveloped her. She realizes that there is a real person trapped in this false world. And this person still likes her very much, and treats her well unconditionally. No schemes, no calculations, no exploits. Therefore, her inner thoughts are similar to those of Kurama Yakumo. Is this God's salvation for me? With a sense of eerie, Kushina closed the door and walked to the hall. At this time, Naruto came out of the bathroom and asked, "Mom, is brother Yuchen back?" "It's not Yuchen, it's Kakashi." Kushina raised her head and smiled. "Naruto, Mom is leaving soon. Before that, you need to understand some truths. If you have a grudge, you must repay it, and if you have a kindness, you must repay it. Don't hurt the people who value you or value yourself just because you want to get the approval of some meaningless people." Kushina patiently began to explain the truth to Naruto. This wave is called wash to wash. For all this, Zhao Chen is not clear. After recording in his diary for a while, he decided to read Jiraiya's excellent work. The collection of materials for so many years is not in vain, right? I don't know who is stronger or weaker than a certain young woman Bai and Jin Mome. Xiao Yuchen stretched out his hand and opened the first volume of Intimate Paradise. At the same time, the entire ninja world is not peaceful. Tianjiguo, Yan'an Village. In the narrow and dark passage, candlelight flickered. A pale man with long black hair, long golden pupils, and purple eyeshadow that melted to the skin near the nose appeared. On his ears are blue jade-shaped earrings, giving people a sinister feeling without hesitation. He is one of Konoha Sanin, Lang-jun Orochimaru. Fun, it's so much fun. Uzumaki Kushina, unexpectedly revived. Putting down Yakushi Kabuto's message from Konoha, Orochimaru subconsciously stuck out his tongue and licked half of his face. He has been pursuing eternal life, and now he has finally completed the living corpse reincarnation, and can change his body at will to seek eternal life. But this longevity is not perfect after all, and the body is not as comfortable as it was at first. Of course, if you can get the blood succession limit, it's another story. But now, the resurrection actually happened, which aroused his desire for exploration and research. In addition, Yakushi Kabuto also mentioned in the intelligence that Kushina killed Danzo, and at that time, 8 shadow clones were used to cast 2-4 Red Yang formation. If Kushina is still 9 Tails Jinchuriki, he thinks it might be possible. But 9 Tails is now in the legacy of the 4th generation. Then Kushina's strength is intriguing. Is it because of this resurrection? Thinking of this, Orochimaru said softly, "Catch a living person to the 3rd laboratory." Yes. A voice sounded in the darkness. Orochimaru slowly came to the 3rd laboratory after finishing the work at hand. There are many test tubes and petri dishes here, in which there are some kind of individual cells, or torsos grown from cells. He walked to the petri dish code named Dark, took a piece of flesh from it, and then walked into the matching experimental site next to it, where someone was already controlling a prisoner. Reanimation jutsu. After some operations, Orochimaru sacrificed a living person and performed ninjutsu using the flesh and blood in his hands as a medium. Ah! Accompanied by the screams of the living, a layer of paper-like things appeared on the surface of his body, which continued to pile up and gradually formed, and finally turned into a person. Orochimaru put a handful of kunai with talisman paper inside the man's head, and then said in a seal, "Wake up, Danzo." The person Orochimaru summoned was Danzo, who died in Konoha not long ago. In this world, is there anyone who can understand information faster and more in detail than the person involved? Shua. Danzo opened his left eye. When he saw Orochimaru's gloomy smiling face and felt his current state again, he said calmly, "2nd-generation teacher's reanimation jutsu. Orochimaru, I didn't expect you to succeed. If I hadn't mastered this ninjutsu, how would I have found my beloved teacher who wanted to return to hell?" Orochimaru said with a sinister smile, "I prepared a big gift for him." Danzo ignored him, but felt his right eye, and found that he couldn't succeed. He understood that Shisui's right eye was completely useless. "Orochimaru, you didn't go to this old man to reminisce, did you?" Danzo said coldly, "If you want this old man to betray Konoha, you should give up as soon as possible." Hearing this, Orochimaru laughed uncontrollably. Even after death, this old guy is still this hypocrite. He clearly wanted the position of Hokage, but he said it was for the sake of the village to get rid of the cowardly and unworthy Sarutobi Hiruzen. Hitaki Tsukumo, who is guilty? The Uchiha family is guilty of death. And his right eye is Mangekyo Sharingan, and who is it from? But Orochimaru is also not interested in preaching to Danzo, or revealing his true colors. This kind of thing means nothing to him. Whose Mangekyo Sharingan is your right eye? Orochimaru asked a question that interested him. He was sure that the Nine Tails rebellion wasn't Danzo's fault, because the guy was working with him on Senju Hashirama's cells. And at that time, Danzo's arm hadn't been replaced, there were not so many resurrection coins, when the Uchiha clan survived, and the right eye was just an ordinary Sharingan. Uchiha Shisui. Danzo didn't hide. Uchiha Shisui. Orochimaru muttered the name, thinking of Uchiha Itachi who had humiliated himself. He is Lang-jun Orochimaru, the master ninja who became famous in the Earth battle. But it was defeated by Uchiha Itachi, a 14-year-old boy, and he was only solved by the opponent at a glance. Although he had just changed his body and was very weak at that time, and he didn't understand Uchiha Itachi's ability, plus some other reasons, he was hit by the opponent's Mangekyo's ability. But he couldn't forget this humiliation, and even turned it into an obsession to have Sharingan. What ability is his Mangekyo Sharingan? Orochimaru asked. Distinguished heavenly gods, the effect is. Danzo said himself. The strongest illusion, changing the will. Orochimaru chanted the name, instinctively stuck out his tongue and licked his face. The longing in his eyes was unprecedented. If you have the distinguished heavenly gods, you can definitely take revenge on Uchiha Itachi. Do you know where the other distinguished heavenly gods are? I don't know, but if it wasn't destroyed by Shisui, it was in the hands of Uchiha Itachi. Orochimaru, Shisui's body, do you know where it is? Don't be delusional. Shisui's body has long been burned by the Uchiha clan. Danzo sneered. Really? Orochimaru smiled indifferently, and then said, then let's talk about Uzumaki Kushina. Is she really resurrected? That's right. Danzo's eyes showed strong hatred, and he said angrily, it's indeed resurrected, and its strength is even stronger than when the Nine Tails power was not used in front of him. This old man is no match at all. Looks like you're vengeful. Ask knowingly. Danzo said coldly, Orochimaru, as long as you let me kill Uzumaki Kushina and Hiruzen with my own hands, I will give you the information I have. Orochimaru didn't ask nonsense like, didn't you just say you couldn't sell Konoha? Danzo is an absolute egoist, with a hypocritical wish to flaunt himself. Don't worry, I will give you this chance. That is to say, impure world reincarnation can only control the body, not the consciousness. Otherwise, Orochimaru would have ignored Danzo at all. But it's fine as it is now, it's just a trick. You go to sleep first. Orochimaru summoned a coffin, controlling the unconscious group to enter. Then, he began to meditate. Konoha's collapse plan, just killing one Sarutobi Hiruzen is not enough. It seems that the cooperation with Luo Sha needs to change the plan. Meanwhile, the Land of the Winds, Sand Shinobi Village. Luo Sha and the others naturally also received news that their side was spying in Konoha village. In fact, all the hidden villages have already received the news. Konoha's collapse plan, I think it is necessary to adjust. Luo Sha pondered. Said. Mrs. Fourth Generation, the previous Nine Tails Jinchuriki was resurrected, we don't know if Fourth Hokage is also resurrected. If the Fourth Hokage is revived, now is definitely not a good time to start a war. They are all people who have experienced the third ninja world and know how difficult Namikaze Minato is. Not to mention, Kushina showed the strength to crush Danzo, the darkness of Konoha. Tamari is going to Konoha, so I just asked her to do the research first. Intelligence Department, spies, all act. Also making the same decision are Iwagakure, Cloud Shinobi Village, Kirigakure. Send an order to Terumi Mei, be sure to get more comprehensive information. It is about the fourth Hokage, the resurrection of the regiment. No one cannot be tempted, do not care. Under the darkness of night, people's hearts are surging. At this time, the women holding copies of the diary were waiting excitedly. They knew that Kushina was resurrected because of the diary, so they were not curious or surprised. It is impossible for them to reveal the information in the diary. And now, it's almost morning. The rewards of the new day will be announced soon. The diary reward function is officially developed. Reward 1. Increase your chakra by 1%. Winners. Uzumaki Kushina, Yuhi Hong, Azuki Yuyan, Yamanaka Ino, Hyuga Hinata. The first reward appeared, and there was no disturbance for everyone. 2. Randomly select one person, who has been mentioned more than 10 times and has watched the diary, to receive a random magic blessing. The draw is successful, the winner is Uzumaki, and the magic blessing is XXX, the winner chooses to hide. Reward 3. Obtain some kind of reward randomly, including winner. Uzumaki Kushina, reward. Spiritualization technique, the winner chooses to hide. Spiritualization technique. In the 8-sign seal space, Kushina who has returned here showed a surprised expression. She knows this ninjutsu. It is an S-level soul ninjutsu that can make the soul leave the body. Shuttle and kill the enemy can also control the other's body and enter the spiritual world of others, causing the enemy's spirit to collapse from the inside and die. In addition, the spirit body can also perceive the soul of other people, perceive the other party's direction regardless of distance, fly regardless of distance, can transmit information, pass chakra to others, and many other things. Matter. During the Second Ninja World War, Kato Dan became famous with this technique, and his reputation at that time was not weaker than that of Namikaze Minato who became famous with Flying Thunder God during the Sanin period. It's a pity that this technique is easy to be targeted. It's not as easy to protect itself as Flying Thunder God. Kato Dan died miserably in the end. But for the current Kushina, this is definitely a reward, comparable to resurrection. Great, so I can stay in this world forever, bouncing around. She is very dissatisfied with Naruto's brainwashing work tonight. It's a pity that her time outside is limited, and she must return to the sealed space. It doesn't mean that she must, if she wants, she can leave a shadow clone outside. But doing that would require her to part with half of the chakra remaining in the 8-sign seal. Naturally, this is nothing when there is infinite energy. If her previous amount of chakra was compared to a jar of water, it is now a tub of water. And under the blessing of infinite energy, the water in her basin will be filled up as much as she uses up, so she unscrupulously casts 4 red yang formation. But without infinite energy, she is still the same basin of water, and she can use up as much water as possible. In this case, it would be fine if nothing happened, but if the 8-sign seal is turned on. In the case of Namikaze Minato chakra being made disappear by her half chakra is not enough to stop. So she can only give up the tempting method of using shadow clone to stay in the takeaway. Unexpectedly, now the will is dark and the flowers are bright. Experiment. After getting excited, Kushina decided to give it a try. Since she no longer has a body, she casts it easily and splits a part of chakra into a spirit body. Successful. Leaving the seal, seeing Naruto who was sleeping soundly, Kushina laughed with her arms akimbo. Suddenly, she rolled her eyes and decided to see what Xiao Yuchen was doing. Feeling the familiar soul fluctuations easily, she controlled the spirit body to fly out, ignoring the walls. After a few breaths, she came to Xiao Yuchen's apartment and found that he had fallen asleep. It's really handsome. After commenting on Yuchen's appearance at close range, Kushina smiled wickedly and flew into Xiao Yuchen's body. As soon as the screen changed, she entered Xiao Yuchen's spiritual world. When she saw the surrounding environment clearly, her smile froze, and her face turned red. Why is there another me? Xiao Yuchen, stop me, don't mess with me. What kind of room is this? The floor is paved with black marble, the tiles are as bright as a mirror, and the gorgeous crystal glass pendant chandelier. The large bed of pure black fragrant wood and the fine carvings of the armchairs are arranged in the whole space, which can be described as resplendent and magnificent, and everything is extremely luxurious. There is a huge window on one side of the room, through which you can see towering tall buildings with brilliant lights, overlooking from the railing. You can see the busy cross streets, and there are bursts of noise that you have never heard before. Looking in the other direction, you can still see the sea and the beach. If it is placed on weekdays, Kushina will definitely appreciate it with great interest. Whether it is decoration, architectural deconstruction, or the living environment of people, it is beyond her cognition and imagination. She will also find it witty to enter Xiao Yuchen's spiritual world on her own whim, because she knows the world before he traveled. This is an otherworld tour. But now, Kushina only feels regret, so regretful that his whole body almost explodes on the spot. All because she saw Xiao Yuchen doing push-ups and practicing abdominal muscles, and a beautiful figure beside her was practicing yoga and doing various stretching exercises. The two were sweating profusely, but they didn't stop, they were competing with all their strength and physical skills. Speaking of taijutsu, we must also mention Otsutsuki Kagaya, the ancestor of chakra. At first, there was no concept of jutsu. It was not until Kaguya's son Sage of Six Paths separated chakra and taught humans to use it that there were 3 categories of ninjutsu, illusion and body jutsu. However, it is not necessary to use chakra in taishu, and more emphasis is placed on the strength of the body itself. But now, Xiao Yuchen and another person are practicing physical skills and competing with each other. This involves stamina, endurance, recovery speed, and moves. As for the person who competed with Xiao Yuchen, Kushina felt that no one was more familiar than her. Because it is herself. At this moment, she realized what was going on here. Watching myself compete with Xiao Yuchen, I must help. Adamantine sealing chains. 5 chains condensed by chakra flew out from behind Kushina, respectively wrapped around Xiao Yuchen's left and right wrists, ankles, and neck. The pulling force came, which increased the difficulty of Xiao Yuchen's exercise by, which is the same as adding sandbags when running. Fortunately, he has finished a group of fat-burning exercises and is now doing stretching exercises to consolidate the results. The group was not frightened by Kushina's movements. Interesting. Xiao Yuchen frowned when he saw another Kushina whose blush was as fast as her hair color appeared next to her. As expected of a woman from the Uzumaki family, she inherited Ashura's yang escape power, with top-notch physical strength and resilience, and a natural embryo of physical fitness. Even in his world, this advantage is implemented. This shadow clone technique, I don't know when she cast it. That's what makes it interesting. Xiao Yuchen was happy instead of angry. Even in the space he dominates, he doesn't want Kushina at his mercy. Only the Kushina who restores the character can have the feeling of Kushina. This is my world. Adamantine sealing chains, refund me. Xiao Yuchen gave a light drink. The spiritual power surged, and Kushina immediately felt a force coming, and she was forcibly ordered to remove the chain. Don't even think about it. Kushina increased the output of chakra. So the competition of physical skills turned into a competition of yin-dun mental energy. With the spiritualization technique, Kushina can display her own power, which is very awakening. But Xiao Yuchen has the home court advantage and is no less impressive. And Kushina always felt that his mental power was exceptionally strong. Interesting. After a moment of stalemate, Zhao Chen decided to add some means. Magic hanging technique. Xiao Yuchen's pitch-black eyes suddenly turned scarlet, and a three-pointed jade appeared in it. Seeing this, Kushina's heart trembled and she exclaimed, Sharingan? Why do you have Sharingan? Xiao Yuchen mentioned in his diary that Sharingan is the descendant of Indra, the eldest son of Sage of Six Paths. Then how did he possess this time traveler? Huh? Xiao Yuchen froze for a moment. Kushina's reaction was too real, somewhat beyond his expectation. Isn't this in his dream? He secretly pinched himself, but it didn't hurt at all. He glanced at the surrounding past modern buildings again. Well, it is indeed my own territory. Think about it every day, dream about it at night. Kushina's character is so hot that it's in my dreams. Xiao Yuchen made a conclusion, but felt weird. If you want to be spicy, why not keep it spicy, but get spicy halfway through? Could it be that the first compromise was because of his sentence, ma'am, you don't want Naruto to suffer, do you? It should be like this, the dream world has loopholes to some extent, and the basic logic is already very good. Thinking of this, Xiao Yuchen no longer had doubts, but smiled at Kushina. Why can't I have a Sharingan? His pair of 3 Tomo Sharingan naturally comes from a diary reward, but it's just a castrated version. Because the reward he randomly draws today is not Sharingan, but magic Shagong art, an exclusive illusion that can only be used when 3 Tomo Sharingan is activated, and Sage Art Toad Singing are listed as 2 special illusions, which can be specifically called it's a body fixation technique. That is to say, the recruiter clearly knows that he has been hit by an illusion, but his body cannot move, similar to a ghost pressing a bed. This is the ninjutsu that Uchiha Itachi used when Akatsuki left Orochimaru with obsession and shadow. Shua. This dream space supported by spiritual energy becomes an illusion space under the power of Sharingan. A strong pressure came, and Kushina was horrified to find that her body was completely unable to move. Immediately afterwards, Xiao Yuchen's body teleported in front of him, turned her body over and pushed her to the huge window, and then raised her hands together. With the blessing of Sharingan, 3 large iron nails formed by Yin Dun's power appeared, 1 nailed Kushina's hands, and 2 nailed her feet respectively. Xiao Yuchen, let me go. If you dare to do anything to me, I will not let you go. Please, please. There was a hint of crying in Kushina's voice. Originally, she would be able to spiritize technique, so she should be able to act recklessly in Xiao Yuchen's world, but she didn't expect him to be able to illusion. When people are in the illusion, the cracking needs to disrupt the flow of chakra in the body. For non-pupil illusions, you can do it yourself. But if it is a pupil-type illusion such as the magic Yang Hang technique, you must rely on the help of your companions. In a word, she can't resist it all now. What are you afraid of? Xiao Yuchen shook his head amusedly, beckoning her to look out the window. Don't be afraid. Look at the scenery. This is a scenery you can't see in the ninja world. In the bustling city, there are countless colorful lights falling from the sky like stars. Standing at the highest point of this building and looking down, there is a kind of pride in seeing all the mountains and small mountains. In the distance is the sea under the moonlight. The full moon floats in the water with the waves, and the waves gently beat to the shore. Suddenly, dark clouds covered the full moon, and there was a strong wind on the sea, causing great waves to rise and fall. The waves turned into waves, and the waves, amidst the strong wind, seemed to be galloping like tens of thousands of horses, roaring and galloping towards the shore, and the rocks on the shore were crackling, and the sound was earth-shattering. As Xiao Yuchen said, this is the beauty that Kushina has never seen in Konoha, in the ninja world. For a moment, she forgot her surroundings and immersed herself in the wonderful army of Otherworld. At the same time, the country of grass, Kusanagi village. Just when Xiao Yuchen took Uzumaki Kushina to appreciate the beauty of his hometown. His shadow clone was looking at another red-haired Uzumaki girl with a dazed expression on her face. Who are you, and how did you find me? Xiao Yuchen asked in doubt, and at the same time took out a handful of kunai to pretend. Hello. My name is Uzumaki Xianglin, you can call me Xianglin. The girl stared at Xiao Yuchen, as if she wanted to engrave his appearance into her soul. I'm looking for you because I hope you can take me and my mother away from here, is that okay? Xiao Yuchen Shadow Clone had a headache for a while. Since Shadow Clone and Ontology cannot share memory in real time, Shadow Clone does not know what happened in Konoha village, the diary, and some associations that Ontology has with the diary. Otherwise, he probably wouldn't have been so surprised that Uzumaki had found himself. However, Shadow Clone's thinking mode and so on are no different from the main body, so Xiao Yuchen quickly began to probe. How did you find me, and why do you think I will take you away? Kagura Mind Eye. Uzumaki smiled and said, I have Kagura Mind Eye, I can feel the chakra within dozens of kilometers of Fang Yuan, and I can judge whether the other party is lying, good or evil by sensing the chakra of others. In this grass ninja village, most people have malice towards me, and some people are neither sad nor happy. Only you have extremely strong kindness towards me, and my mother can't hold on anymore, so I found you. Uzumaki's reasoning is impeccable. Xiao Yuchen couldn't find anything wrong with it, he just wondered that Uzumaki Kagura had already opened the mind of Kagura at such a young age, and using this talent was a bit heaven-defying. How did he know that this is because Uzumaki Xianglin received the magical blessing, guardian of the goddess of light, from the diary tonight, which can increase all physical abilities such as physical strength, recovery power, and bloodline power by 100 times, and last for 24 hours. After the end of the blessing, the tenfold increase can still be retained for 7 days, and the triple increase effect can be retained in the end. The current Uzumaki Xianglin will only be stronger than the original 3 years later, and it will be many times. I want to help you too, but I can't do it for the time being. Xiao Yuchen didn't do much testing, and told the truth. Why? Shangfo said in a hurry. She and her mother have special identities, and Saoren village has always arranged people to monitor them. Tonight, relying on her soaring strength and the cover of her mother, the regiment managed to sneak out. If it doesn't work today, I'm afraid it will be more successful in the future. And if her mother's current state is known by the grass ninja, I'm afraid she will suffer again. I'm just a shadow clone. Chakra uses a little less. Xiao Yuchen explained. If it's just taking you away, it's not a big problem, but if you add your mother, it is very difficult. After rushing to Kusanagi village, he has been paying attention to Xianglin and her mother. Xianglin's mother is currently in a state of dry oil wells, and she may be able to last for a few days after a period of recuperation, but if she leaves now, it will be difficult to even walk. And his shadow clone doesn't have much chakra left, no matter if he flees directly with the 2 girls or casts Flying Thunder God, he can't go far. At that time, if the 2 girls are caught up by Kusanagi, the situation will be even worse. Although Sao Nin is not as good as the 5 hidden villages, it may always exist, and it is not an easy generation. It turns out that you are concerned about your mother's condition, that's fine. Xianglin smiled relieved. This time, Xiao Yuchen couldn't be dealt with. Does Xianglin just want to leave by herself and not save her mother? If my mother can move on her own now, can you take us away? Xianglin asked. Your mother? Go by yourself. Xiao Yuchen felt that Xianglin was joking. He had only visited an hour ago, and Uzumaki Mikuna was in a bad state. Yeah. Xianglin nodded quickly. Is it possible? It depends on how well she recovers. Xiao Yuchen didn't say anything directly. Then you go back with me to have a look now. Xianglin immediately walked back. Seeing this, Xiao Yuchen had no choice but to release his perception and follow up. Soon, the 2 came to Xianglin's house and slipped in through a small window on the side. This. Is the resilience of the Uzumaki family so terrifying? When seeing Uzumaki Mikuna again, Xiao Yuchen was dumbfounded again. In front of Mikana, it seemed that except for her pale complexion, her old and dead spirit had completely disappeared, and her hair, which was mostly white, turned back to red. It's just not bright enough, a little haggard. The most exaggerated is the amount of chakra. There are definitely several Kakashi, making Xiao Yuchen wonder if there is a problem with the perception technique. Hello, sir. Mikuna gave Xiao Yuchen a big gift, and asked with expectant eyes, can you take Xianglin and me away? Over the years, she has perceived countless people, and Xiao Yuchen is the person with the most kindness to her and Xianglin, and his strength is strong enough and mysterious enough. If he is not willing to help, she doesn't know where the future is for herself and Xianglin. Can you shadow clone? Xiao Yuchen asked without answering. No, Mikuna shook her head. This answer did not surprise Xiao Yuchen. Shadow clone is the hang of the Uzumaki family. If Mikana knows how, she will definitely not be so miserable. I teach, you learn. Xiao Yuchen demonstrated the types and order of seals, and sensed them with perception. Mikana's talent is good, and she successfully used it after a few simple attempts. Create 2 shadow clone. One becomes your daytime state, and the other becomes Xianglin. Xiao Yuchen directed. Mikuna immediately complied. After everything was arranged, she looked at Xiao Yuchen. Do you have anything to bring? Xiao Yuchen asked calmly. No, Mikana shook her head immediately. They have long since had nothing worth nostalgic for in Sao Ninja Village. Then let's go. Xiao Yuchen put his hands on the shoulders of Mission and Xianglin respectively. The 3 disappeared in an instant, and the nearby ninjas knew nothing about it. In a blink of an eye it was one night. In Konoha village, Zhao Chen took Kushina to see the scenery all night. Kushina was shocked and absent-minded from the very beginning, and after a series of emotional changes in the middle, she finally became resigned to her fate, even wanting to refuse. That's all for tonight, we'll meet again later. Letting go of the restraint on Kushina, Xiao Yuchen went back to bed and decided to sleep and rest. Kushina looked at him quietly, with complicated eyes, which finally turned into a long sigh. With a move of her mind, she left Xiao Yuchen's spiritual world and returned to the real world. There was morning light coming in from the window, sporadically falling on Xiao Yuchen's face, making his face even more handsome. I also treat it as a dream. He took a deep look at Xiao Yuchen for a while, and prepared to leave. But at this moment, Xiao Yuchen suddenly opened his eyes, got up as if conditioned reflex, and said, "I'll go, Xianglin actually. Huh." Their eyes met. Xiao Yuchen blinked in a daze. Why is Kushina sitting on me? No, it's Jen. Could it be that I woke up in the wrong posture? Looking at Xiao Yuchen, who lay down again and closed his eyes tightly, Kushina was also a little dazed. Seeing me here, why can't you believe it? But immediately after, Xiao Yuchen sat up again, trying to widen his eyes wide. Damn it. Xiao Yuchen pinched lightly on his arm. Feeling the pain, he patted himself on the forehead and asked Kushina, spiritualization technique? Kushina couldn't help showing a surprised expression. Mr. Yuchen, you react very quickly. The corners of Xiao Yuchen's mouth twitched slightly, thinking that he is not stupid, he is still a seasoned lover, can this reaction be unpleasant? He used to be in the entertainment industry, smooth, with a nice voice, explosive body, or halo, all kinds of fish with various personalities and varieties, which one has he not eaten a few bites of? But tonight's dream was too real, especially Kushina's emotional changes, which were even more vivid than those in the movie. He has always felt that this experience is amazing, especially the output from several games to the final output, which has never been so comfortable in reality. Now it seems that this is a real soul exchange? You can actually spiritize technique? Xiao Yuchen showed a surprised expression. Does Kishimoto know Hokage? I'm afraid it's not because I only know a blast, so I drew it to death, right? Can't I learn the spiritualization technique? Kushina put her hands on her hips, with a little more arrogance in her tone. Xiao Yuchen was keenly aware of this change, so he changed the subject and said, aren't you angry? It wasn't yesterday that this woman let go of harsh words to him, saying that it was absolutely impossible for him to get her like this. Normally speaking, he was suppressed by himself in the spiritual world last night, so he should not work hard now? How does it feel like that's not the case at all? Is it the right way? Angry? It's already been born. Kushina lowered her head, she was obviously a spirit body but her ears were very red. The scenery that night that Xiao Yuchen showed her was a beauty that she had never seen before, even beyond her imagination. During this journey, she gained a lot of knowledge, and it was the first time that she knew that viewing scenery can be viewed from so many angles, and so many auxiliary tools can be used. Since you know that with me last night, then what are you going to do? Kushina raised his head and stared at Zhou Chen closely. Originally, she planned to regard what happened at night as a dream. Formally speaking, this is just a dream based on reality. If you are nostalgic, then just find a chance to dream with Xiao Yuchen in the future. But who knew, Xiao Yuchen suddenly woke up and knew everything. Then she has to face it and make a decision. How about what? Xiao Yuchen raised his eyebrows. Kushina's performance was completely different from what he had imagined. Shouldn't we die with him? Try again. Mrs. Kushina, I still remember what you said to me last night. It's vivid in my eyes. Don't worry, even if you inspect me in my dream, I will definitely not break my promise. No, I think so, you can actually try to break your promise, come on nigh. Kushina raised her hand, said thumb, index finger and middle finger together, gesture lightly. This appearance looks kind of indescribably cute. That won't work. Xiao Yuchen suppressed a smile, and said seriously, I am a person who wants to save face. I was told not to wishful thinking before I showed any performance. How could I persist? Shouldn't men be shameless? Kushina took another approach. That's not a dog licking anymore. I refuse. Xiao Yuchen said solemnly, Madam, lonely man and widow, I am not suitable for you to be at home, please leave immediately. No, Kushina said urgently, we have to make things clear now. Madam, please respect yourself. Self-respect. No, why didn't you say self-respect when you treated me like that in the dream? Kushina was out of breath. What is that like? Xiao Yuchen pretended to be at a loss. What do you mean? Kushina floated up and exclaimed angrily, don't you want to be responsible? Responsible? Xiao Yuchen found it funny. You Kushina want to be with me now, were you playing hard to get? Responsible? Did I do anything? Xiao Yuchen spread his hands together, we are innocent. You. Kushina panted heavily, then suddenly smiled and said, Mr. Yuchen, I can apologize for what happened last night. Then tell me. Kushina. Why don't you play your cards according to the routine? Shouldn't you go downhill at this time? But what's with the weird feeling? I didn't apologize enough last night, didn't I? Kushina rolled her eyes lightly. And this expression, coupled with what she said at the moment, Xiao Yuchen suddenly felt his thighs sink. Last night, I took Kushina to tour the beautiful scenery of Kyushu. He was responsible for driving the whole time, and he has been racing after getting on the expressway. As a ninja native, Kushina has never experienced this kind of otherworld stuff. Every time he increases the speed to the top, Kushina will get motion sickness and fall asleep for a while. Apologizing is not enough. Xiao Yuchen said seriously, it depends on your next performance. He figured it out. For some reason unknown to him, Kushina seemed to have changed her attitude towards him. The guess may be related to the diary, but it may also be related to the experience in the dream last night. But no matter what the reason is, now he is the one who can handle it. That must let Kushina experience what is called husband chasing crematorium. He is very vengeful. If you perform well, you must perform well. Seeing that Xiao Yuchen let go, Kushina suddenly felt that he was doing well again, and he revived with blood. But don't give me a high profile, or I will kill you when the time comes. Xiao Yuchen. Are you serious? So, the method of your resurrection is spiritualization technique? Xiao Yuchen suddenly chatted about the business. He was curious about Kushina's resurrection method for a day. Yeah. Kushina nodded. Azuki Shion told her yesterday that for the time being, Xiao Yuchen cannot be aware that the diary will be seen by others, because he is not sure what the consequences will be if he knows it. In case it will cause harm to them or Xiao Yuchen, it will not be a good result, so some things should be properly concealed first. Therefore, she can only push the matter of resurrection to the spiritualization technique now. You can use spiritualization technique. How did you manage to cast 2-4 Red Yang formation? Xiao Yuchen asked curiously. Kushina was left chakra in the 8-sign seal, not so much it seems. I don't know about that. Kushina, who can't lie, scratched her head and said, I feel like I can't run out of chakra. Maybe it's because of 9 tails. Hearing this, Xiao Yuchen didn't know if he believed it, so he nodded and didn't ask any more questions. So, Xiao Yuchen and Kushina chatted one after another. But in fact, he was digesting the extra information in his mind. The source of the information is the first shadow clone he sent to Kauran village, responsible for investigating the situation of Xionglan, and if the situation is okay, it will be responsible for protecting it secretly. As a result, the shadow clone brought back the news that he used the Flying Thunder God once when he left Kusanagi village, and then spent 6 hours on the road, and used the Flying Thunder God twice more on the border of the Fire Nation. Phosphorus and Phosphorus's mother, Makana, were brought safely to the land of fire. Feeling that the amount of remaining chakra is not much, the shadow clone took out a map and some money and handed it to Mikanai, and said, the next road, you go on your own, you can come to Konoha village to find me, or you can find a land Fangyin residence. Mikana took the things and gave another big gift to Xiao Yuchen, and then said, if you don't mind, Mikana wants to bring Kaorin to Konoha village to find you and become your servant. I just ask you to provide Kaorin with one environment in which to grow up. Let's talk about it when you get to Konoha. Xiao Yuchen smiled noncommittally, and prepared to cancel the shadow clone status and send the information back to the main body. But at this moment, Mikana suddenly asked, my lord, is it because you don't have enough chakra? That's right. Xiao Yuchen nodded. If you don't mind, you can bite the skin of Xionglan to restore chakra. Mikana hesitated and said. And Xionglan also cooperated very well, and raised her slender, white, smooth wrist without the slightest mark in front of Xiao Yuchen. During the whole process, her gaze never left Xiao Yuchen's face. She had a sickly flush on her face. If you can add chakra through you, do you think I won't say it? Xiao Yuchen laughed and shook his head. Shadow clone can be visually understood as a perfect replica of a human balloon in equal proportions, and the gas in it can be understood as chakra. The process of consuming chakra is the process of gas leakage after the balloon is punctured. Even if you can absorb the natural chakra into sage mode, it will not change this situation. Because the essence of Xianju is to combine the existing chakra to become a stronger Xianju chakra, not to supplement. Can't shadow clone supplement chakra? Mikana was taken aback. Yes, but the source must be ontology, Xiao Yuchen explained. If shadow clone's chakra can be replenished by itself in other ways, wouldn't it be a mess? At that time, shadow clone will not be shadow clone, but the separated brothers. It is impossible for Senju Tobarama to leave this hidden. I see. Mikana nodded suddenly, then hesitated and said, my lord, can you please protect us for a while? What are you going to do? Xiao Yuchen wondered. I need aroma to help me recover more chakra and heal more injuries, Mikuna replied. Can phosphorus do it? At first, I thought it was impossible. Mikuna smiled, but this kid is beyond my imagination. After finishing speaking, she turned her head to look at Xianglin, but saw that the child was still focused on Xiao Yuchen. Xianglin. Mika Nai called again. What's the matter, Mom? Xianglin turned her head silly. For a moment Mikuna didn't know what to say. I am afraid that my daughter will fall into the hands of this adult for the rest of her life. But this adult is very good, and chakra is also very warm, so she should be able to protect Xianglin well, so she doesn't need to worry about it. Help Mom recover. Mikuna said gently. Xianglin immediately raised his hand. Then, Xiao Yuchen saw a scene that shocked him. Almost half an hour later, Mikuna's hair color had completely returned to its bright red state, her complexion had also become ruddy, and some teeth marks on her body had greatly faded, almost disappearing. And Xianglin, who helped Mikuna recover, did not show pain during the whole process except for the initial yell, and seemed to be able to handle it with ease. This is completely inconsistent with the situation in his impression. Uzumaki Shangdao also turned out to be wrong. This Uzumaki family is so weird. After digesting the information, Xiao Yuchen looked at the chattering Kushina and fell into deep thought. This woman is actually a talkative talker, can you believe it? After a while, he said, Kushina, if you don't return to the seal to supplement Chuck. Pull. Maybe I have to go to the Pure Land. Come on Nai. Kushina noticed that his spirit body had almost disappeared, and immediately flew out after a loud cry. Looking at her hurried back, Xiao Yuchen felt a little cute. By the way, the first car I drove in Ninja World was actually a soul car. As expected of a world with extraordinary power, the way of driving is so unexpected, the previous world didn't even exist. Who can understand this feeling? After sighing a few words, he took out his diary as usual and started to write after thinking. Shocked. Kushina can actually become a spirit technique. Lu. Seeing this message, the girls holding a copy of the diary immediately guessed that this was the reward Ju Xinchen got last night. In the land of fire, in a town not far from Konoha. Sunade, who was having breakfast, looked at the words spiritualization technique and fell into deep thought. Seeing this, Shizune immediately said, Master Sunade, now that we know so many ways to revive, maybe. Shizune. Before Shizune could speak, Sunade suddenly asked earnestly, tell me, is there any conspiracy in the matter of constantly pursuing me? Shizune. Master Sunade, you. Shizune didn't know how to answer when he heard Sunade's serious question. In terms of blood, Kato Dan is her uncle, but because her biological father died early, and the Kato family is just a small family, she is not worthy of having a surname as a mere woman. But in her heart, she has always been grateful to this uncle, whom she hadn't seen much since childhood, because it was his relationship with uncle that allowed her to be accepted as an apprentice by Sunade. You must know that Sunade was the #1 existence in the ninja world in all aspects at that time and even now, and she is admired by countless female ninjas, and she is no exception. She was a mediocre girl, and she was accepted by Sunade as a disciple. I don't know how many people envied her, but she was all because of uncle. This will suddenly make Sunade suspicious of Kato Dan, and she can't speak ill of him no matter it's out of blood relationship or gratitude. And if Kato Dan is the problem, isn't she? Don't worry, I don't doubt whether Kato Dan is sincere to me, I still have this confidence. I will not doubt you because of this. Seeing Shizune's nervous look, Sunade smiled and said, just after learning about the incident between Kushina and Minato last night, I began to wonder if there might be an old man in it, or that Konoha no Yusuko. Regarding the fact that Kushina became the new Jinchuriki, only Sarutobi Hiruzen knew about it at first, even Sanin didn't tell it. However, after Kushina arrived in Konoha, he lived in the Senju family, and Uzumaki Mido personally taught and taught, Sunade can actually guess some. But even she didn't know that Kushina was arrested, let alone Namikaze Minato's hero saving the beauty incident. She only knew that Kushina, who was originally displeased with Namikaze Minato, suddenly changed her attitude like an illusion. Big change. But she didn't think much about it at the time. After all, Namikaze Minato was good enough, and she was also a disciple of her companion Jiraiya. But now that Xiao Yuchen mentioned it in her diary, she can be sure that this is the handwriting of Sarutobi Hiruzen. And even Kushina and Namikaze Minato have to calculate, she doesn't think there will be an exception for her political disciple. This, Master Third Generation, isn't it? Shizune followed Sunade's train of thought and analyzed. Master Sunade, you are not a person with a desire for power. Take care of chores. If Lord Third Generation is really so reluctant to let go of his power, he would definitely prefer to let you become the 4th Hokage, to control himself behind the scenes, and to help you deal with things he doesn't like. I have to say that Shizune deserves to be the best secretary for Sunade to help the 5th Hokage handle various things in an orderly manner after he becomes 5th Hokage, and he has a clear vision of things. Not only does Sunade dislike chores, but he also has to work part-time at the ninja hospital, plus regular and uncontrolled gambling to send money to the casino. Shizune's work is even more tiring than Hokage's. I am afraid that only Senju Tobirama, who has already started to manage government affairs when Dazuzi was Hokage, can compare. To put it bluntly, both Tsunade and Hashirama are holding back, but the latter at least has absolute strength. You analyze a lot. Shizune's words made Tsunade feel right to discuss this matter with her. Doesn't this remove the suspicion of the old monkey in this matter? Otherwise, she was really afraid that the first thing she would do when returning to Konoha would be to pat the table. Actually, I'm also suspicious of Danzo. Tsunade said in a deep voice. Yuchen once mentioned in his diary that Danzo was studying the power of Grandpa and had transplanted it into his arm. As a direct descendant of my great-grandfather, Nawaki, who is most likely to have the Wood-style blood succession limit, is a good research object. Yuchen also mentioned in his diary that the internal organs were emptied after Nawaki's death, which was too weird. I was too sad at the time, so I didn't think much about it, but now it seems that it is probably true. Saying that, Tsunade clenched his hands tightly. Once, she just hated Sarutobi Hiruzen and Danzo's politics, and that's why she left Konoha sadly, gambling to numb herself. But after thinking that all the sacred trees died under such filth, she couldn't bear it. If Danzo had not been dealt with by Kushina, she would never let it go. I also remember this piece of information. Seeing that Tsunade still trusted him so much, Shizune breathed a sigh of relief, and said, although Yuchen just wrote a sentence in the diary, I was very impressed. Researching the power of adults in the first generation project is only part of the reason. The most important thing is to hit you, so that you don't have the heart to compete for Hokage. At that time, Tsunade was too dazzling. His strength and record are only slightly inferior to that of Muyi Baya, but he also had the name of Sanin in the early days of World War E. Later, he saved countless ninjas through medical ninjutsu, and accumulated a higher reputation with one hand. Coupled with the identity of the granddaughter of first generation and second Hokage, and the identity of third Hokage's disciple, the grandma Uzumaki Mito is still alive, she has all the best conditions to become Hokage. If Danzo had any idea about the position of Hokage, the first one would naturally be aimed at her. But Danzo is plotting against you secretly. Why do you suspect that there is a conspiracy in my uncle chasing you? Shizune asked, puzzled. This problem must be solved today, otherwise she will be very preoccupied. There is something that you don't know. Tsunade picked up the teacup and said, after you died, it was the third generation who gave me your information and made me decide to accept you as an apprentice. At that time, he also told me one thing, that is, the Kato family was attached to the Shimura family before joining Konoha, and they have been holding fire together since joining. At the time I didn't know what that meant, but now. Boom. Shizune only felt a thunderbolt in his mind. She didn't expect that there was such a relationship between the Kato family and the Shimura family. It's hard to say what was involved, no wonder Tsunade began to doubt Kato Dan. It's really not the sequelae of Xiao Yuchen's diary after reading too much. Master Tsunade, I don't know about this. Shizune was the first to be faithful. Why are you nervous? Tsunade smiled heartily. After the end of World War E, I took you as an apprentice. It has been almost 20 years now, and you have been wandering around the ninja world with me for more than 10 years. Don't I understand? As he spoke, Tsunade stretched out his hand to embrace Shizune, rubbed her hair and said, if you can't even trust you, then who else can I trust in this ninja world? Woo woo woo. Shizune wanted to say something, but couldn't speak at all, and felt that it was becoming difficult for him to breathe. She swears in her heart that their relationship is really good, so good that she can measure the size with her own hands. Master Tsunade, you can still trust Mr. Yuchen. Shizune, who finally broke free from the bondage, took a deep breath and said with a red face. He? Thinking of the existence of the diary, Tsunade realized that he was indeed a special person. But thinking of her current age, she couldn't help curling her lips and said, it's just a brat, he is worthy of my Tsunade-ji's trust? Hearing this, Shizune thought to himself. She does know Tsunade, so knows a lot of Tsunade's habits. Calling herself Tsunade-ji is a sign of Tsunade's lack of confidence, tisk tisk tisk. However, she dare not say these thoughts, otherwise she will accept the punishment of summoning bear. Ahem. Master Tsunade, can you tell me the details of your relationship with my uncle? Shizune boldly asked. When Kato Dan died, she was only 5 years old and had just entered the ninja school. She didn't have much impression of the uncle, let alone the relationship between uncle and Tsunade. It was only when she grew up that she knew the reason why Sunade accepted her as an apprentice, but she didn't have the guts to learn the details of 8 trigrams. But now, Kato Dan's pursuit of Sunade has something to do with conspiracy, so she has to ask. Details? Sunade's eyes showed nostalgia. He rubbed his eyebrows and said, actually, there are no details. Shizune. I kept pursuing me during the Second Ninja World War. At that time, I always suggested that the village system cultivate medical ninjas, and even turn medical ninjas into squad standing, that is, establish a medical ninja system. But due to the war at that time and the shortage of funds, the old man of 3rd generation rejected my request. Later Nawaki died in battle. After seeing his body, I started to have mild symptoms of hemphobia, and I just endured it because of the anxiety of fighting. At that time, I proposed to the old man of 3rd generation again, hoping to establish a medical team to avoid tragedies like Nawaki, but it was rejected again, which disappointed me. During that time, Duan had been chasing me, asking for my health in various ways, and even joined the medical ninja team to help and support me. Naturally, I had a good impression of him. At that time, we also agreed that he would become Hokage in the future and fully support me in establishing a medical ninja system, and I will be with him after my wish is fulfilled. Hearing this, Shizune widened his eyes and hurriedly said, wait a minute, Master Sunade. What's wrong? Sunade wondered. I have 2 questions. Shizune wondered, didn't you get together with uncle? What do you think of me? Sunade said angrily, I'm Sunade, one of the Sanin. How could I be chased by men casually, and Nawaki had just died at that time. World War E was raging, and I had no skills at all. Do you think I will fall in love at this time? No one with a little brain would believe this kind of thing. She, Sunade, has had so many suitors since she was a child, so she can't be so stupid. Then why are there so many people saying, so many people thinking? Shizune was puzzled. She didn't doubt Sunade's words, because this time she claimed to be Sanin. Although the title of Sanin was bestowed by Hanzo, it was actually somewhat humiliating. But as it continues to build on its legacy in World War E, Sanin stands for honor. For Sunade, this is the only thing she has worked hard for, so take it to heart. It's not that self-righteous idiot spreading rumors outside. Sunade put down his glass heavily, looking angry. As soon as the word idiot came out, Shizune understood it in seconds. Master Jiraiya, indeed it's not easy for Shizune to speak ill of Sanin either. Sunade sneered, and continued. Later, Duan sacrificed himself while performing a mission with me, and I blamed myself, so I accepted you as an apprentice, but in the end, many people believed this ridiculous rumor. But they are all dead, and I don't bother to argue. Shizune nodded to express his understanding, and then asked, second question, Uncle often tells you, Master Sunade, that he wants to become a Hokage, and will he support your words after becoming a Hokage? Yeah. Sunade nodded. This is an agreement. I also talked to Orochimaru. Shizune. Kato Dan died unjustly. Master Sunade, after listening to the whole process, I think Uncle Kato Dan approaching you should be a conspiracy, and he himself is not pure, Shizune said seriously. Compared with Uncle, who has not met a few times and is only somewhat related by blood, she thinks she is more inclined to live with her master Sunade, who has lived together for almost 20 years and is no different from half a mother. Sunade's eyes suddenly became sharp. What? Explain. Meanwhile, the other side. Xiao Yuchen didn't know that his random words caused Sunade and Shizune to start conspiracy theories. He continued to record in his diary. The women of the Uzumaki clan are really extraordinary. Kushina is also spicy enough to make me linger and have endless aftertaste. HMPH, man, you say no, but you were quite honest in your heart. Kushina, who had just returned to the sealed space, smiled triumphantly when she saw this sentence. Little man, why don't you come under my doctor's skirt? But the next moment, her smile froze. Just because she received 2 private messages. Azuki Shien, Sr., what are you doing? Uchiha Makoto, did you steal someone outside? Pure Land World. Uchiha Makoto saw the latest content written by Xiao Yuchen in the diary, and fell into long meditation. I didn't expect that Kushina would do such a thing. If it is a young little sister, she may not be able to understand the meaning of the words immediately, but as someone who has experienced it, Makoto knows exactly what Xiao Yuchen is talking about. Kushina actually had an improper relationship with Xiao Yuchen. But how is it possible? Uchiha Makoto couldn't believe it. As Kushina's best friend, she knew a long time ago that Kushina is a very courageous person, and she does not exaggerate anything, such as resurrecting and killing Shimura Danzo. But among these things, betrayal of feelings is absolutely not included. Although Kushina is bold, sunny, carefree, careless, but because of Kagura's mind, she knows who to keep and what distance to keep. Once, Kushina told her about her experience with Namikaze Minato, which is also the point she has always envied each other the most. Not self-deprecating, she felt that she was more likely to do such a thing than Kushina. Because from the time she can remember, she already knew what the future would be like, and immediately married Uchiha Fugaku when she became an adult, and became the glorious wife of the patriarch of the Uchiha clan, making contributions to the family inheritance, and outsiders are envious and awed. Her words and deeds, her preferences and behaviors, all have strict and rigid requirements. No one asked her if she was willing, and no one cared if she was willing. Those people only asked her. In this environment, she has always had a rebellious heart to commit crimes, but she restrained herself due to various reasons. Unexpectedly, Ju Zintai actually took this taboo step. Is it because Yuchen revealed that the kidnapping was a conspiracy by Sarutobi Hiruzen? But in this matter, Namikaze Minato's mistake is at most guessing the truth after the fact and not telling her. She wouldn't give Namikaze Minato a hat just because of this. Makoto couldn't guess what kind of mentality Kushina had in doing this. Strong curiosity prompted her to directly send a message to inquire, even though the plastic girlfriend relationship between the two has been broken. Uzumaki Kushina. What is stealing? Don't say it so harshly, I am above board and upright. Uchiha Makoto. Upright? Are you divorced from Namikaze Minato? Uzumaki Kushina. I can be regarded as looking for a widow, and I have met the soul of Namikaze Minato in advance, and I have made it clear to him. Kushina thought, unilaterally declaring the end, is it also the end? Anyway, Namikaze Minato is dead, and he cannot be resurrected for divorce. But Makoto misunderstood her meaning. Uchiha Makoto. What? You were dating Xiao Yuchen, and you actually told Namikaze Minato in advance? Kushina, I didn't expect you to be such a cruel woman. Uzumaki Kushina. Uchiha Makoto. Why didn't I know you had a serious brain disease before? Uzumaki Kushina. I made a clear separation with the soul of Namikaze Minato, and then I had some misunderstandings with Yuchen as a free person, okay? Damn it. Xiao Yuchen. It was hard to speak to Makoto, but Kushina sulked alone in the sealed space. She felt silly for forgetting that this guy might have mentioned something in the diary. Well now, at least 5 people in Konoha village alone know about it. She walks out later and holds her head up as a human being? Uchiha Makoto. Cough. This is because you didn't make it clear. Makoto felt guilty. Indeed, for normal people to understand, it should be Kushina and Namikaze Minato who should make a clear separation first, and then come together with Xiao Yuchen later. But how could she have thought that Kushina went to inform Namikaze Minato first, and then what happened with Xiao Yuchen? Uchiha Makoto. But you and Namikaze Minato separated and ended too simply, right? Makoto changed the subject decisively. Uzumaki Kushina. Simply? That's because you don't know everything. Afterwards, Kushina told Namikaze Minato's attitude towards what happened to Naruto, and his tolerance towards the old man of 3rd generation. After reading it, Makoto was stunned. This matter cannot be said about who is right and who is wrong. Instead, it is the same as what Kushina said, and it belongs to the opposition of the 3 viewpoints. But this kind of conflict, for Kushina personally, is also the most unacceptable place, which is the reverse scale and the bottom line. Coupled with the fact that everything started with a conspiracy and was deceived by the conspiracy, it is normal for Kushina to choose to separate. If it was her instead, then most likely, I will choose to forgive. Makoto let out a self-deprecating laugh. She couldn't help thinking of the picture of Fugaku bringing her to fulfill Uchiha Itachi together. The patriarch of the dignified Uchiha clan didn't want to find a way out for the family masters, so he was killed by his neck. The arrogance of the Uchiha clan who would rather die standing than live on their knees has been forgotten. The most ridiculous thing is that the ending of the Uchiha clan is to be completely wiped out, leaving only Sasuke alone. However, there was no disturbance in her heart, because her life as a puppet suppressed her. It was also a relief to be killed by Uchiha Itachi. But if Kushina was replaced by her in this matter, Itachi would slap him at the moment he entered the house with a knife, and then scolded. Your brain is broken, our house is for you to wear, drink for you, and practice for you, gave you status and resources, but you went abroad to study, and heard people say that the village is not safe because your family is eager to be superior, so you wiped out the whole family? You idiot, I really regret giving birth to you. This is the biggest difference between her and Kushina. Uchiha Makoto. It is understandable that you are separated from Namikaze Minato, but how could you get together with Yuchen so quickly? This does not fit the image of you in my heart. Uzumaki Kushina. You think I think so fast, not because Yuchen is too good. Uchiha Makoto. Uzumaki Kushina. You don't understand even if you tell me. Uchiha Makoto. If you don't tell me, how do you know I don't understand? Uzumaki Kushina. If I say you don't understand, you definitely don't. Uchiha Makoto. I don't believe it, tell me if you have one. Uzumaki Kushina. Don't want me to help you show your presence in front of Mr. Yuchen? Uchiha Makoto. Sister, I was wrong. Uzumaki Kushina. Be good, don't inquire about my sister's affairs. Uchiha Makoto. I bear it, there must be a time when you regret it in the future. Call. In the sealed space, Makoto finally stopped asking. Kushina finally breathed a sigh of relief. She is a person who cares about face, so she can't say that she wanted to play pranks on Xiao Yuchen's dream after getting the spiritualization technique, but she was punished instead, right? The crushing at the physical level, the control of the fame of the illusion, and various escapism. Even if she is from the Uzumaki clan, she couldn't resist. This night was destined to be etched into her soul. HMPH, it must be because I am in a spirit state. If I still have the body of the Uzumaki clan, I will definitely not lose. Kushina secretly made up her mind that she must teach Xiao Yuchen a lesson in the future. Kushina, not admitting defeat. But then, she began to worry again. On Uchiha Makoto's side, she was easy to handle, but on Azuki Shien's side, she didn't know how to answer. To be honest, it would definitely not work for me to be forced to drive overnight to see the scenery, but she is not good at deceiving people, and Azuki Shien seems to be very smart. It doesn't matter, let's not answer for now. Kushina decided to play badly. She sat cross-legged and absorbed the Nine Tails chakra transformed by the seal. Soon, she was in a state of meditation. At this time, at Azuki's mansion, Azuki Shien, who has not received a reply, quickly finishes washing, puts on her normal Jonin attire, and prepares to find Xiao Yuchen with a samurai sword on her back. If she wants to deepen her relationship with Yuchen, she only needs to carry out the competition as agreed, and then she can go smoothly. But when he opened the door, he found that Moonlight Gale was standing there just about to knock on the door. Jifeng Jun, what's the matter with you? Azuki Shien asked. Shi Yan. Yu Guang Gaifeng saw Azuki Shi Yan's attire at this time, and said pleasantly, have you quit Anbu? The identities of Hokage Anbu members are kept secret, and according to regulations, private contact with people should be avoided as much as possible. That is to say, it is now an era of peace, and Moonlight Hayate once joined Anbu by virtue of his special ability, so Sarutobi Hiruzen turned a blind eye to him. But if you want to chase people, it will still increase many difficulties. But Maoyue Xian's identity has changed, so that's not necessarily the case. And Yu Guang Gaifeng felt that this should be Azuki Xian's response to him. Well, I have returned to my normal identity. Azuki Xian nodded. Moonlight Gale immediately asked. Then before you were dispatched to a certain team to direct Jonin, you should have some time off. Now, can we practice swords together? Yu Guang Haifeng believes that Azuki Xian will never refuse. But the next moment, his smile froze on his face. Mr. Haifeng, please don't invite me to practice swordsmanship in the future. I won't be rewarded for nothing. Uyue Xian said seriously. I know that you have feelings for me, but I refuse. Why? Yu Guang Gaifeng was puzzled, he always felt that he was very organic. I'm not interested in you. Azuki Xian said seriously. You don't need to waste time on me. You haven't tried to get along. How do you know that we are not suitable? Moonlight Gale still refused to give up. After all, there are not many such beautiful beauties in the entire ninja world, and he happened to have a chance to catch them. Master Hokage arranged a marriage for me, and I did not refuse. Azuki Xian gave the pot to Sarutobi Hiruzen. Moonlight Gale is too entangled, it will cause unnecessary trouble, she must get rid of it. But to be honest, it's because of Xiao Yuchen, wouldn't that be using the ladder as a shield? Although Moonlight Gale is nothing in front of Xiao Yuchen, Azuki Xian instinctively thinks that she shouldn't do such a thing. So, Sarutobi Hiruzen is the best excuse. Does Moonlight Gale dare to question third Hokage? Sure enough, Yu Guang Gale only felt a thunderbolt from the blue sky, and his whole body was shocked. But he didn't intend to ask Sarutobi Hiruzen at all. Mr. Haifeng, you will meet someone who is really suitable for you, so go ahead and live your life. After saying a scene, Azuki Xian locked the door and left on her own. After she left for a while, there was suddenly blazing heat and hatred in Kai Guang Haifeng's eyes. Xian is still thinking about me, she must be interested in me, but because of the third generation, no, the old guy Sarutobi dare not resist the order. Sarutobi, the feud of taking your wife is irreconcilable. Moonlight Gale made a certain decision, and his body suddenly became transparent, sneaking into the ground and disappearing. At the same time, on the roof of a restaurant in a small town in the Land of Fire, Shizune said his analysis to Sunade. Master Sunade, we assume that Kato Dan's pursuit of you is Shimura Danzo's conspiracy, so what is his purpose in pursuing you? In my humble opinion, either you want to do something to weaken your competitive advantage in Hokage, or make friends with your future Hokage in advance. Without waiting for Sunade to answer, Shizune continued. I personally think the former is more likely, otherwise Kato Dan would not die tragically in the end. Besides, Kato Dan himself is definitely not innocent to you. The problem is his promise to you. What does it mean that he will fully support your healthcare reform plan after he becomes Hokage? Can't you compete to become Hokage yourself? Or, at that time, who was more qualified than you? Kato Dan is constantly using this method to give you a deeper understanding that it is best for you to become a Hokage, thereby reducing your willingness to become a Hokage and getting rid of your rivalry. More than that, after making an agreement with you, you will spare no effort to support him and let him add more competition to become Hokage's weight. Combined with the merits he made on the battlefield with the spirit technique, and the prestige accumulated with your treatment of the wounded, it can be said that he is the best candidate for Hokage after World War E. Even Mu Yibaya can't compare with him. And this is also destined that Danzo can no longer tolerate him, and will definitely send someone to get rid of him. That's why he was still killed when he acted with you in the rear, and when he was protected by multiple people while using the spiritualization technique, he died so miserably. Master Sunade, Kato Dan is completely using you. Shizune spoke out his own analysis in one go, and the faster he spoke, the smoother he spoke. All information can eventually be logically self-consistent. And that means, this is the truth. Obviously, this is the story of Danzo sending his own dog to plot against Sunade, but the dog had the idea of taking the opportunity to become independent, but was eventually beaten to death by the owner. Sunade. Is the old lady so miserable? Walk. After a long silence, Sunade beckoned Shizune to go again. She wants to go back to Konoha, and she has to find a way to prove it to Xiao Yuchen. Otherwise, as a tool person throughout the whole process, she is so pitiful that she wants to sympathize with herself. Meanwhile, inside Konoha village, Xiao Yuchen didn't know the match between Sunade and Shizune, otherwise it would be exciting. There are traces of Uzumaki Kushina being plotted against, so he just talked about it. But he is not clear about the situation between Duan and Sunade. Who would have thought that Shizune would go straight to Gai Rui's audience? But at this moment, what he is going through now is just as exciting. A girl wearing a yellow kimono with white eyes suddenly fell from the sky and appeared in front of him. The woman also had a look of surprise when she saw her. But immediately after that, they cheered in surprise. Brother-in-law. Brother-in-law? Xiao Yuchen was stunned. If I remember correctly, this girl seems to be the grown-up Hyuga Hanabi. So, he will take Hinata as his wife in the future, 5? Etc. Xiao Yuchen is not surprised that he will marry Hinata in the future. Hinata is weirdly shy towards him, and if he can't win, he will pretend to be the #1 fish breeder in the entertainment industry. But he suddenly realized that now is not the time to think about it. The real concern now is why Hyuga Hanabi, who looks to be about 20 years old, is here. Sharingan, Carpenter. Xiao Yuchen directly opened the Sharingan, and at the same time had already held a flying thunder god kunai in his hand. If it is determined that the Hanabi in front of him is an illusion or someone is pretending, he will immediately get rid of him. 3 Tomo Sharingan. Seeing Xiao Yuchen's eyes, Hanabi couldn't help being taken aback, and subconsciously wondered. Why does brother-in-law have Sharingan? Shouldn't it be Tensigan? Xiao Yuchen. I am so hung up in the future, there is actually a Tensigan? No, knowing the plot, it would be strange if he couldn't get Tensigan. What's more, he has a diary. Maybe tomorrow he will directly have the fruit of the divine tree as a reward. Oh, I'm stupid. Hanabi hammered his head, stuck out his tongue and said, forget that the present is in the past, brother-in-law, you haven't obtained the Tensigan yet. Hearing the words of, Xiao Yuchen asked, Hanabi, how did you come back from the future? The 3 Tomo Sharingan is on, and he can be sure that the Hanabi in front of him is not an illusion or someone transformed. Speaking of which, his pair of 3 hooked jade is the castrated version that was given by the magic shackles. It only has the ability of illusion, and does not have the effect of copying and increasing insight. But he doesn't care, anyway, it's a whore for nothing. Brother-in-law. How do you know I'm Hanabi? Hyuga Hanabi showed a surprised expression, but there was secret joy in her pure white eyes. She didn't expect that Xiao Yuchen could recognize her future self. She looks much better now than when she was a child, and she has a much better figure. At the same time, a bold idea suddenly appeared in her heart. Maybe she could be with Xiao Yuchen now. Then wait until the future. Maybe you don't have to worry about Hinata's thoughts anymore. It's just that if she does this, will my sister become a sister-in-law? But rashly changing the past should affect the future, right? Hyuga Hanabi was confused for a moment. Guess. Xiao Yuchen said solemnly. You just said that you were from the future, and you really appeared in front of me out of thin air, and I can't even find out the fluctuations in time and space. You called me brother-in-law again, you have a pair of white eyes, and I know that little girl Hinata is interested in me, and it's normal to be with me in the future. Based on the above, I guess you are Hinata's younger sister, Hyuga Hanabi. Brother-in-law, you are so smart. Hyuga Hanabi's eyes immediately showed admiration, and he put his hands on his knees and said, Brother-in-law, I am indeed Hanabi, and I am Konoha from 10 years later. As for the reason why I'm here, it's because. Snapped. Just when Hyuga Hanabi was speaking critically, a colorful bubble suddenly appeared around her body, blocking her voice. At the same time, a black crack appeared, and a slender and beautiful hand stretched out from it, resting on Hanabi's ear. Hanabi turned around and took a look, his expression suddenly became depressed and frightened, and then he turned his head and shouted at Xiao Yuchen. But her voice couldn't come out from the bubble, and the colored bubble began to shrink rapidly. Seeing this, Xiao Yuchen quickly threw out a flying thunder god kunai. Shua. After entering the colored bubble, kunai suddenly disappeared, and then suddenly appeared again, falling to the floor in front of Xiao Yuchen's feet. Xiao Yuchen didn't make any more random moves, and watched the colored bubbles disappear. Sister, minimum, sister, you are no longer that gentle sister. In a colorful tunnel, Hyuga Hanabi's eyes are pleading. Beside her, a woman who was about half a head taller than her, who was probably a head taller than him when she lay down, said angrily, It's still light for me to pinch your ears. What did you plan to do just now? The woman was wearing a black one-piece long dress, with only her neck and ankles exposed, and her long light purple hair draped over her shoulders. The exquisite facial features make people feel relaxed and happy, but the most attractive thing is the pair of purple eyes shrouded in halo, which brings a sense of oppression. If Xiao Yuchen were here, he would definitely recognize this woman as the grown-up Hyuga Hinata. No, even he might not be able to recognize it. Because the temperament of the Hyuga Hinata in front of him surpassed the image of any period he knew. I just want my brother-in-law to be careful of those bad guys in the Otsutsuki family, Hanabi argued quietly. Hinata looked at her quietly, and said softly, What can your brother-in-law do to erase their ancestral star and Otsutsuki Shendu for Sister Kaguya? Then that Urashi found the treasure of the Otsutsuki family that can travel through time and space this time. Hanabi felt that Hinata was not cautious enough. Do you think your brother-in-law doesn't know about that kind of thing? Hinata smiled lightly and shook her head, You don't need me to teach you the principle of waiting for a rabbit? Or, do you think your brother-in-law will miscalculate? Nonsense. My brother-in-law has no plans. Hanabi snorted, pouted and said, Forget it, I won't tell you, I'm going back to my brother-in-law and let him feed me with his own hands. After finishing speaking, Hanabi put his hand on a turtle next to him, and stuck out his tongue at Hinata. With a gentle smile, Hinata waved lightly. The next moment, a bright light curtain lit up, and Hanabi was taken away. After leaving, Hyuga Hinata shook his head lightly. Although your brother-in-law dotes on you, but wanting him to feed you is more difficult than asking me to promise you to be together. I want to see how long the two of you can persist in restraint before doing bad things behind my back. A black air appeared in Hinata Purple's eyes. If Xiao Yuchen saw this scene, he would shake his head in surprise and realize that it was a white cut and a black cut. As for why Hinata, the representative of a good wife, has turned into such a dark-bellied look, he has to ask himself. It's time to get down to business. Concentrating his eyes, Hinata turned his head and looked to one side, as if he could penetrate time and space. The next moment, purple chakra suddenly emerged from her whole body, completely covering her body, as if some kind of transformation had taken place. Immediately afterwards, a huge attraction came from her hands. Thorn, the color channel opens a crack. Immediately afterwards, a man with gold eyes, a gold rinnegan on his forehead, multiple black horizontal stripes on his face, and huge horns that looked like bird wings appeared on his head. His feet were obviously lost, and his hands turned into wings. There are also injured humanoid monster birds appearing. Seeing Hinata, he immediately let out an angry roar, The haunted soul lingers. Can't you let us live? You are the ones who linger. Hinata said in a cold voice with a sacred radiance on his surface, Time cannot be stepped on, and the past cannot be changed. Otsutsuki Urashiki, let's fall. The powerful force erupted, bringing about a shocking battle. Zhao Chen didn't know about all this. As a qualified and capable actor, he knows some lip language. At this time, he was remembering Hyuga Hanabi's mouth shape, so as to know what he said. As for the reason why I appear here, it is because of the treasure of the Otsutsuki clan, the plow. Xiao Yuchen translated the first sentence first. This did not surprise him. According to the information he knows, there have been 2 time-traveling events in the ninja world. The first time was when Uzumaki Naruto tracked the rebellious centipede and arrived at the ruins of the ancient country of Lulan in the desert. After the centipede broke the seal that Namikaze Minato once placed on the underground dragon veins of Lulan, he traveled to the past with Naruto. Naruto therefore meets Namikaze Minato, who has not yet become 4th Hokage. The second time was when 3 people from Otsutsuki Kagaya came to Earth to look for her. Among them, after learning of the existence of Jinchuriki, Otsutsuki Kagaya planned to recover the chakra in Jinchuriki's body and replant the sacred tree to harvest the fruit of the sacred tree. For this reason, he even used the treasure, plow, left by the Otsutsuki family in the ocean of the earth for some reason, to travel back in time and space to try to capture the 9 tails Chuck eyelid on the boy Naruto. Of these 2 traversal methods, when the former uses dragon veins to travel back, the location will be limited to the ancient country of Lulan, so it cannot be the method for Hanabi to return. The positioning of the second method is random, and the time point is not easy to limit. Judging from Hanabi's performance, it is very possible. Be careful, Otsutsuki, they will go back in time and kill you. There is still, to treat Hanabi better, it is best to settle the marriage as soon as possible. After another 2 sentences were translated, Xiao Chen's expression became strange. There is nothing wrong with the previous sentence. Otsutsuki Urashiki can think of going back to Chakra, who snatched Naruto's body 20 years ago through plow. In this world where he exists, some changes are normal. Judging from the fact that someone from the Otsutsuki clan will cross time to kill him, he has a lot to do in the future. Why is it a bit like the Emperor Wangtian? Because it's considered a touch of porcelain. Xiao Yuchen thought a little funny, but what he found the funniest was Hanabi's last request. She actually asked him to arrange the marriage in advance. Based on this, it is speculated that Hanabi will fall in love with him in the future. It seems that the hand protruding from the crack should belong to the future Hinata. Xiao Yuchen found this experience very interesting. After thinking about it, he wrote a line in his diary. The Otsutsuki clan actually wants to cross time to kill me. What should I do? I'm in a hurry. Boom. In the initial ball space, Otsutsuki Kagaya, who was secretly breaking the moon seal, showed a terrified expression. The Otsutsuki clan, across time, boom. A huge energy storm was set off in the space of the first ball. Wangchen Bilangshaka's power appears and disappears from time to time, and the opening in the surrounding space is torn and closed. Through space cracks, you can see a small world with only volcanoes and lava, a small world with only endless glaciers, a small world with rising bubbles, a small world with only sulfuric acid seas, a small world with boundless deserts with the scorching sun hanging high, and a small world where you can feel even at a glance. A small world where eyes become heavy. These small worlds are exactly the 5 spaces created by Kagaya with the heavenly control, the lava hell, the frozen mountains, the sea of sulfuric acid, the endless desert, and the supergravity space, which can be connected with the main space of the original ball space. Originally, these 5 spaces were in a state of being blocked, and even Kagaya could not open the entrance with Wangchen Bilyangsaka, and could only sense it faintly. But now, because she was too emotional, there seemed to be brilliance flowing in the crack between her eyebrows, which actually caused Huang Quan Bilangshaka's power to skyrocket, opening the gap in space again. There is an existence in the family that has the ability to span time, only the ancestor Otsutsuki god. Or, with the lost plow. After an unknown amount of time, Kagaya finally regained his composure, squinting his eyes and meditating. She can be sure that Xiao Yuchen is not lying. Because just now, she felt a trace of higher energy from the same origin pouring into her body. Not surprisingly, this should be someone among the descendants of Yumura who has stepped into the level above 6 paths. Due to the special blood influence such as the ability to swallow and fuse between the white eyes, she has gained a little benefit. That's why when she loses control of her emotions, she can use Wangchen Bilyangsaka to make the 5 dimensions suddenly appear. It's a pity that the descendant didn't appear for a long time, otherwise she would benefit more, and it wouldn't take long for her to break through the moon completely and return to the earth. And that descendant suddenly appeared and disappeared. It was Li Wang who was in time. No matter which one it is, this Xiao Yuchen's future will definitely be extraordinary. A throbbing color appeared in Kaguya's pure white eyes. In the Otsutsuki family, her status is average, and she exists as a guardian of sacrifices. There are many members of the family who look down on her, such as Urashiki and Momoshiki. But these members are not considered powerful in the Otsutsuki clan. And now, Xiao Yuchen can actually force Otsutsuki to hunt him down across timelines, which shows that future achievements are not easy. Perhaps, he can become the object of my concubine's cooperation. Kagaya pondered. Crossing the timeline, erasing the future by beheading the past is really a good way. I hope this Otsutsuki family will not be too inexperienced, otherwise it will be very boring. However, it is time for me to practice seriously and increase my battle experience. Leaving behind a declaration that he decided not to salt fish anymore, Xiao Yuchen moved his body and walked to the bathroom. I played with Kushina for so long last night, the spirit guides the body, so. Draw another map. We must find a real person to release him. At the same time, everywhere in the ninja world, the hearts of the girls holding diaries are not disturbed. What a ghost. The Otsutsuki family, known as the existence of aliens by Xiao Yuchen, they already know a lot about, especially Otsutsuki Kagaya. As for traveling through time and space, they already knew from the diary that this kind of power exists in the ninja world. In theory, these two things look fine together. But when it happened, they were still shocked. The Otsutsuki clan. The future of the ninja world must not be infighting. In a town on the border of the Kingdom of Thunder, Samui lowered his head and pondered for a long time, took out a pen and paper to write a secret letter, and then quickly sent the secret information channel to Cloud Shinobi Village. She wants to use her own way to reverse the thinking of 4th Hokage and others. At the same time, within range Shinobi Village, Konan found Nagato and said, "These are the information about the resurrection that I have investigated recently. I think after we get rid of those two guys, we can take advantage of the situation to hold a meeting, and we will gather specific information on these resurrection methods together." Uzumaki Nagato nodded without hesitation, especially the immortal talisman. Yahiko's body is still there, and the immortal talisman can easily revive him. This can be our next focus. Konan nodded slightly, then said, "I'm going out now to make the final arrangements." After speaking, Konan went up to the sky from the tall building, using paper wings to control his body to leave a beautiful arc in the air. With seriousness in her eyes, if Yahiko can be revived, the Akatsuki organization is the former Akatsuki organization. Before there was no way, Nagato and I could only realize Yahiko's dream is the highest pursuit. But now that there is a way, we must revive Yahiko first. At that time, Xiao organization can cooperate with Xiao Yuchen. As a traveler, he must know the way to peace. After flying for a certain distance, Konan turned away and disappeared into the forest army. After a while, Ju appeared on the canopy of a big tree with serious eyes. This time, definitely, Black Zetsu sneered. Should it be called Obito? White Zetsu asked himself. Of course. Black Zetsu said in a deep voice. Konan has a secret, and with the two of us, we may not be able to kill him with a sneak attack, let alone capture and torture the secret alive. Obito has to help. Aren't you afraid that Obito will turn against you? White Zetsu's main body had an admiring expression. What are you afraid of? Black Zetsu narrowed his eyes and said coldly, just tell him the news of Uzumaki Kushina's resurrection, and he won't even bother to get angry. Speaking of which, I'm curious what his expression will look like after he knows this information. It should be exciting. White Zetsu let out a smirk. Soon, Ju disappeared into the canopy of the tree again. But he doesn't know that a squirrel with Rinnegan sees his actions. A good show is about to start. At the same time, in a town near the border in the Kingdom of Fire. What's the matter, Phosphorus? Mikuna felt that Korin was grabbing her hand violently, thinking that it was the chasing soldiers from Kusanin village, so she immediately sealed and used the perception technique. But after confirming that there was nothing unusual within a few kilometers of Fangyuan, she realized that she might have made a mistake. Mom, it's okay. Xianglin just doesn't know what Konoha will do to us. Xianglin lied. With her strength temporarily stronger than Mikana's, she doesn't have to be afraid of being perceived. She reacted so strongly, of course, because of the sentence in the diary, worrying about Xiao Yuchen. The Otsutsuki family is a family that even the ancestor of chakra, Otsutsuki Kagaya, is afraid of. It is no small matter for such a person to use the power of time travel to deal with Xiao Yuchen. Don't worry. Mikuna didn't doubt that her daughter would lie to herself, and said with a jerky smile, Konoha was an ally of our Uzumaki country from the earliest days. Mrs. 1st Hokage and Mrs. 4th Hokage are both of our Uzumaki clan. There are pictures and texts on their village costumes that represent Uzumaki, so Konoha will be very friendly to us. Hearing this, Xianglin temporarily put aside her worries about Xiao Yuchen, and asked her doubts. In this case, why didn't my mother escape to Konoha back then, but went around the country of grass in a big circle? This, Mom doesn't know. Mei Jae-na also shook his head and said, this is what the elders in the village thought at that time. All the masters escaped in several teams, and each elder led a team, and I was chosen to go to the Rock Shinobi village team, but I just escaped to the general and hid in Grass Ninja village. Oh. Xianglin wrote down this matter, and prepared to ask Xiao Yuchen for the answer when he had time. Mei Xiang Naomi thought she was still worried, so she continued to persuade, even if Konoha's attitude towards us is average, but with that adult around, at least you can grow up happily and safely. Hearing this, Xianglan's eyes brightened. If I can live with Xiao Yuchen, then I can definitely be his bride, right? Anyway, I will definitely not leave him. It seems that Xiao Yuchen had a heart-to-heart connection, and Xiao Yuchen, who was halfway through brushing his teeth, bit and crushed it with his mouth, and then formed a shadow clone, saying, "Go find Xianglan and Makana first, and send them to the direction of Konoha." Understood. Shadow clone cast Flying Thunder God and disappeared. Xiao Yuchen looked in the mirror, frowning and thinking. Uzumaki Kafos and Uzumaki Mikana are coming to Konoha, but legal status is a big issue. With the character of the old monkey, if he didn't prepare a set of rhetoric to deal with it in advance, he would definitely make various small moves at that time. I'm not afraid of it, but it's definitely annoying, so it's best to avoid it. Yes. Xiao Yuchen quickly thought of a way. It's great that Kushina is alive. Kushina, who is giggling in a daze. Huh. You have a conscience. I'm not in vain for suffering so many crimes yesterday. The corner of Kushina's mouth curled up. What time traveler, isn't she captured? But the next moment, her smile froze. When Kafos and Monako arrive at Konoha, I can let them push everything on Kushina. Uzumaki saves Uzumaki, a fair one. Does the current old monkey dare to challenge Kushina? No, he dare not. It is indeed me who can think of such a perfect solution. Kushina. You actually want to use me, you wait for me. Meanwhile, the Hyuga mansion. Hyuga Hinata, who had a quick breakfast, packed 2 bento boxes and was ready to go to Xiao Yuchen's house for an appointment. But just as she walked out of the restaurant, she was stopped by Hyuga Hiyashi. Father? Hinata saluted politely. Are you going to find Xiao Yuchen? Hyuga Hiyashi asked with a cold face. Hinata's strangeness these days, her guardian branch house has been reporting to him. Yes dear. Hinata blushed slightly, but the next moment, her expression turned pale. Stay away from Xiao Yuchen in the future, Hyuga Hiyashi said with a straight face. Why? Hinata asked puzzled. Do you want to be engraved as a caged bird? Hyuga Hiyashi said bitterly. I know that Xiao Yuchen's appearance is very attractive to the opposite sex, but his strength is too weak and his talent is even weaker. The chance of becoming a chunin in this life is slim. And you are the eldest daughter of the Hyuga clan. If you are with him, even if he is willing to marry, you will definitely be branded caged bird, and it will also affect the purity of your descendants' blood. Only by marrying a real strong man can you be kept. This is the first time that Hyuga Hiyashi revealed his true inner thoughts and fatherly love to his woman. As a father, he didn't want to hide any more about his daughter finding a man. Father. Hinata's body froze, but his heart was moved. It turned out that Hyuga Hiyashi was thinking about her and didn't want her to be imprinted as caged bird. Call. Thinking of Hyuga Hiyashi being entangled between himself and Hanabi, and has been blocking the pressure from the elders, Hinata's eyes gradually became resolute. She handed the bento box to Hanabi, then walked to the open space in front of the hall, and made a gesture of invitation to Hyuga Hiyashi. Father, please advise. Teach me? Hyuga Hiyashi laughed angrily. Hinata. Even Hanabi can't beat him, dare to challenge him. Well, at least this courage made him very relieved. But he didn't show it, but said seriously. Okay, being a father recently will give you a long memory. He wants to wake up Hinata, who disobeyed his father for a good-for-nothing man. Sister. Seeing that Hyuga Hiyashi was angry, Hanabi tried to persuade her. It's okay. Hinata shook her head at Hanabi and said with a smile, my sister won't lose easily. Hyuga Hiyashi was even angrier, and his voice was even colder. Start with 8 trigrams 64 palms. Let me see how you master it. It's definitely not okay to hit your daughter. The main thing is to give pointers. But Hinata heard the words, but changed a starting gesture, and then said, no need to be so troublesome. Chant. 2 lion heads appear on Hinata's hand. Hyuga Hiyashi.